We're back here with more Chicago Overwatch. Of course, it's the Lakeside Showdown. We're moving into our elimination bracket now. It's Labasco. And, of course, I got Blitzbolt back here with me. We've got a good one coming up here. It's going to be Spicybois versus Vinny's Torb mains.
Yeah, so now we're going to look at the bracket real fast before talking about the upcoming matchup. First off, we see all the matches. We're looking at Spicybois versus Vinny's Torb mains. On the other side, Supp playing Beam Boys. Brig Brains are going to be playing Google Boys. And then the Sad Kids Club will be playing Spec Gaming. So these are our matchups for the quarterfinals. We're going to see another quarterfinals after this match. But for now, let's talk about Spicybois and let's talk about the Vinny's Torb mains.
Yes, so we've got two teams here that one of them you happen to kind of know a little bit,
Yeah,
I guess.
no, I mean, like, you know, I don't really have any kind of bias, horse in this race, nothing like that. But, you know, I'm kind of the main tank for Vinny's Torb mains. Usually, of course, today I'm casting, so they got a sub for me. But obviously, I do want to see them do well, but I want to see some good Overwatch, and I think we're going to get that here. Spicybois, some amazing players on that team. You know, we have Technique, we have Salt Shaker, we have Cyrus. All of these players, like, pretty well-known names at the high elo kind of NA ladder. Salt Shaker Orisa One Trick reached, I think, rank 4 at some point.
I can't remember the highest, but like you just mentioned though, a lot of these players are really good. Technique, Loth, Meyer, Akash. I mean, they're all players that have been known before. But Vinny's Torb mains, you know, they're a team you know really well. Why do you know them very well? Well, DePaul, you didn't quite get to see it there. Didn't quite get it out.
The jersey on.
It's all right. We can always, you know, maybe if they do well, you can show it later.
Yeah, I'll Superman.
But the good thing about them, though, is that they have been playing together for a while is the important part, and we know how important team synergy is in Overwatch.
So this is a collegiate team for DePaul University, a local Chicago university for those who are not from this city. And now they're coming out, and they're looking to get some early picks, maybe, with Mr. Pick Picks, who is their support player, on the Ashe at the very beginning. Just counting.
It's going to switch over right away. They are going to go with the Sombra, though, so Vinny's Torb mains is going to come out with this Sombra-style comp. It's kind of a GOATS comp. It's not quite triple tank, triple support, because you, instead of having the Zarya, you end up going with the Sombra. Usually you see the Zarya, the one that you end up keeping. So a little bit different there. Spicybois, we see they're going to go here with the dual tank comp of the, well, it's triple tank, but you have the Orisa here instead of a Diva.
Yeah, so this was my kind of like my interrogation point, like my question mark coming into this lane. I was like, is Salt Shaker actually going to just play his signature Orisa? He is. So the fight is beginning now. The engage comes through, and they're still trading resources for now.
So the attack goes on to Akash. So Akash at the beginning here, starting to get a little bit put away, but that's all right. Prime is able to recall, so Prime starting to come back in here, almost has that EMP. Spicybois just trying to keep control here of this point. Have to deal, though, with Echo Loco, who's over on the other side, getting back with the team. So have the rally already getting used here by Vinny's, but they haven't really been able to address in yet. They are going to have this EMP, though.
Yeah, Prime with the EMP now. This has been a long fight. Nothing got done. The EMP comes out.
So EMP out at the beginning of this fight, ends up catching 3. Out came the Earth Shatter and Sound Barriers. Still even in this fight. Salt Shaker goes down, but you still have another main tank in. Akash falling, though, as well. So this is starting to look pretty good for Vinny's, but they still have to get through this Zarya in Technique. Technique, very high charge, and it's going to be tough to deal with, but they have forced them back through that choke. Saint 18 pushing forward with the help of Prime, taking down Cyrus, so they have control at this point, building up to 2 ticks.
Yeah, and they're taking, they went for a slow cap, trying to push their advantage, and now Spicybois is actually coming back in. Echo Loco with a bomb, gonna do nothing as the fight continues onto the point. Technique and Salt Shaker with 2 kills.
Yeah, so they're starting to come back in here, have the opportunity for Spicybois to get this one back in their favor. They're gonna use Transcendence here by Vinny's, see if they can use this to their advantage. Oh, not going to work though. Prime ends up falling, so unfortunately the Transcendence is going to go for naught. Spicybois is going to be able to stabilize here, but did give up 2 ticks.
So my question right now is, Vinny's is still trying to force out this kind of Sombra dive composition. However, Spicybois, they do have, it could be, you know, Salt Shaker, absolutely amazing Orisa player, one of the best out there in the North American continent.
Right.
But at the same time, you're playing 3-3 without a Diva. So I would like to see Vinny try to abuse that a little bit, maybe with a DPS comp.
Vinny still staying on this composition, going to force out the Transcendence from Spicybois. Those are good things. So Loth having to use that could end up spelling disaster for them, depending on what ultimate comes here. Prime about to get that EMP. That could be the difference maker and get them this point. Technique is very high. Charge, and they got off the point. Vinny's is going to be able to cap this. So now they're going to be able to start pushing this card. Even if they lose this fight, doesn't matter. They got an objective.
Yeah, Ecoloco eating the Graviton Surge from Technique as well. That's going to mean no Graviton Surge and definitely, you know, no Grav Bomb coming out from Spicybois at all. They don't have that combo, which is so important playing against Goat. Prime holds on to that EMP, which is very good discipline coming out from him if they can invest that into the following fight. As now they are pushing up onto the point, and Prime is already lurking behind.
Bunch of ultimates coming up for Vinny. Spicybois, they're going to have to figure out what they're going to do here. They're keeping everything the same, though. They're still keeping Salt Shaker on that Orisa. Like you said, you know, when you're one trick, you don't really make too many different choices on what you decide to play. Echo Loco into the front line here, starting to throw that self-destruct through. Graviton Surge coming out in response for Spicybois, but they still get the double kill from Echo Loco's self-destruct. They'll be able to push the advantage here and keep that cart rolling through the streets phase.
Yeah, EMP comes out. Still, 2 ultimates on the side of either team. Very well done, pushing their advantages, using the bomb even without having the Graviton Surge. Sometimes people get caught. What a charge from Saint 18. Kind of ballsy, works out, so good for him. So right now, Spicybois, they might not even get a recontest. Those 2 staggers onto the Lucio and onto the onto Technique, you know, those could be big. And also, I just realized we have Meyer on Lucio. Well, he's a pretty well-known hit-cam player in the Chicago scene. So he's going Lucio to try and work around his teammates a little better. You know, it's kind of an awful for him. At the same time, Vinny's is pushing up. They get the point at the very end. No recontest coming up from the Spicybois. Going forward, here comes the Shatter.
We'll see if Spicybois can turn this around, and that's exactly what they're starting to do. All it takes is one little push with the rally, and that gets them the win in the fight, and now they stabilize with 3 minutes left on the clock for Vinny's.
Yeah, now Vinny's, they do not have what they need for the upcoming fight. You know, they do have the rally and the Lucio beat they could invest. At the same time, so Spicybois is sitting pretty on a very nice load of ultimates, and they're going to start using them at the very beginning. Salt Shaker already with a pick on Prime. That's probably just going to be a disengaged nice disappointment. Aggressive push, though. Technique with the Graviton Surge, they're going to take down Saint.
What do you think of that? I mean, that a lot invested to get one player.
Yeah, that is especially a very big ultimate when you're playing against, you know, a Goat's composition as well. So I am, you know, I can see it. Maybe they wanted to try and get a bigger stagger. They did. They gained a little bit of time from that, but time is not exactly what they're really playing with. There's not that little where you should do that. You know, we'll see how it works out. Technique might be able to build another one fast enough.
Well, they're going to have to get through Prime's EMP, looking for the opportunity to use it. Earthshatter going to come out first. Saint 18 will fall because of it, so Spicybois just using the ultimates here, but Vinny's getting out ult is the good thing here for them.
Yeah, absolutely. However, the thing that, you know, that we're not mentioning is that they're not really getting out these ultimates that well, because Spicybois is just cycling them so well. While they use the Graviton, they use the Earthshatter, they only use those 2 things to finish a fight. You know, they got the Transcendence, they got the Lucio Beat, so in the ult economy game, Spicybois is playing discipline, and they're playing well.
There is a lot of ults on the other side. Out comes the self-destruct. Oh, and there came the bash. It did help get Meyer at the end. Did get him body blocked a little bit, so one ultimate. All it takes for Vinny's to get the cart rolling again. Have to get these 2 players left alive, these 2 tanks, which they will be able to do no problem. They did use the EMP as well.
Yeah, the EMP gets canceled by the shield dash from Cyrus, so good awareness and a good death play from him. Now Prime already taking that high ground to try and take some damage, do some damage at the beginning. Meyer gonna get hacked. Actually falls off the map with the Lucio beat. That is an amazing pick from Prime. It is dangerous now for the Spicybois, but they have to go. The bongo comes out.
Yeah, have to use the supercharger here to push your way back in if you're Spicybois, but this is perfect if you're Vinny's Torb mains, looking for their opportunity to find a pick. But Akash is going to get Prime instead. Have the Graviton Surge come out here as well. Transcendence will keep everyone alive. You have to wonder if they're going to keep this push or retreat with that Transcendence. It looks like what they're going to do. Have a little bit of a Lucio boot to help them retreat away. Echo Loco making sure to get out as well, making sure the rest of the team can do so. They're getting chased down. Health pool's getting super close for Vinny's. Out comes the Earthshatter here, and Salt Shaker able to clean up as a result. So 2 ultimates left here for Spicybois. 20 seconds left for Vinny's. They've got to get this before overtime.
Yeah, and a really nice push from the Spicybois to push your advantages. That's what you want to do against a 3-3 composition. And with a 3-3 composition, which at the end of the day, they're running. And now only 10 seconds for the rest of Vinny's Torb main to get onto the point. They got 3 ultimates to work with. Salt Shaker looking for a little cheeky flank here.
Bizarre to see an Orisa on a flank, but if it works, it works. Earthshatter coming out here was blocked, and now they can't get on the carts. Vinny's not able to get on the cart. They won't be able to complete the map. They had the ultimates to do it. Spicybois, they get away with one there.
Yeah, Vinny's Torb main just doesn't make it to the cart. I think that's what Salt Shaker was going for. He was looking for a halt at the very end. You know, doesn't need it.
Yeah.
Didn't need it. Vinny's just don't make it to the point. And now they're going to be on the defensive side. Now, Spicybois, I'm going to go on a whim and assume that they're going to run the same kind of composition.
Right.
With the Orisa, you know, you don't really have the same kind of push potential that you have with the Diva. You know, the spam that comes out of her, or just her machine guns, her micro missiles as well, do some really solid bursts. All of those are resources that they're not going to have without the Diva. However, at the same time, I'm starting to trust Salt Shaker because he's been making it work.
Yeah.
You know, on defense, though, it's a little easier. Let's see how they make it fair on attack. Definitely, though.
If they keep it, too.
If they keep it. I would love to see Salt Shaker. Nope, he's going to reset. So, but at the same time, I'm really curious to see, you know, like, this is, you know, just about the highest level of Orisa that we can see out there today, you know?
Right.
He's a lighter player, but he's an amazingly skilled player. At the same time, a true and true Orisa specialist.
Of course.
So I want to see how he plays, like, on attack, where the Orisa is, like, generally unfavored, but let's see how he pulls it off. I'm really, really interested.
It's going to be interesting just to watch because Orisa is just so hard to advance with. Could make a switch here, though, before the doors open. We see defensively they're going to go with the Sombra here. It looks like they're going to go basically with the Sombra goats again.
Yeah, Cyrus is up there already on the Widow, probably looking for a couple picks before actually does not. Already falls back down on the Batiste. So it's going to be some weird hybrid of Batiste goats with an Orisa for the attacking side.
Maybe that helps keep up that Orisa a little bit better. We know how big that head hitbox is on Orisa, and it's already starting out great for Spicybois. They've already found Yoshi escape off with the headshot as well, off again. So this not looking too good for Vinny's at the start.
Yeah, lost the premier Zen main in the Chicago scene for sure. On the flank, takes down 2 and opens up King's Row for his team. As Prime, you know, he's struggling, but he's alone, and he's actually holding onto the point for now, and that might give Vinny's a recontest.
And kind of had a couple players that were going and pushing forward, had to come back, though, because the Sombra. And now, like you said, here comes Salt Shaker on another flank. Go for the charge in, but uses the chef to stop that from happening. Salt Shaker's still going to lose their life, and now the EMP. This can swing it around for Vinny's. They only gave up 1 tick. They haven't given up that other one yet. Oh, that's a big Earthshatter. Counter stopped. What a stop of that charge from the Reinhardt for Vinny's. Awesome from Saint 18. Earthshatter to counter 2, and this is going to be a hold coming through for Vinny's.
Vinny's Torb main's coming back from the dead with Prime stalling the point long enough, and that's a bastion from Salt Shaker.
Yes. So there's the switch that you're going to see apparently.
That's
Salt Shaker's going to Bastion. I don't think that's what anybody thought. But are you upset about it?
Not at all. I want to see this. I want to see this, and I want to see this work. Salt Shaker getting hacked, however, and you know, the Sombra, you know, it's hard to make work a Bastion into a Sombra, and there comes a push very, very fast. Vinny's Torb mains managed to win another fight. 2 minutes left on the clock for Spicybois, and now I'm wondering how they're going to move around. Salt Shaker back on the Orisa, his comfort pick. That's what he makes work. So all the props to him for going back and sticking to his guns. I can respect that.
He does lose a lot of ult charge, though, from when he was Orisa before. Is the only problem. Sure, you made that switch to Bastion only for a little bit, but you still lose your ult charge regardless. And now you're caught in a Graviton Surge. Trade Descendants going to come out here. Sound Barrier in response on either side, so you have pretty much layered support ults coming out from Spicybois, and it is not looking good for them as Prime and Saint 18 combining to get this hold to continue with 1:35 left to go.
And hold they are doing for sure. Prime now onto the EMP. He has just gotten his ultimate ability, which again can just spell doom for a 3-3 composition. And now Doofus is going to be the Sombra EMP coming through. He's just looking for it. He does. He gets it.
4 players get hit by the EMP. Doesn't hit the Zenyatta, but that's okay. Can still take out other players, and this defense is holding again. St. 18 is kind of a good loss, though, that happened. So Spicybois, if they can just not lose any more players, they can re-aggress in after this Coalescence ends because they were able to get the Reinhardt.
Yeah, and what I want to spotlight is actually Salt Shaker putting down the shield in the time between the Sombra getting the EMP off and starting it. That just, I don't know if it was amazing reaction, but the Shatter comes out, and here comes a push. Akash and Technique just bursting down damage, and Spicybois are finally finding the opening that they've been looking for the entire round.
Yeah, there's not going to be any stalls or any opportunity to come back for Vinny's here, but there was only 37 seconds left on the clock. That gives you a time bank of 3:04 left. So they have whittled away what Spicybois has to work with to get through the Streets phase.
Yeah, what Spicybois do have, however, is the Graviton Surge, is the Supercharger coming up as well, which are two, you know, big team fighting, team fight winning ultimates. My gosh.
It happens sometimes.
Yeah, it does. So those are big win conditions for their team. Prime still looking for the hacks. Nothing coming out of it. But at the same time, Vinny's are finally making it back. They're still sticking to the Sombra comp.
Still going to give this a try. They know that they can hack some pretty easy targets. They're going to get their St. 18 caught in the grab. He's the only one, can't keep him alive. Akash easily able to charge in there. They will use two ultimates, though, to make that end up happening. Salt Shaker did use his ult as well. So even though they are going to keep the cart rolling, it was pretty expensive for Spicybois.
Yeah, and at the same time, big heads-up play from Akash, holding up that shield, knowing the St. 18 could only do that from inside of the grab. Akash just stares at him and says, come on, try and shatter me.
Shatter, right.
Yeah, and shatter he does not.
So now you have St. 18 losing his, but they're going to have the Graviton Surge come out here. Transcendence used on the other end. Akash will use his Earth Shatter, does catch out the Reinhardt, but is able to stay alive thanks to the Coalescence. So the Moira is working out pretty well. Plenty of healing that's still coming through. Sound Barrier gets used. Rally is used as well in response for Vinny's, as now they will use their Sound Barrier a little bit later as that one was ending for Spicybois. So this is the opportunity for Vinny's to stop this cart just short of the end of this Streets phase. Earth Shatter coming out from St. 18, easily blocked by Akash. Have those shields that are up and available is the only thing. Pat coming out from Prime above, but Graviton Surge grabbing players in for Spicybois, but they can't finish anybody off. Use the Earth Shatter as well from Akash, and this should be what finally gets them to complete this. Took a lot of ultimates again, but a lot of ultimates were used by Vinny's as well.
And take a breather, Labos, because that was a long fight. Those two teams, so much health from all of their heroes, and then all the support ultimates coming out. They were in for a long haul. Eventually, Spicybois comes out on top of both the fight, and again, I keep mentioning it, but they are of such important ultimates and 3-3 compositions. You can just win fights from those. And Supercharger especially, you know, Season 1, biggest win rate and ultimate in the Yellow West League. Right on fact.
Supercharger going to come out here. EMP used in response. That'll shut the Supercharger down thanks to Echo Loco, and the Transcendence ends up being over for Spicybois. So Vinny's, this is their opportunity. They got out all the ultimates that they needed, and St. 18 is able to charge right into Meyer. Graviton Surge here to clean things up, and Vinny's will stabilize with 1:45 left.
Yeah, and out come the swings. They are able to get the better of the Spicybois for this fight and build their own ultimate economy now. They're looking for Salt Shaker, who actually was trying to go for another chicken flank, maybe just hiding. He does not. Prime finds him hiding in that little corner. And now, Vinny's, they have to be aggressive. They have to play aggressive into this kind of Orisa comp, because if they let themselves be whittled down, Spicybois will come out on top. Because they have more shield, they have a little bit more damage with the Orisa constantly spamming down the Reinhardt shield as well. I want to see them go fast. Technique does no, grabs them.
Oh, Sound Barrier though comes up, perfect timing. Coalescence used as well, and Cyrus is going to die through the Coalescence. Yoshisuke pushing forward, so they are winning this fight again for Vinny's. The defense holding with a minute left to go.
Yes, they are. Prime with 2 kills as well. Now only 1 minute, and Akash has the Earth Shatter, but none of the big team fight ultimate coming up. Maybe Salt Shaker can get a Supercharger, and that's what the Spicybois are banking on right now. But Vinny's, Graviton, EMP, they are looking to make their last stand now with these ultimates. 40 seconds left on the clock. If they can keep up their unrelenting aggression, that's what they can do to win out in this game.
No Diva, no problem to throw out that Graviton Surge as well, because nobody can eat it. EMP comes first. Salt Shaker gets Sane 18, though. It backfires using that ult. They throw the grab out now in response. Echo Loco gets Cyrus out, but Loth is able to get Yoshi escape. This is looking good for Spicybois. Akash and Meyer combining, and this cart's going to start rolling again. Prime can't do anything but watch right now.
Prime eventually manages to get out, and that's going to be very important for this final fight. It is all coming down to this. Cyrus already coming back with the Soldier 76, making it back from spawn. Sevio on the flank on the Moira. Prime goes down.
Prime goes down. Use of the Graviton Surge. Players got to get onto the cart. Just getting there in time, but it won't be enough. Spicybois at the end win map number 1 against Vinny's. So close, though, was Vinny's from winning that and having it 1-0 in their favor.
Yeah, incredibly close game coming out from them. Vinny's Stormy is putting up, more of a fight than you would think. Absolutely almost clutching out the win, but at the end of the day, it's Akash on the Reinhardt getting that aggression, and especially very good job punishing Saint 18's charge at the beginning of the second to last fight. They managed to just snowball it from there.
Awesome first map that we have. So your boys, I think you can show a little bit of your support now for the, they're going by Vinny's Torb mains today, but they represent DePaul University. There you go. But he's an impartial caster. Just remember that. Just listen back to that. You'll hear it.
Yep.
And Spicybois, it's funny because we talked about them having one trick, right?
Yeah.
And Salt Shaker did play a little bit. Didn't just play one hero, though. Played some Bastion.
Definitely looking better on the Orisa.
Yes. They made it work. I think that's the most impressive thing. I think that speaks to their skill. But I think Vinny's Torb mains, I think they maybe are starting to figure things out a little bit if that's what they're going to continue to see.
Yeah, and that's one of the beauties of a best-of-3 series. We're going to see teams evolve. We're going to see, they call it the series meta. They're going to see, okay, like, we just played one map. We got really close doing this, this, and this. However, we got punished when that happened. They got punished when they didn't go as aggressive as they needed, or when they went a little bit too aggressive, especially with the Reinhardt charges getting whittled down by all the spam.
So, what did you think of Vinny's Torb mains comp to combat the Orisa? Because I think this is sort of the crux of everything that's happening for these two teams. So, because Spicybois, obviously, we almost expect Orisa now. So, knowing that if you're Vinny's Torb mains, how do you decide to attack this composition that you saw?
So I would say Orisa at the end of the day is a very immobile hero. The question, if you're Vinny's Torb mains, is do you play a comp that just directly counters the Orisa and you hope to snowball everything else? Because at the end of the day, besides the Orisa, the rest is a GOAT's core, and we know it's really strong, so you can't just say, oh, we'll just counter the Orisa and we'll be fine. No, you won't.
Right.
So I think the Sombra, it might not be, the end-all be-all answer, but it's something. It's been helping a lot. Getting out the 45, taking out the 45 with a hack or with the EMP makes Orisa very, very mobile and just way more fragile than she would usually be, which is one of her strengths, not being fragile.
Right.
So I think the Sombra is definitely one of the answers. I think there's a little bit more experimentation that could be done, but at the same time, Vinny's Torb mains are on the back pedal. They only got this one map to work with if they want to continue going. If they're going to go out, that's the end of it if they lose this next map. So
it's a best of 3, right? Yeah. So you have to win this one if you're Vinny's Torb mains to force that map 3.
Yeah.
We know that we don't quite know which map we're going to just yet. We know that there's 3 maps that they picked. It's just which one is going to be the next one.
The pool is actually Hanamura, Kings Row, and Busan.
So one of those is going to be the one that we go to. So it sounds like we're going to go to Busan as our next map. So when you take that into consideration, that's actually, I feel like that plays into Vinny Torb mains' hand because it's a lot harder on a control point to play that Orisa with one getting to the control point, but then all the different ways you can attack, especially if you get downtown as the map of choice.
Yeah, at the end of the day, though, Spicybois are looking for that first fight. That's all they want. If Spicybois can manage to set up their Orisa onto the point, and play the rest of the GOAT's composition like you play a GOAT's composition, they're in a good place. They can just win out off of that and just continue cycling the ultimates. And again, we're putting a lot of focus on the Orisa and on Salt Shaker, but the rest of the team is doing an amazing job as well. Loth on the Zenyatta. Just playing really, really well, and especially I like how they're cycling their ultimates. This shows that this is a team that is not just a bunch of ladder players that just play out and use ultimates on cooldown. They know discipline. They know coordination.
Technique,
and they're definitely
Akash too.
Yeah, absolutely. Akash, amazing performance on the main tank. Saint 18 just couldn't get past his shield with those shatters, and Akash getting value out of every single one of his ultimates as well.
Read them extremely well. You pointed it out earlier during King's Row where there was the Graviton Surge, and Akash knew that it was coming. I mean, read it almost instantly. So it's been really fun to see them play so far. Meyer, you said, of course, a DPS, more of a DPS main.
Yeah.
Been playing the Lucio in this team's composition. Cyrus has been playing, whatever is needed as well. We'll see what they decide to do here. We still have a little bit of time before the doors open, but Vinny's looks like they've decided they know what they're going to do.
Are they going for the weirdest triple DPS comp I've ever seen?
They might.
I think they are.
They are.
Yep.
Torb
Technique out with the Bash.
or Bastion. I don't know why I said Torb. I guess I'm thinking of Vinny's Torb mains apparently.
Yeah.
But Bastion composition. This is going to be it's triple DPS.
Yeah.
So
Meyer on the Sombra as well. Hits can. Cyrus on the Widow, one of his favorite picks as well. We can see that now they're just going to output a lot of damage. Cyrus, if we can get a pick, that's just gonna open up the game. At the same time, Vinny's Torb mains, they want to just go ham on that Orisa. But Technique is making it hard.
look at where Salt Shaker's playing by himself basically, and it's still protecting Technique, who's behind. But it's still, if you collapse onto Salt Shaker's going to die really fast. Of course, the point too that we ended up getting here is this this shrine point as well. So it's one of the smallest points, and the hat comes out onto Technique in the background. That's the key to go in onto Salt Shaker, and that's exactly what you see them starting to do. You saw the shield go up there too by Sane 18 to block off any damage or healing that could come out for Salt Shaker. Salt Shaker so close to losing their life, and finally does to the Fire Strike. So Spicybois gonna have to go back to the drawing board for this one. Technique sure will get Mr. Picks at the end, but this is still really good for Vinny's.
Yeah, Vinny's, they've just played that with really good discipline, just hanging around, playing around that mid-column, the drum inside of the temple, and just blocking off all of those sidelines before they actually went for the engage with the hack. So, they go for the Sombra. However, the Sombra's now out of the fight. Cyrus on the Soldier 76, recently buffed, takes some prime.
So made that switch over to, was playing the Widowmaker prior to this. We're going to have tank mode come out from Technique, looking for an opportunity. A lot of shielding. Oh, but Simo didn't stay behind the shield, so now you're down one of your important players in your Orisa, and now your Zarya falls as well. So they make this comp work still for Spicybois. They're able to flank around. Tank mode helps out with that. They will take this back, but it gets to about, probably going to be about 50%.
Yeah, 50% now exactly. Wow, you're a prophet.
We get lucky every now and then.
you mean always predicted, always perfect?
Yeah.
Gigantic brains.
Big brain plays.
Huge brains coming out from the casters. Well done, casters. Let's bet ourselves on the back. Echo Loco now with the Graviton Surge. That is going to be the next win condition. Prime with the MP as well. He's already lurking. Gets detected.
Oh, I don't think they spotted him. I think he got lucky.
Yeah. he's just playing with fire now. Oh, he's going for the duel onto Lodge. Actually takes him down. Very nice play. Found the backline from him. EMP's Technique makes sure that he cannot get into the turret mode. Cyrus, however, just raining down damage.
Yeah, Prime is going to lose his life here. It might end up working out, but they don't have enough damage to deal with everyone else, and Technique is done with getting hacked, so that's a push. They use all these ultimates. You're starting to see the switches come out too for Vinny's.
It's a dive comp. Sombra Genji dive, pretty traditional for the last 50% of the fight, of the game. However, you want to look for the Nano Blade, obviously, with the Genji, with the Ana. I don't know if they'll have time to be able to farm up that entire combo coming up, however. That's going to be something to watch.
57% already for Spicybois, like you said. A lot of ultimates that they're going to have to try and work up for Vinny's, but the one good thing for them is that they can dive onto a target like Loth and kill him no problem. Have to stop the res from coming from Akash, but Akash able to get off, and now that you have the response from Cyrus using his Visor, but Visor really didn't do a whole lot is the only problem. Is able to get the Ana though in Sebo. Sebo was hiding there, but doesn't matter that Sebo is lost. They're able to take it back 79%, and now Vinny's is in a really great place with this dive.
Yeah, Sebio definitely gets taken down towards the end of that fight. However, I saw Mr. Big Fix in the kill feed. He was fragging out as a Lucio. Really nice things to see. Now Meyer onto his own EMP. Technique on McCree. This triple DPS comp is just pulling something new out like every single second. Akash on the Mercy as well. He's been doing pretty okay, I want to say. For a main tank player, he's been doing really well, actually.
And the one nice thing about triple DPS is you don't necessarily have to play as a group. Oh, EMP catches 5. That should win the fight outright for Spicybois. They pull in the Diva. Echo Loco is going to be quickly taken out. They're going to take this back right away. They get up to 84%, and now you're at 8% here. We're in last fight territory.
Yeah, Vinny's Tormains, they have to get to this point fast. They've got the Nano. No Blade, however, from Yoshi Escape, so they got to make it work. in some other way. Lost is looking to get this Transcendence, however, because Yoshi will get the blade mid-fight, and that can be a problem if you don't have Transcendence to counter it. He's looking for the farm. He's looking, and here the team comes from the left side of the map. They're looking for a dive again.
Oh, they throw the EMP out first. Prime will lose their life, but the EMP was still successful. Now it's the follow-up, but it's not working. Meyer is just going nuts on this Sombra. Doesn't even care that the EMP came out on everyone else on the team, and they win this outright team kill. They're going to switch this right back over. Overtime meter already starting. Nobody's going to get there. Spicybois will win the first map of Busan, and that's really rough for Vinny's.
Yeah, this map has been, this entire match has been dangerously close. We've seen this constant back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So now, we're coming on to another map. It might be downtown, it might be Mecha Base. Let's find out. The Blizzard gods give us downtown. So downtown, the good news for Spicybois is triple DPS works real well here as well.
Well, that looks like it might be what they're showing us for Spicybois again. Vinny's is going to stick with a dive, but they're going to have Prime this time on the Widowmaker.
Yeah, now if Prime, actually Prime goes back to the Zarya, it looks
Zarya
like.
now. Oh, wow.
And Cyrus on the Widowmaker, if he can post up, if he can get those picks again, that's definitely going to make problems for Vinny's Torb main. He is.
So they switched it back now. They were thinking about it. They went back over to the dive, so they're going to go with the dive here instead. Thought that maybe they'll bring out this sort of similar comp here. Cyrus and Prime see each other take a shot, both just shooting over the bow. Nothing happening there, as working around to the left side is Spicybois looking for the opportunity. Still is Cyrus. Hat coming out. Doesn't end up getting completed. Prime getting low, though. Prime down by Cyrus. So the Widow battle going over to the Spicybois, and that will allow them to push forward with that added pressure from the Widowmaker, who can just free fire now and finds the head of Mr. Pick Picks. This is going to be a team fight win for Spicybois again.
Yeah, and I'm looking again at Saltshake. I'm looking at that Orisa, and he's making it work somehow. He is getting, he's using the halls to just prevent dives from even happening in the first place. And with the rotation as well, no speed on the side of Spicybois, but they manage to isolate Prime, and Prime eventually falls to a body shot after getting severely damaged, but just about every other member of the Spicybois. So now Vinny's definitely looking again to go more towards a tanky composition. Yoshi escaped from the Genji, goes on to the Brigida. They want to go hard, they want to get that strong engage that you get with the stun, and that you get with Rocket Flail from Brigida as well. They're looking to probably take the fight to point and just try to not get hit by Cyrus on the way there.
Yeah, you can still try and engage onto the Widowmaker. It's the nice thing with this composition too. And that's a good start though from Sebo to get out the Widowmaker right at the beginning. Now they can push on to the rest of these players who are on the point. Just have to deal with Salt Shaker now. Only one left alive. Is just going to go over where that train is, lose their life. Flip comes over, 41% for Spicybois.
Yeah, and down he goes Sebio with the first pick onto Cyrus. Very nice job as a Frag Zenyatta out there. Opens up the fight for the rest of his team. Don't have to worry about a Widow if your Zen somehow just takes her out.
So out comes
Salt Shaker on the ball.
Ooh, so they've gone pretty much full on to this, not quite quad DPS, it's still triple DPS, but Wrecking Ball instead for Salt Shaker. We see this with the quad DPS normally. Oh, technique with the use of the Deadeye, gets one but loses his life to Sebio as well. So this is still a chance here for Vinny's. Have to deal with Salt Shaker, goes right on to Sebio, but it's too little too late. Salt Shaker going to just have to go off to the side. Percentage is going to be about even now. Yeah,
and Saint 18 now definitely being more cognizant of the Widowmaker. I like to see that. I like to see him go and try to isolate out those DPSs. Cyrus now onto the Hanzo instead of the Widowmaker. He's not going to get the same kind of sidelines and insta-burst potential. Way harder to do with the Hanzo. What he does have is constant damage that is coming out from his bow, especially from his Storm Arrows.
Salt Shaker switch back over to the Orisa as well, so something to point out there for Spicybois. They start to move towards the point, use that ult to try and keep a player up, but a bubble makes sure that that won't happen. Vinny's with ultimates to use. Yoshi escaped, got the rally off, I think, before that hat came out is the good thing. Self-destruct thrown into a corner. Technique is going to fall actually to the rocket boosters before that self-destruct, so self-destruct not doing much, but it's doing enough here for Vinny's. They're winning this fight at 80%.
And they're drawing out this fight, whether on purpose or not. This is going to help them so much coming up. Now, in the final contest from the Spicybois, they've got the Dragon Strike. They can try to isolate a part of the point maybe, but at the same time, 2 support ultimates and Prime coming up onto the Graviton Surge. That might be just what they need to clutch out this map win.
Vinny's Torb mains trying to even this up, trying to keep their hopes alive in this elimination bracket as we are in the quarterfinals. Dragon Strike going to come out first from Spicybois. They push onto the point. Graviton Surge will catch 2 players in. Loft in, have the ult goes down first. Technique will use the Deadeye and then right click into another. Res coming through, gets locked back in the fight. Out comes the EMP2 for Vinny's. Onto Vinny's, excuse me, as they won't be able to use any more ultimates. They're going to lose this, so at the 11th hour, Spicybois keeps this one alive in their chances of winning outright in 2 maps.
Yeah, and that's a technique show. Oh, Mr. Brickfix might be getting caught out right here.
Oh, he
makes it out. That's a technique show, as I was saying. He starts off the fight with the kill onto the Brigitte with the High Noon, and then manages to use his Offenda Hammer right at the very last moment before Sebio's Transcendence can heal the Winston up. So now back they come. Vinny's Torb mains with the Lucio beat to try and engage.
Going to use the sound barrier, pushing on. They're looking at technique. Take him down right away. Have one player, though, out in behind who's going to get caught out is the only problem in Prime. So they lose a lot of damage. They still have their Winston, though. Their Winston can get up to that ultimate for Vinny, so that could make the difference. Yoshi escaped, losing his life, though. Cyrus sitting on that high ground. They're going to have to regroup again. 80%. Oh, that's a super late Transcendence, though, for Spicybois. That could be the difference in this next fight.
It could be technique with another High Noon. He's looking to make the same kind of difference that he did in the last fight. 10% left. Vinny's Torb mains, and here he is, technique, looking for a little bit of a flank.
Looking for his opportunity. This could be the win condition for them if he lands this, but they're going the long way. They're going to be pretty far. He's going to have to move a little bit to try and get that ultimate onto somebody. So they will aggress onto the point here for Vinny's. High Noon coming out. Technique in an area where he could still be probably messed with. Overtime meter, nobody's going to go down. Good use of the Brigitte barrier keeps everybody alive. Even fight as 2 players fall from either side. EMP to try and seal this, though, for Spicybois. Catches 4. Nobody's falling, though. Vinny's is turning it around. They're going to flip this back over.
They managed to do it through an EMP. Vinny's Torb mains, against all odds, manages to take this point, and we're going to the final point.
Whew, super, super close one here. Vinny's complete tournament hopes live on our final map. We know we're going to Mecha Base.
Yeah, this is Mecha Base. Okay, and now Salt Shaker again. We talk about a lot about Salt Shaker on the Orisa. This map could be good for him. It's a little bit of tighter quarters. You don't get spammed out as hard as you would get on other maps. But apparently they're going back to some kind of quad tank, perhaps.
We'll see what they decide to do here.
Yeah.
But Vinny knows what they want to do. They want to go with the Mei.
The Mei composition. Actually, no, he's back onto the Zarya.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, you know, Mei can work really well on this point. However, now Cyrus on Zenyatta, we're seeing more and more changes, and Meyer as the solo DPS onto the McCree. What they don't have with the Zenyatta and Diana is the speed boost. If Vinny's Torb mains actually prime back on the Mei, he's debated us twice.
He decided to go with it, but it makes sense when you think about the Orisa and the Reinhardt slow tanks that you can probably split off here. And there comes the split. Caught in it, no problem. Is Akash charged into, though, as well. He's still alive is the only problem. The Ananade did cause a lot of players to get extremely low, and Akash takes out Saint 18 in behind. He was able to stay alive. That's a huge loss for Vinny's at the start.
Yeah, Saint 18 going for the charge to kill the Reinhardt. While the wall falls out, he finds himself on the other side of the map. Vinny's Torb mains is going to cut their losses and look for a re-engage. Definitely a little bit of a questionable charge. Bend Hammer coming back. No, he goes for the left click.
Oh, Meyer, though, extremely low. Yoshi escape does fall in that fight, so we're even 5v5, but the McCree gone is a lot of damage gone, but Saint 18 falling again early in a fight is going to spell disaster for Vinny's Torb main. Spicybois in a great position, building up to 20%.
And how is Akash doing it? That's the second time that he gets split with a wall right behind him and survives somehow. I'm really, really impressed. I don't know if this is Vinny's making mistakes. I can't quite tell. I'll look at it more, but man, Akash is just not getting punished. Still falling behind the wall, but still stays alive.
Trying to keep their tournament hopes alive is Vinny's Torb main as they need to push back up through. Saint 18 getting low again, needs to get healed back up, needs to get some of that burst healing onto Akash, losing his armor, but will get the nano boost and go swinging in. Earth Shatter gets blocked by the ice wall. Now they're stuck in, and then the Earth Shatter coming back over with the freeze, and that's going to spell the win for Vinny's. They're going to be able to push back on the point.
Another Night's Wall technique going to fall to Yoshi escaping again. Meyer with the Swan Song is going to fall down at the very end. Now Vinny's Torb mains manages to take this point. This is really good for them because again, it's harder to push into a point with an Orisa attacking. At the same time, lots of ultimates coming out from Spicybois. But if Vinny's can manage to use their ultimates in a cyclical fashion, cycle them around, and win fights without using too many, they're poised to make a really big impact.
Well, they see they're coming up from the top. High Noon gets used. Prime goes down again at the beginning of the fight, so you've already lost your mate. You lost that utility that she provides. Meyer will now be able to control the high ground with no issues. Have to keep onto the point for as long as possible. Throw the Graviton Surge out. Moira trying to stay alive, getting shot. Oh, the headshot, though, by Meyer. Evens things back up, though, as Echo Loco still a chance here, potentially for Vinny's, but Cyrus ending any thought of that possibility, even with Prime coming back in. It's all about building up as many ultimates as possible and just staying on that point for as long as you can. 45% for Vinny's.
Yeah, and they managed to do that eventually. Vinny's, you know, they get a little bit for their efforts. 45%, definitely respectable percentage, but Spicybois now, there's probably only one fight that Vinny's can realistically go for. Prime going to be going onto the Sombra. We saw it work before. Maybe it'll work again. Well, not getting quite the value that they expected it to. But let's see if with the Sombra, if that's the piece of the puzzle that they needed to close this out. Again, Akash with the Earth Shatter, everything is riding on him to finish out this game strong.
Well, Prime looks like they're going to go over to the point, try and take it here, see if anybody notices. They don't notice. He's going to get the flip over. Oh, they start to finally come back. Out comes the Earth Shatter, though. Deadeye gets 2. Saint 18 and Sebo is gone, and Yoshi escape as well. Meyer making this work. Overtime meter is starting to go. Only 2 players left, 1 caught in the grab, and there they go. Spicybois is going to win on the 3rd map of the 2nd one and go up 2-0 and advance on.
That's the semifinals for Spicybois. Vinny's Tormains putting up a valiant fight, but they eventually fall to the raw skill of the Spicybois. Eventually, Meyer, now with the play of the game, he popped off on that final match.
You see him here, he gets the nano boost onto the High Noon, gets 2, and just continued to wreck base with that. That was an awesome match, though. I mean, if this is the first one that we get to see, whew, I think it's going to be a real good elimination tournament we have going on.
Yeah, I'm definitely ready for more. This bracket is looking already hot from the quarterfinals. You know, some people expect quarterfinals. It might not be the highest level because you know, you're going to see, especially with how seeding works, you're going to see like top teams playing like lower seeded teams. But this first game, man, I was impressed from both teams, definitely.
And this is one of those matchups you're talking about, too, because Spicybois is a team that has been talked about before the tournament started as one of the favorites for the tournament, and they were pushed to the limit by Vinny's Tormains. Sure, they didn't win a map, but every map was just a mistake here, mistake there that would make the difference in it.
Definitely, just inches from victory in several different situations for Vinny's Tormains. So, you know, if you're Spicybois, you take this win, you reflect on it, because that is really important. Again, Vinny's Tormains not one of the teams favored coming into the tournament, but at the same time, if you're Spicybois, you just broke a sweat. So you got to be thinking, there's better teams that are awaiting us in the semifinals, possibly in the grand finals if you pull through now. How are you going to win out against them when you're having problems now? I'm sure they can figure it out. They're, again, all amazingly skilled players, and I want to see them do well. But at the same time, you know, if they can reflect on it and kind of iterate on those you know, hiccups that they had during the game, I think they can do well.
There's no doubt. I mean, they're already doing well. They haven't lost yet. So this is going extremely well for the Spicybois, for Vinny's Tormains. Unfortunately, this is the end. But
goodbye to Paul.
Goodbye to Paul, unfortunately for you. You represented them well. Yeah. They played. They have to be happy with how they played against a team that has, you know, we talked off air about this, but some of these players are very well known. Yeah. And we talked a little bit about it on air,
very
too.
high ranked on the ladder. Right. Some people playing top open teams as well. You know, it's a strong team. Spicy was a very, very strong team. Again, I expect to make the final.
Exactly.
I'll go for the prediction.
He gave you the prediction, but we're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we have more quarterfinals that'll be coming your way.
And welcome back to the Lakeside Showdown. Randy Bloor here with Will English the fourth, welcoming you back to our second set of quarterfinal matches where we will see Supp taking on the Bean Boys to see who will be advancing to our semifinal bracket. Now, Supp and Bean Boys done a lot of work getting here so far. Bean Boys probably taking on the toughest challenge of their tournament so far. In Supp, probably one of, if not the best team in the tournament. Supp here, taking a look at our bracket, we did have Spicybois, you did just see, take on Vinny's Tormains. They were victorious and they will advance. Sad Kids Club beating out Spec Gaming in their quarterfinal matchup. We are now in the left side of the bracket here with Supp and Bean Boys.
So we're gonna get right into the game here with Supp versus Bean Boys, and from what I understand, Randy, there's a lot of talent on both sides of these spots here.
I know you couldn't see this on the stream, but in the pregame lobby, almost every single one, save for one player on Supp, had their top 500 profile picture up for obvious intimidation factor here. Supp has they have a lot of well-known players. Folks might recognize Bird. And Juby Bird, of course, just got signed to the Atlanta Academy team, along with Hawk, many of you may know, who is a legend here in the Chicago area. Both very, very good players. Hawk, obviously not in this tournament, but...
Oh, God, here we go. This is Troll pick with the symmetry dance.
So
Okay.
Pregame ritual. They did this in the last match that we streamed, and it seemed to work out for them. So get some good juju here. We see... And then Big Al, of course, I forgot to mention Big Al on Supp as well is currently a part of Square One. Used to be teammates with Bird, so lots of talent on Team Supp. However, Bean Boys will, can't underestimate them. You saw how dominant they were in their prior matches. So we're about to get started here on Eichenwald.
Absolutely, we're gonna start with our assault map here of Eichenwald, and
3-3 coming out here from Supp. Bean Boys opting to go with a similar with a Sombra Genji combination.
For sure.
Looking just to scout it out, see some swaps coming back in now.
What is going on here? Are they that intimidated they're not even starting the map?
I think they're moving. They just want to I think they're just scouting out with the Sombra, what composition that Supp was running, and now they're going over their swaps with practically a mirror matchup here. 3-3 on both sides. As Bean Boys start to go in through the choke here, very, very aggressive, moving quickly. Bullywug in the back line of the Bean Boys, chasing down this Zenyatta, gonna look for the charge, doesn't get it. Michael off the edge, hits the tree, luckily. Ulfsark, oh my goodness, Orbital gets 2 with the boop, and looks like Dory might have jumped the gun a little too quickly there, but Orbital, nice plays, but not enough to take the point. Bean Boys will be regrouping here.
I mean, just in the first 10, 15 seconds, we already got a lot of action to start off. So, I mean, we're in the quarterfinals here, so we expect to be more competition and more closer matches, like we saw in our last match about overtime.
Absolutely.
But the fight is brewing, as you see here.
Orbital getting that quick sound barrier thanks to that ult charge you got from the picks in the last fight. Bean Boys coming in strong here, taking down 2 Bullywug and Big Al, going down very, very quickly, and they are capping this point with a very strong numbers advantage. Supp thinking about retaking, thought better of it, backing up. They give it the first point. Bean Boys looking strong.
Yeah, living up to the name of the Bean Boys before, but Supp, you're not out of it yet. I mean, it's still anyone's game here.
Lots of ultimates on the side of Supp. Bean Boys does have Ulfsark on that Zenyatta with Transcendence handy to counter some of that damage. We'll see what order the ultimates come out for Supp as they start to stack them up.
Yeah, they're just going right into this. The Graviton Surge comes out first, and then we're going to go for the Diva Bomb. Here we go.
Oh, but Dory picks up 3, and Bird cleans up as the rest of the Bean Boys start to retreat back to their spawn. Absolutely dominant fight win there for Team Supp, using 2 of their ultimates. Still have Earth Shatter as well as Bird with that Transcendence handy, so
it looks like they just let them capture the point just to crush them before the Pickles start moving. I mean,
you're not making it out past this gate.
Yeah.
But here comes the Bean Boys again. Yohigian with the Earth Shatter, trying to find some space, trying to pick his spot. Both teams just playing footsies. Both Reinhardt's drop Earth Shatter, and it is absolute pandemonium on the card. Bird finds his pick, finds 2. As it looks like the Bean Boys are getting pushed back to spawn yet again.
And Bird with the Zenyatta killer here, he's not just a support player, ladies and gentlemen. He can't kill you.
Yeah, when you're playing at his level, you naturally tend to be good at everything, and he's got excellent aim here on this Zenyatta. Transcendence up again. Both support ults up for the Team Supp here.
At least this is like a legit comp and stuff like that. They're not just trolling them because they can. I mean, the payload hasn't moved past 25% here, but still.
Ooh, Yohigian going down. Bird again, finding his shots. The support's doing a lot of damage for Team Supp. And once again, Bean Boys getting pushed back into their spawn. You have to think they have a lot of these ults coming up online, almost all of them for the Bean Boys. They're just not able to find any room to use them. And Supp as well doing a great job of cycling their ultimates, keeping track of them and making sure they're not overcommitting in any specific fight, which is
wow. The Bean Boys just like dropped their ultimate
easy.
charge on the defensive switch to May. What's going on here?
So an interesting swap here. Maybe they're thinking this is a very tight choke. There are a couple different ways in and out, but maybe they're looking for one quick pick here, looking for the wall, misses it on the Reinhardt. Bullywug will get out scot-free. And here comes Graviton Surge out for Supp. Alt-Sark popping Transcendence will negate most of that damage. A counter grab of their own for the Bean Boys. Sound Barrier comes out from Juby, and both teams using all of their support ultimates. Big Al will pick up React from on the side of the Bean Boys, and it is 6v5 right now in favor of Team Supp. And we are back here again at this choke. Supp is just holding Bean Boys at bay. They can't seem to find any room at all.
This has got to be a troll game at this point. I mean, like the payloads move nowhere. And every time Bean Boys touch to make an attack, Supp just shuts them down, and almost handily so.
Did see Bullywug spend the Earth Shatter here. I wouldn't quite say it's troll, as they're more so just doing a very good job of cycling their ultimates and kind of playing as you would expect a very high-level team to play. It remains to be seen what they'll run on the other side, but so far it's looking like all Supp so far.
Wait a minute, just as you say that, there's a lot of progress there.
Oh wow! Both Graviton Surges coming out right next to each other. Transcendence does come out for Supp here. That will keep them up. Organic picking up a big pick on Orbital for the side of the Bean Boys. Diva Bomb coming out and see if it picks anyone up. Does pick up one, and Supp again will win this fight and push Bean Boys back.
Jeez, like it's just like it's almost like they were reading the signs here, reading the tea leaves to have that double Graviton Surge.
They bait him in, and then as soon as they try to use some of their ultimates, they shut them down with their own. Now, Bean Boys, you see, switching up to this Pharah here, that could kind of give them a little bit more vertical mobility, a couple different angles of attack, switch it up a little bit. Juby and Bird again, finding their picks. React does pick up Bird. However, so far, this fight is firmly in favor of the Bean Boys. React's desperately trying to stay up. We're getting too much damage with that supercharge. Zarya, time is ticking down. 10 seconds on the clock. Earthshatter comes out from Bullywug, picks up the entire team. It's looking like all Supp here on their first defense.
Yeah, it looks like the Bean Boys have no answer to this. They're going to be the sad boys here. They do have somebody on the point, it looks like, or somebody on the payload, and the clock is going to be ticking down here. Oh, wait. Oh, a desperate, like, something didn't even use that support ultimate. It just did just for grids, but it seems like Bean Boys is going to fight for the last breath here, and it's almost over. There's one more down, and the clock's going to tick down. Now that they've got it, now they've got the points. Here we go. So the payload is halfway through, and maybe have 1 point on the clock, but like Supp, if they mount the same offense that they did in the defense, it's going to be a very quick match. Unfortunately for Bean Boys, they did so well to get to this point. And now they run against a brick wall, which is Supp.
Yeah, like you said, Supp just didn't let them get out of that first point. They capped it, but did they really cap it? They couldn't make it past that gate. However, they did wind up pushing it a decent bit, got the cart around the bend there. Not bad in terms of progress, definitely very doable if you're the Bean Boys. You got to think about kind of your mental state as a team after kind of, banging your head against the wall over and over again on that choke at the gate. They did make some progress again, and nothing too severe right now. It's only the first match. The teams are really kind of getting a feel for each other.
Right, of course.
First time they have played today, so.
Well, this is how you learn. This is how you learn. This is how you forge that mental fortitude in this kind of situation. You're behind. You just got stopped in the previous game, so now you got to bring your mental state back and focus on the game. Focus on what you're good at. Bring in some strategies. Try something different. I mean, we've seen some games today, even just by changing one character, just changing one hero, has changed the entire output of the game. So we'll see.
Absolutely.
I mean, we can predict how Supp is going to do it. But like Bean Boys can mount on defense. They do have a couple choke points that they can defend. And like I said, my memories of being a ranked player and just dealing with that first choke point, I'm just surprised that they just went aggressive and went through this so fast. So let's see what Supp can do.
You see Bean Boys kind of keeping some of their switches from their prior push on attack, some of the things that were working. You saw that fair. You see that fair again coming out from React. Those switches did help them push it past the choke. So if it's working, you might as well keep it going here. And you see
it's just the odd wrecking ball. I wanted to see what they're going to do with this.
Zerglin.
See you later.
Getting hacked himself.
Yeah, Zobber getting hacked. What a surprise.
Hacker becomes the hackee. Here you see Big Al also on the fair. Will take down Ulfsar. Bird on the DPS now. A little bit of a role reversal here. Yep, finding his picks. Bean Boys will Supp will very comfortably take this first point. Bean Boys need to regroup here.
Oh man, but like just as we expected, like Supp's already on the point to capture this point A to get to the payload, and they have a lot of time left. All let's see that victory marker there. All I gotta do is get to about 45% through the first point, and they will win this map.
That is true. Bean Boys really need to fight for their lives here. However, their full team is here. They are. Oop. I spoke too soon. Orbital does get picked off by Bird. React trying to find some damage, trying to pressure their team, give them some space.
And then B-Boy's trying the pharmacy combo here, but of course, if you take out the first seed, you're taking the Pharah.
Bird with the pulse bomb online as Tracer really finding his space in the back line, moving very well. Ulfsar does manage to get the resurrection off on React. That pharmacy will be in full force again. Dangerously low. EMP does come out on the side of Supp. Bean Boys in dire straits here. Ultimates popping off left and right. Big Al takes down React. And here comes the barrage from Big Al. Does pick up 2. And Supp is rolling.
Yeah, this is desperation time for Bean Boys here. They're popping up all their ultimates to see if they can just stop the train that is Supp. But it looks like it's going to be a very easy victory for Supp as they will win this map and go up 1-0 in the series.
Too little, too late. However, a lot of lessons you can learn if you're the Bean Boys. A lot of things you can take away from this first match. Assault is a hybrid map. A little bit different. I don't know what the other 2 maps we have in the pool. Do you know the other 2 maps?
Yeah. So more than likely it'll either be control or hybrid. So at least we'll have a non-tie map to be in part of the section. But we played control map on map 2 in the previous matchup, so I'm hoping that it's going to be a simple.
Just to fill the. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm hoping it's going to be another control map, just to see some more action from Supp here. But so shout out to Supp for being an expert team here, just showing us how it's done. And just again, I don't know if that first map was on the attack side was a troll setup here, because they didn't even get it past the second choke point. I mean, that's just a nightmare scenario, right? They could have held them. They could have did a full hold. Who knows? But we'll find out on the next map. So shout out to people they just got to regroup, refocus, and you got one more map to try it out.
You got an entire game to kind of get your information, your intel if you're the Bean Boys. They really need to just refocus, probably need to think about a new game plan and a new strategy to attack Supp there. And, I can't pinpoint exactly one thing that Supp was doing that made it so difficult for Bean Boys, because they were all performing at such a high level.
Yeah, it's not just one thing, it was everything, right?
It was everything, as it should be. Overwatch is a team game. But we will be moving to, I believe, Junkertown for our next map here.
Ooh, okay. So
very similar payload map. You saw kind of Bean Boys had their most success kind of at that first point, but kind of faltered a bit with the payload. So we will see, a full payload map.
Yes, for sure.
Interesting counter pick. For those of you, just to fill you in, we do have a map ban system in place for the elimination stage. So teams had previously, before the match started, banned down to 3 maps. The loser of the first map gets to pick the counter pick for the second map. Interesting that they picked Junkertown.
Well, maybe they know something that we don't, right? If they're counter picking Junkertown, they obviously have a strat in place. I hope it's the pirate ship strap. That's just my own personal, out there. But we don't know. The tournament life is on the line. They may try to get something more serious. Might go back to go console. We'll see. But right now, I already see the Reese's on the Bean Boy side. I do not see a Bastion, so it may not be pirate ship, but it's going to be interesting for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of the mental game. Before kind of the match starts, you kind of want to think about what the other team might run, and then maybe base your team composition around that. this point, obviously, very much so conducive to that pirate ship. However, we do see Zerglin on that Widowmaker. They're going to run a rather standard DPS composition for the attack here on the Bean Boy. Zerglin, very well known for his Widowmaker, his hit scan play. Going to be trying to find a quick pick early on here to get his team some space and maybe some up their morale a little bit.
For sure. Junkertown is usually hit or miss. Either you finish the map very strong with that comp, or you get stuck at aim and
See
that's
react, picking off Berg right off the bat.
and
Supp down their main support. That's going to be an issue. Bullywug does D-Mech doorway. They have the spawn that they can retreat to, but right now Zerglin takes D-Mech's Muttery.
And Supp is just making some assumptions here. They're just going all out. It's like forget the troll pick. We're just gonna win all out.
Yeah, you lost Arana, no problem. Zerglin, however, clicking some heads here, finding another pick there on Juby. Supp again, their Ana is down, walking back from that second point spawn. Supp doing a very good job of holding up in that room, stalling it out, giving their teammates time to come back. And Immortality Field does come down. We'll keep them up. Bean Boys, nice shots from Zerglin. Bullywug goes down.
Under
and
pressure.
look at that. Ooh, doesn't quite make it back in spawn.
We're so close though.
And here comes Supp, coming back. They're fighting back. They're getting pick after pick as the Bean Boys right back where they started, back in spawn.
Yeah, and so I don't think this is going to be similar results to the previous match. Supp is like, look, we're on to the semifinals here. We're on to lunch. We're hungry, and we're just going to take it as is. So they're just spawn camping at this point. This is not even a match. What is going on?
I would say this next fight is very pivotal. Bean Boys coming up on a lot of ultimates. They do have the sights from Zerglin. Tossing out a Diva Bomb, hoping it catches something. No dice there. Torb down. Here comes Grab coming out on the side of Supp. I'm not sure if it was Eden or... Oh no, that came out on the side of the Bean Boys. I apologize. But again, Bean Boys chasing Supp around, managing to find their picks. Diva Bomb coming down, no shield. Does pick up Ultsark on the Mercy. That's a big pick. However, Bean Boys will be able to push this cart at least a good amount. Supp will have to regroup here.
Oh, so, okay, at least the Bean Boys get to move the table a little bit. I mean, it would be very imaginative if, like, the next side started, or Supp started on offense, and then, you know, they'll just right out front. They didn't have to move anywhere. But we're going to get some progress here to get about halfway to point 8. Meanwhile, Supp is regrouping, it looks like, is taking the fight to Bean Boys. And we're going to start all over again, and a nano boost of Diva. Let's go.
Lots of damage coming out on the side of Supp, getting their picks yet again. Bean Boys just falling so quickly. Supp's very coordinated with their pushes and their communication. You can tell with how focused their offense is, taking down exactly who they need to at the right time. And there goes that poor Widowmaker
off the side of the road.
Going out on her own terms.
For sure.
No, the Bean Boys coming up again with their the sights coming from courtesy of the Widowmaker. Yohigian does have his primal rage ready. Zerglin not able to find any space. Midori right on him, punishing that positioning. And here comes Supp again, one after another, falling to the aggression of Supp.
Oh goodness! I was hoping for just a little bit of action on the Bean Boy side. I'm glad they started on offense, you know, at the very least. But this might be where the payload ends up. It's 35 seconds left on the clock here, and I mean, we can go for a miracle. We can go for a collapse. Maybe Supp will just retreat and just let them get to the first point so they can kind of. I don't know, but this is not good.
Yeah,
These boys are
Bean
in
Boys,
desperation
you need
mode
to
at this
change
point.
something. Tournament life is on the line here. This is the tournament point for them. Of course, they do have a defense, but not much of a defense if the cart is right outside of their spawn.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, I think this is really like the first time I've ever seen a full hold, not even a first point capture on Junkertown. I've seen a lot of battles around point A, but not like this. And so, Bean Boys, I feel for you, man. This is, you know, you came here for competition and you run into the brick wall. It happens. Learn from this.
Well, it's not over yet. I mean, the odds are definitely against them. However, they do have a little bit of room to work with. There are a lot of I don't even know if I want to say cheese, but there are a lot of interesting compositions and strategies you can run on defense.
Yeah,
here.
for sure.
on Junkertown, there's a lot of those Orisa compositions where you kind of hold right outside of spawn. They can try things such as a Bastion, they can try things, or they can just try to out-damage them and out-skill them, but it remains to be seen what their plan will be here. I think right now they seemed a little lost on that last point. They got to regroup. They still have a chance, there's always a chance.
There's always a chance in Overwatch. I understand that explicitly, but at the same time, who would expect Supp to just come in and just be aggressive and just spawn camp them for the first point? Who would have expected them to just shut them down after every wave? Like, and even when Bois had their first set of ultimates, they was just shut down at every turn. So, I mean,
yeah, they're very much so playing like a Yuden in there. Pushing them into spawn. They're just taking the space.
If it got one fight to go here, so I mean, like I say at most one fight, and then we also have all right.
So we have the Symmetra, we have the Bastion. They're pulling out all of the cheese here. The
oh my goodness, what is going on here? Come on. Are you serious right now? Okay, so what are we doing with this is Symmetra check on the B.
And here we go, Bunker v Bunker. Two Bastions going at it here. Who's going to have the damage? Zerglin will be the one who goes down first. Going to get rezzed by that Mercy. Immortality Field will keep them up. However, their bunker, so to speak, has been completely displaced. They're going to have to rotate around here. Both teams still at full strength.
I still don't understand what the Symmetra pick is. Like it's just, I mean, if they're just going to go out in a blaze of glory here and use Symmetra to do it, I mean, God bless.
They're using the Symmetra to reposition on these roofs right now. Completely going down. Immortality Field going back up. Will keep them up for now, but Big Al will take down the Bastion. Pops his ult so quickly here. Absolutely disregarding the ultimate from Baptiste.
They don't even care at this point. Like the payload is moving. This is a foregone conclusion, ladies and gentlemen. We got Supp moving on to the semifinals.
In a commanding fashion, 2-0. Last minute stalls here for the Bean Boys. Let's see if they can make something happen. A little bit of late game magic.
So they came in like a wrecking ball and then got wrecked. That's how this works. So.
That's unfortunate, but that is Overwatch. However, the Team Supp will be advancing to the semifinals. Bean Boys will be going home. Good effort on both sides. Quite the run by Bean Boys, but sometimes you're just outclassed. Sometimes
you get the brick and sometimes you get the horns. You know what I'm saying? So it's unfortunate, but I mean, at least there was a little bit of a power shift here. But this ultimate was unnecessary. Like he didn't have to do that. He could just stay in the point and went along with it. But oh well.
Sometimes it's about sending a message.
Sending a message to who?
Everyone
to
out
my
there.
next opponent? Like,
yeah,
here,
to your next
this is going to happen to you. So yeah, congratulations to Supp for moving on into the bracket here to the semifinals. So out of all teams that I've seen today, I mean, like Supp seems to be the team to be here.
Yep.
I mean, just based on raw skill. Not even on like just seeing what I just saw. I'm just like, okay, that wasn't even a game. That was just kind of a here. Let's have a practice. Let's have a friendly. How about that?
Yeah.
Like, the result doesn't matter, but we had some fun anyway, right?
They definitely are on paper the strongest team that we have in the tournament so far. However, anything can happen, especially in a LAN environment. So we'll be bringing you more action coming up here with the beginning of our semifinals matches, and we will also be sending out a brief update on our tournament bracket as soon as we conclude the rest of our quarterfinal set. So we'll see you soon back here at Chicago Overwatch.
Back here on Chicago Overwatch for the Lakeside Showdown. It is Labasco, and of course you've got my partner here again in Blitzbolt, and we have the semifinals that are just about to get underway. We're going to go to that in just a second, but first we're going to take a look at the bracket here and see how we've gotten to this semifinals part. We've seen Supp and Brig Brains on one side, but we're going to start on the other side of the bracket. Spicybois versus Sad Kids Club is the one we're going to go to. The winner of this game goes on to the championship game, and then the loser will go on to the third place game. So you look at this one, should be a really good match. There's some really interesting stuff. A lot of local Chicago talent being shown off in this too.
Yeah, absolutely. And this game especially is a little treat for all the Chicago fans that have been following, the Chicago LAN scene for a long time. You see, on one side, we're going to see Tengu and Big's longtime LAN teammates. However, their teammate Meyer is just on the other side. So these three were supposed to play together, even at this LAN like they always have been for a long time. However, some last-minute roster shuffles put them against each other. So this is gonna be a team kill. Like brother kills brother. It's going to happen. Meyer or Tengu and Biggs from the old roster that they played together for such a long time in. Other famous Chicago names, we have Sea Salt, plays a lot in the Pugs, has played in different lands as well. Lot, premier support player in Chicago as well. And then again, many talents that are not local at all, but are coming in like Cyrus, Schultz, Salt Shaker, Spectacles. They're coming in for the first time onto the Chicago LAN circuit to showcase their skill. Amazing players, and now we're going to see them live in this first semi-final match. It's a Sad Kids Club versus the Spicybois.
Spicybois in the blue, Sad Kids Club in the red. Of course, the other thing to consider here too, we're going to a control point. We're going to Nepal. I believe it's Sanctum. Yep, it's Sanctum where we get to go to first as well. So you've got that nice little pit. We don't have any Orises here, but we have Lucio's that can do some booping.
Yeah, Orisa's definitely on the other side with Salt Shaker again on his signature.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, they're playing with Diana's then. No Lucio. Let's see if they engage strong enough to go and put that team on the back pedal. Sea Salt on the Batiste.
So they're coming all the way around. Sad Kids Club doing the full rotation around. Have to keep their Winston up. Managed to do so. Metopia has to be careful, looking for his opportunity to jump in here for Sad Kids Club. You know, a little bit of Cain and Abel, I guess, is what you could say we have going on there. Make it biblical, I guess, for this semifinals matchup as they start to jump on where Salt Shaker is. Some players going underneath, and Spectacles getting it started off with the boop into that little well area. And now Salt Shaker kind of just trying to stay alive for as long as possible as that point will start to open up, trying to wait out the Baptiste ultimate. Goes back on here just before that can be taken. Metopia coming in and starting to turn things around for Sad Kids Club.
And again, really good discipline from Salt Shaker at the very beginning, trying to hold on to the point without dying. He doesn't manage to pull it off, unfortunately. Metopia definitely showing a very big performance. Just got 2 kills with that Primal Rage. Now the rest of the team is pushing into them. Sad Kids Club, they are playing now. They're switched on to, again, the 3-3. Sea Salt on the Batiste instead of Brigida, as you would expect. Tengu on his signatures and Spectacles on his signature Lucio. Everybody on their comfort picks, and they're definitely showcasing why.
You know, Sad Kids Club, the one starting. Oh, Metopia, I thought he was not going to make the jump there for a second. It almost was a little bit short for Spicybois, though. They are trying to push their way on. Akash starting off getting Tango, so you got that main support, well, sorry, that main damage dealing support out of the way is what I should say. Get that Baptiste invincibility gone as well, and they're starting to take this. Meyer showing off that McCree again. Meyer looked good on this McCree the last time we saw him too.
Yeah, Meyer, again, always been a pretty big hitscan player in the Chicago community. His signature pick was always, again, the McCree. And now to see him play, you know, I was a little sad when I saw him on Lucio earlier on, but now he's coming back with his DPS pick. And again, this team flexes a lot. We've seen technique on the support, also on the tank, and then in DPS. Same for Cyrus. We've seen him go support. We've seen him go DPS. So they're moving around a lot. But again, that allows them to go and showcase a lot of different compositions. And now Meyer on the DPS getting some work done.
Well, almost everybody's been flexing. Salt Shaker really not doing a lot of flexing, but flexing on the Orisa is the one thing for sure. Had that boop try and throw players off, but it actually just threw them to the point. Akash using that Primal Rage, making it work to perfection, and Spicybois here looking pretty good. Salt Shaker very okay with making that jump across.
Yeah, Salt Shaker not flexing, but definitely flexing his muscles now on Orisa, showing everybody again why he is one of the better Orisas out there. And now he's hiding in the corner. He's got something planned for us.
Oh, he's been doing. We've seen him do these before. Hoping to get spotted out by the Lucio. So the Transcendence ends up getting forced here, but Technique and Salt Shaker are still able to get 2 players down. So even though they spotted it out, not going to do enough. Meyer on this McCree just holding the Deadeye, but there's nothing really coming his way. But Akash still working on that Winston, no problem. About to get to another, well, halfway to another Primal Rage.
And again, Salt Shaker not playing the kind of Orisa you would expect, but look at how many resources Sad Kids Club has to pull in just to kill him. And by the time they've got the drop on him, you know, the rest of Spicybois just collapsing on him. And there he is on the flank again. Spectacles, however, opens up the dances with the killing technique.
Only problem is, though, is they're only up 1. Meyer's able to even that back up by taking down the Baptiste. This has been a back and forth fight. 93% built up to for Spicybois. They only have to take care of the Primal Raging Winston now, and they should be able to keep this point in their favor. 99%. Nobody can get there, and Spicybois will strike first on this first map in Nepal.
Yeah, very solid victory for the Spicybois. Again, they're pulling off some incredibly unorthodox compositions. You know, Tall Shaker and the Orisa, very standard pick for Sanctum. You know, we've seen a lot of floats that Winston Goat's composition on that map, but, you know, since the old days, Orisa's a strong pick on just about any map where there's big environmental potential. But at the same time, then you see Akash on the Winston, and he's just doing his own thing. So they're using the Orisa almost as a flanker, you know, as bait. They're getting the Orisa to take the attention of the rest of the team, and then Akash as a playmaker. He doesn't have the kind of support that you would have with a D.Va or a Zarya, but he's going in and making all the spaces needed for Meyer, for Cyrus' technique to pop off.
It's funny because you say that Salt Shaker's being a flanker with the Orisa, which is sort of what your D.Va does, and also sort of plays utility as well. So playing that with a character that you don't normally see it played with is definitely something that you get to see here in Chicago Overwatch, no doubt. Spicybois going to take the high ground area. Sad Kids Club are going to go onto the point. They do have that triple tank, triple support composition that they're playing with, and they're going to lose two right at the beginning. Technique and Kosh combining. Cyrus on that Soldier 76, making that work no problem, throwing out a ton of damage, and Salt Shaker and the rest of the tanks have been cleaning up. And Sad Spicybois, well, they're not being sad. Sad Kids Club, that's what they are right now.
They're pretty sad. They've lost the first fight again and again. It's our first fight. So important to win out for the rest of the control map. Now, Meyer and Cyrus, both on hit-scan DPS's technique. Very nice pick as well, and he keeps on with the fragging. Now, they want to set up all those high ground, several crossfires with Soldier 76 and the McCree. And if they can manage to get that done, the damage is really hard to answer from a Goat's composition that only really has a D.Va to go and try and contest one of those DPSs onto the high ground. Without a Winston, which you would usually see against DPS comps, that is harder to do. Meeptopia can only block so much damage and from only so many directions. Salt Shaker, he's doing it again. Yeah,
flanking around again. He's playing with the main tank in Akash. They will take the point, though, as Sad Kids Club, so they're able to sneak that away. Meyer from the high ground looking for that Deadeye. Won't find anything, but gets help from the other side from Akash, who used his Primal Rage. So they're committing two ultimates to try and keep this fight in their favor. That looks like they used the Nano Boost. Maybe didn't need that one, but they won themselves this fight, flipped it back over. Only 15% gained by Sad Kids Club.
Yeah, and again, Akash with these Primal Rages, he is just absolutely blowing my mind. It seems like every time, see a little tick with the blue circle around it, he's about to get 2 kills with it. Every single time. He's just been amazing on the Winston, especially when ulting. Getting so much value out of it. Now Cyrus looking from the back. With Salt Shaker, the two bodies are back. Here comes the fight.
No, he ends up just not even using the barrier that was put down for him because he saw how fast they were moving towards the point for Sad Kids Club. They're going to use the sound barrier here. That'll negate most of the damage, but Tengu still gets caught out after it ends. Great tracking coming out from the Soldier 76 and Cyrus. His team is back down, though now not being able to compete too much now with what Sad Kids Club has been able to do, especially with that extra armor that they got from the rally, from the Brigitte and Sea Salt. So now they will finally have control, but 75% already for Spicybois.
Yeah, Spectacle's fragging out again. It is so exciting to see all these big ladder names coming together to play in this Chicago Overwatch Lakeside Showdown. Spectacle's coming in and doing the aggressive Lucio plays that he's so well known for in the NA ladder. Here comes Crimson with the aggressive grab, and he's going to clean it up.
Massive clean, one ultimate, all they need to use, wipe everybody, and look at the ultimates too for Sad Kids Club. They're starting to keep that ult bank in their favor. Akash is about to get the Primal Rage though.
Yeah, Akash again. I've been hyping him up. Don't let me down, Akash. Go again and hit him with a monkey ult. Now, Biggs with the D.Va self-destruct on deck as well could spell disaster for a composition that doesn't really have that much to protect the rest of the teammates with it. You know, you have the Orisa Shield, you have the bubble, but once those are broken, the D.Va bomb can completely wreck.
Oh, and Meyer was using the Deadeye and is dead before he can do anything. But from behind, you do have Akash coming in to at least take down Sea Salt, but he's got to escape and get away. Otherwise, he's going to lose his life as his team's getting cleaned up. Sad Kids Club now in the driver's seat.
Yeah, all of a sudden, this game that was looking so convincing for the Spicybois is completely turned upside down. Cyrus now onto the Tracer. That is a hard hero to make work against the Goat's composition. Let's see how that's going to work out. At the same time, you know, Meeptopia onto the Shatter. He can just spell the end for this round and bring it to round 3. Akash goes in.
Yeah, I think he got that nano boost there at the beginning, did get boofed away, but now comes back in with his Primal Rage, knocking everybody off the high ground. Now trying to juggle some of those players away as the Earth Shatter does come out. Salt Shaker able to find one, and Meyer following up with another. So, Spicybois starting to turn this around. Transcendence coming in a little bit late. Loth is taken down, though, so the Ana healing is gone for Spicybois. Sad Kids Club still with an opportunity as they commit their Sound Mirror in. They don't want to lose this fight here if they can avoid it. Biggs with the big pick on the Meyer, too. They're starting to do it. Salt Shaker extremely low. Taken down. Overtime meter going away. We're going to need a third map to get our winner on Nepal.
Hit 2 Biggs going with the kill with Meyer opening the dances again. Manages to take down his former teammate in a fight that looked lost. Spectacle investing the sound barrier and suddenly turning everything around. The Sad Kids Club manages to inch out a win here, and now we're on to map 3, and everything is decided here for this first map. Meyer onto the Tracer, another hero that he's very well known for. You know, it's Meyer Tracer, Meyer McCree. Those are 2 things that come to mind when I think of that name. And actually, no, it looks like it's going to be in Brig jail. You've got me there. You've got me there for a second.
You know, that's what they like to do. You know, they're spicy boys. That's kind of their thing. They like to make it spicy, make you think one thing, and then quickly switch it to another.
Bam! Before you realize it. Biggs on the Tracer. That is not something I associate with Biggs, but they are going for the Hanzo and Tracer and Far. Triple DPS comp. Meeptopia onto the Wrecking Ball, trying to displace enemies, creating the space necessary for his DPS to spam and for Biggs to clean up and go in for the kill. As the spam starts coming in, Crimson is down on the flank.
So watching Crimson from his view right now, making sure that he's able to stay alive up in the air. Playing this triple DPS comp, like you said, causes a lot of displacement, a lot of different angles that the DPS will be shooting from. And then you have that Wrecking Ball coming in who's just going to try and wreak havoc, throw players around, make it difficult. They will give up early, though, to Spicybois, and Salt Shaker will find that Zenyatta. Zenyatta is pretty exposed, and this sort of a composition is the only problem. Salt Shaker getting both of those supports down. Only problem is there's still so many DPS players that they have to deal with. Biggs right now looking at the Lucio, not winning that battle out. Now switching over, gets the stick onto Seasalt, but plenty of healing there available. And Sad Kids Club are going to have to figure out how they want to change this attack.
And it is just not enough. Salt Shaker popping off at the very beginning of that fight, getting those frags that matter. Now, Sad Kids Club, with that composition, they wanted to go and try and run down the enemies with the massive damage that they were getting. However, that doesn't work out. Sad Kids is now onto a traditional Rheingold, which, you know, if they manage to get a strong, fast engage into the Orisa Rhine, they should be advantage.
The only problem is this comp wants to just hunker down on the point, so breaking it's going to be really difficult. You already see the shield gone away for Meeptopia, so he's going to have to... Meeptopia, excuse me. Want to make sure we get the meep part because that's really important. Meep, exactly. But not meeping very well right now. They actually do get Meyer, though, is the good thing. So Spicybois still in a position here to maybe do something with the charge. They still have their tanks. Transcendence, though, will allow them to aggress in for Sad Kids Club, and that's exactly what they do. Crimson will get locked down, so the speed is gone. Transcendence here by Technique to try and keep them up. Oh, the grab gets eaten of Cyrus's. This is perfect for Sad Kids Club. They're going to be able to switch this one around.
Yeah, and you know, I was talking about the Biggs Tracer, the Biggs on the Diva, eating the grab, doing what he does best. Seasalt now aggressing with the Brigida, going in, using the rally to clean up this fight. It's been taking a little longer than it should have, but the Sad Kids Club are finally managing to clean it up. They're going to take control of the point, and now it's up to them to keep it held for the entirety of the round.
We did see, though, they did that last time. We know how hard it is for an Orisa to get back on, so what's the answer for Spicybois here?
Yeah, Spicybois need to go in and go in fast. If they just park themselves onto outside of the point and try to run down the resources, Sad Kids Club can just not peek them. They can say, all right, we'll be waiting on point, and just hang out until they do. The engage comes in, Spicybois with the supercharger as well.
So this is where they're going to do. They're going to come through that main choke. Not working too well. Biggs loses mech, but Seasalt takes out the main tank and Akash. And usually when you lose that main tank, you're going to lose the fight, especially when Meeptopia just comes charging in. Meep, goodbye. And Sad Kids Club, super good spot to be in right now.
Meep, goodbye indeed. And Crimson, I saw him going for the jump. He was going for the grenade jump into the Graviton. That would have been a play for the ages. Unfortunately, he misses it and just goes back and just lands it right in front of them. Now Cyrus onto the Pharah is looking to break down the GOAT's composition with a lot of damage from above. he doesn't have a Mercy. So, you know, that damage is really limited at the end of the day, but he can still make it work. Meeptopia, meeping his dominance.
That throws out his Earth Shatter. He just used it. He's already got another one, too, swinging his hammer all the way through and cleaning up another fight for Sad Kids Club.
And man, I just like saying the name Meeptopia, but he's actually just playing really, really solid Reinhardt outside of, you know, just saying his name for fun. I need to say it a lot because he's been doing work. Sad Kids Club following his lead in every engage. He's doing damage. He's keeping everybody on the team protected. He's doing everything a Reinhardt should do and some more. Adding some more damage onto their composition. Now they've got a really big ult bank coming in this last fight.
Throw out the self-destruct at first, and it does get Loth. Loth couldn't get saved by his own sound barrier, but he did at least get it off for the rest of his team. Akash is able to get Sea Salt down, but answering back is Meeptopia. Like you said, leading the way is that main tank. Transcendence here in desperation as this gets to 95%. It's still anybody's fight, and now the Earth Shatter comes out, but the Trans is there to keep players alive. Have the barrage coming out from Cyrus, but he's taken out of the sky before it can do anything. Only have the supercharger left to try and turn this around. Akash charging in, finds himself his end. Still a chance here for Spicybois. They're in overtime though, can't give it up here. Meeptopia throwing out that fire strike, getting it back. Sad Kids Club forced them off. Overtime meter goes away, and Sad Kids Club lose the first map, win the next two, and now we'll take map number 1.
Sad Kids Club pull off at the end the win. They managed to take this first map after looking not that convincing through the first one. Here's our idol, Meeptopia. He's going to show us some of his meeping in the play of the game as he goes in, charges inside of a grab, and then swings a little bit more for good measure. And again, you know, I play main tank. I like seeing good main tank play, but seeing Akash and Meeptopia just face off in these Reinhardt battles has been a treat. They've just been playing so well one against the other. It's so nice to see them battling and both making a big contribution for both of their teams.
Without a doubt, and I mean, Meeptopia gets the play of the game as a result. Also, you know, you gotta give him a little bit of credit, I guess, for the skin that he ends up using there too. A little bit of unique choice that he ends up coming out with as far as Reinhardt skins go. So it's got his own little flair with them as well on it. But you know, we talked about how at the beginning this is kind of two mixed teams almost.
Yeah,
these are players that kind of know each other. The Reinhardt battles being one of the focal points, is that a surprise for you?
A little bit. I'll be honest with you. You know, I've heard of the names Akash and Meeptopia, you know, before, but never in the Chicago scene.
Right.
And never really in any very, very high tier tournament or anything like that. So, you know, they were a little bit of an unknown to me personally. But, man, they've been impressing me a lot. You know, I knew about Meyer, I knew about Tengu, I knew about Loth, I knew about Biggs, I knew about Cecil. But, man, these two main tanks are definitely coming into their own, facing off and making big plays for both of their teams.
Yeah, that's definitely something that's happening. Championship on the line. It is a best of 3 to get to that championship game. The loser of this game will go to the third place game. So both of these teams are not yet done today is the nice thing. But you want to be in that championship game. You want a chance for that big prize that's on the line for this Lakeside Showdown.
Yeah, you absolutely do. And here it is, my home, Rialto. We are going to be loading into the best country in the game, in the world. Italy is going to be...
You're an Italian as well? Is that what you're saying?
You know it. You know it. Mamma
Sicilian
mia.
or Italian?
Italian, of course.
Okay.
Big difference.
There is a difference. I'm Sicilian, so, you know, it's just the way it goes. It's okay. It's okay. You know,
okay. We find ourselves, you know, we find each other in Overwatch.
It's weird how that ends up happening, too. I don't, you know... It just, there's something about, you know, my friend over there is Italian too, who's here as well. You know, he's Northern Italian. Doesn't matter. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Regardless, though.
We are loading into Rialto. Now, Technique, he's doing it. You know, Technique known for his Bastion play on ladder especially. I've been wanting to see this. I've been wanting to see, you know, he's been flexing around. He played a little bit of tank. He played a little bit of Zenyatta during the last control map. Now, Meyer on Diana, and it's Technique on his strong play. And when you're bunkering down somewhere and you have some of the best, probably one of the best Bastions and one of the best Orisas you can find on ladder, you better start hunkering and bunkering because, like, it's going to be good.
Without a doubt, that's at least the thought is that they will be good. At least that's what you hope if you're Spicybois, because they're down 1-0 right now to Sad Kids Club. We're going to see what Sad Kids Club decide to do. You see them coming over that bridge over there. They maybe were expecting this is why you see them rotate around this way. They're going to come out down underneath, though. Where are they going to rotate from here is the question for Sad Kids Club. They want to try and get up those stairs if they can, and that's exactly where they're going. You have to be careful, though. There's always the boot potential from Cyrus there that they have to be careful of. Looks for that opportunity. Got it waste. See if they know that that cooldown isn't there. They have to avoid the rockets, though, as well. Everybody's healed up, so they're fine right now for Sad Kids Club. Still need to make their opportunity happen. Have to watch out for the Bastion. They're rotating around. They're taking their time, being very methodical.
Yeah, but the cart ain't moving. It's been almost a minute, and, you know, they're playing Ring Around the Rosie, and they're doing that pretty well for that matter. Find Meyer eventually, but the cart hasn't moved a single inch. They haven't touched it. Technique with the kill on Utopia, who was alone for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know why the main tank was alone, so Technique is like, all right, see you later, Reinhardt. Go back to spawn, and now his team is split off from him.
Yeah, it's so hard to join him back again now, Utopia. I'm a little confused by that, actually.
Same. They did get the Ana. That's the one nice thing. So they did get some of that out of there, at least for the healing that could happen potentially, but you still have to push your way on through this Bastion, and Sea Salt is going to get that invincibility gone already early on. Meyer's not going to be able to come back, which is nice, but you're still not moving the cart like you said.
Yeah, it's been like, this is the most I've ever seen for a team to not be moving the cart. We're almost at 2 minutes, and you got to be asking yourself at some point, like, when are we going to do it? When are we going to start moving the cart? Utopia with a charge takes him down, but Cyrus answers with that barrage. 4 people down, 3 people.
But getting that Bastion out, now they're not going to be able to set up for their defense there. We'll see what they decide to do, how they decide to hold. They're still holding up close, even though they don't have their Bastion.
And I think at this point, Spicybois is just saying, okay, you guys gave us this big advantage, not moving the cart for 2 minutes. We're just going to run with it. Salt Shaker takes him down, and Akash with the Earth Shatter. Going to be charging into it as the Immortality Field will soon become a Mortality Field because they can't sit there forever.
Can't get through these shields. Akash is still just swinging away, and goodbye Zarya. So Sad Kids Club, this is not looking good from them. Spicybois in the driver's seat.
Yeah, and Technique is back. He's got the tank mode ultimate. He's got everything that he needs. He's setting up again, waiting for Salt Shaker to put down a shield for him. And we're now almost at, we're on 1 minute 30. That cart has not moved at all. It's such a convincing hold from the Spicybois, punishing the confusion that it seems like it's affecting the Sad Kids Club.
Sad Kids Club still haven't made any switches of any kind. Earthshatter going to come out. Akash is down, but it hasn't lost his life. Nano Boost will make sure that he stays up. Uses the sound barrier from Sad Kids Club, but they're still not doing anything. They start to move this cart finally, but they've only moved it a little bit. Salt Shaker getting Utopia down, and now tank mode. Goodbye. Technique showing off that tracking, that flicks. It's just completely wrecking them.
And this is what happens when you leave a Bastion uncontested. He's absolutely showing off right now. Uses the tank mode to pierce through the Transcendence coming out from Tengu. That Transcendence does not matter when there's so much damage just burst, pushing through. Sea Salt on the Batiste. That invulnerability, that Immortality Field is the only thing. The suck. Meyer will get the kill credit, but that's a big hold. Crimson falling off the bridge and down in the canal, go take a gondola ride while the rest of the team just gets back together.
Sad Kids Club have to figure something out. 22 seconds left. They think that they're going to come down that one side again that they've tried to come down a couple of times, but they don't really have time to do that, but they're going to do it anyways. There they go. Throw out the sleep dart, not going to find anybody. They throw the grab up from underneath is the only thing, but now you've got to be able to get some damage out. Self-destruct doesn't work. There was a barrier that was available, but they still get Technique down, and now they'll finally get the car going, but it happens in overtime. You have Akash, the only one left. He's going to die right away. They're in overtime, and they're finally coming around the first corner, though.
Yeah, they are. Now, Crimson with the Graviton Surge definitely impressing me. I thought that was almost a just complete throw. How are they going to follow up? They eventually do, so props to him. Very, very smart. Coming from the bottom to keep him held down to the floor. Now, Utopia almost has the Earth Shatter, and he's posturing very aggressively to try and finish it up and continue the push.
They throw out the Baptiste ultimate here at the beginning just to add a little bit more damage, not allow them to come onto that cart too soon. Halt pulls a player up into the air in the Reinhardt in Meeptopia, but he's able to stay alive, still keeping his life. They've still got that tank mode for Technique. Earthshatter comes through, didn't find anybody. Sound barrier coming, and now you have Technique who's got the nano boost on, has to destroy up top. Now just looking for somebody, gets charged into instead. Meeptopia still having a chance is this side of Sad Kids Club. They're going to be able to get this point finally.
And they're going to do it. Man, who would have thought? We were just waiting until 20 seconds. They had not moved the card a single inch, and eventually they pull themselves back together. They use that Immortality Field so well as well. You know, Technique, massive damage on the Bastion, obviously. But if you can place that Immortality Field well, then you're just not gonna die. It's in the name. So they use it so well to avoid getting killed by that massive damage, and then eventually they push it back, and now it's a different game.
So now, you only have 2 minutes, though. That's the one thing for Sad Kids Club, that so much time has been chewed up. You still have to try and get through this Bastion that Technique has been showing. Throws the tank mode out, says goodbye to that Diva mech that Biggs had. Still throwing out damage, but there is a Transcendence there to keep players alive. Oh, finds Biggs, who is out of that mech, so that's a good elimination to keep them in front. Technique will lose their life is the only problem, and now this is the chance for Sad Kids Club to start pushing in, try and take care of these players. Have to be careful of the barrage that came out from Cyrus. Didn't get anything. They're staying alive, no problem. This is going pretty good for Sad Kids Club, even though it's not moving as fast as they would like.
Yeah, and here comes the Shatter. Akash finding Crimson. Does not manage to charge him off, but the nano swings are going to be enough as he finishes to clean up. Now, I want to just say something about the previous fight. Meatopia somehow made his way, if we ever get to rewatch that again, Meatopia made his way all the way to the enemy backline and stayed alive for so long, creating so much space for his team to just walk in and get the kills that they needed. Eventually, again, Spicybois turned it around. Technique now on the Reaper as opposed to the Bastion, and that might be what they need. Better up-close damage that can't be contested as easily.
Have to deal with the self-destruct. First the boop. Oh, Akash almost goes into the river instead, but he gets his Earth Shatter off. Technique following up afterwards. Coalescence not keeping enough players alive. Transcendence will do a better job of that for Spicybois. 35 seconds left. Ultimates coming left and right. Have the Baptiste ult used as well, but Technique has been able to hold on here with the rest of Spicybois. They're trying to even this up, trying to end this hold right here with 20 seconds left to go.
Yeah, and the Spicybois playing around Sea Salt Simplification Matrix so well. They just push right past it, and at that point, nothing's going through it. You're not going to get that double damage, just double heals. So they push very, very aggressively. Even though they don't have a Lucio, they're still making it work without the speed boost. But now, Spectacles, there's a Lucio, and there's a Sound Barrier that can come out any second now.
And there it goes, just as you're saying it. Out comes the Earth Shatter, does catch Meyer, but they don't have the damage to take him down. Extremely low goes Meyer, uses the nano boost, though, before they lose their life. It's the good thing. Overtime meter has started once again for the side of Sad Kids Club. Technique making this use of this Reaper with no problem, looking for his Death Blossom, hasn't needed it yet, probably not going to with that self-destruct, throws it out at the end just for good measure, but this one ends halfway through our second point. That Streets phase ends in a spot where if you are Spicybois, your win condition, not the hardest one, but we know how hard it is to take that first point on Rialto.
It definitely can be. We just saw a prime example of it for that matter. Again, I was really, really happy with Technique's discipline on the Death Blossom at the very end. I saw him just walk towards the enemy backline, and I thought, oh man, like he's just gonna get bopped. He's just gonna get found out. He instead falls back, waits around a bit, looks for the perfect moment, ends up not needing to use it besides for cleaning up. But really good, Reaper play coming out from him. I was surprised. I thought that he would stick to his gun, stick to the Bastion, but pulls out a pick that I don't think he's played in this tournament yet.
Not that we've seen.
Yeah, and, comes out strong with it. So now the Spicybois are looking to mount an attack that can match the Sad Kids Club and maybe a little better. And again, if they play around their card well and not push for a very long time, they should be able to at least push it to a good point. Let's see, however, the Sad Kids Club can match a defense that will hold them or not. Technique on the Bastion.
You have to think that Sad Kids Club, they've got a couple of choices of what they may want to do. They could try that really close-up early hold that has become sort of a popular thing, or they can kind of play around the corner and just play a little bit more conservatively. I guess it depends on what they expect, right? And here's what we're seeing. We're seeing the May, we're seeing Orisa, we're seeing Baptiste, we're seeing creativity here from Sad Kids Club.
I'm a little confused. I'm going to be honest with you. Oh, they're doing the Hunker Bunker with the May wall. I think they want to contest the card using the May wall and the Orisa shields to do so. I was thinking, how are they going to do it? They don't have damage to shoot from the bunker with, but I think they're just going to be, they're just going to be holding right next to the card space and trying to contest as long as they can.
So the one thing to remember here with this is now the Maywall has gotten a little bit weaker is the only thing. So Bastion should be able to tear through that fairly quickly. Does so in pretty orderly fashion. Meyer able to get a headshot in there. Meyer with another shot on into that small little room. Also with all that damage coming out from the Bastion. So now his team, sure they lost their Widowmaker, they're not worried about it because they've got technique set on the cart, and that cart is going to roll. They've gotten further in just 30 seconds than we saw for, what, 2.5, 3 minutes almost for Sad Kids Club?
Yeah, and that's what happens when you let Meyer run free. Now, Sad Kids Club coming in with this very interesting composition. I've seen it work in Open Division Korea recently. Maybe that's where they got the idea, but the triple support with Lucius Zen and Mercy only made to keep the Pharah up and damage booster, while the tanks will work with the supports to do their job. Meyer is looking for something.
Oh, looking there. Saw the Lucio. Lucio going away, though. Will be able to get healed back up his spectacles, so not going to lose his life there, thankfully. Earthshatter going to come out instead from Akash. Akash not getting much off of it. Have that Baptiste invincibility that comes out, and then you have the use of the amplification matrix and technique just tearing through this team in Sad Kids Club. They are going to get a fast take of this first point as soon as they clean up.
Yeah, and Akash still, you know, he's earning Earth Shatters at an alarming rate. He uses one to open up the fight, and he's got another already as he was going. Now he's looking for the stagger picks. Uses the Earth Shatter to confirm those. I think I respect that. You know, you want to make sure that you get those stagger picks, especially when getting one kill means that you might just take your last fight onto the point. And Biggs, poor man, he's getting abused.
Was able to keep him stalled out there a little bit, so now you have the stagger even bigger. Buys even more space for this card, and that's all they really want to do with how large of a time bank they have. They know that if they can get it close, then it means they only have to win one team fight. They can wait for ultimates if that's what they decide to do. They've already got a few, but Sad Kids Club also with a bunch of ultimates. Jumping in is Metopia, but he's going to have to try and go through the sound barrier. Have the Transcendence up to help him. Able to get down the supercharger technique, though, still alive in the corner, and now it's finally going to fall. Good use of their ultimates for Sad Kids Club. They had to use a lot. Spicybois didn't have to use as much, and now they're going to have 2 ultimates up.
Yeah, Sad Kids Club comes out on top, but did you see that peel? The moment that Meeptopia was onto technique, on the Bastion, you know, just all of a sudden, so fast, Immortality Field, Salt Shaker's Shield. Down comes the Supercharger as well, doing everything to keep up the Bastion. Eventually they do fall, but that was such good coordination from the members of the Spicybois.
Not far left for that cart to go to complete this. 3:27 left. Technique has to be careful, not get caught out early. Players getting caught on either side. Meyer and Tengu the ones. So you're even 5v5. Tank mode from above from Technique. He hits the Pharah out of the sky. Able to get the Pharah, no problem. Throws his body up into the air looking for that Zenyatta as well. Not going to get him. Has to retreat back towards the cart. But his team does have an advantage. Transcendence and Desperation for Sad Kids Club. They know that they need to keep this if they don't want this to go to a game 3. 3 minutes left to go. Spicybois trying to turn this around, but Technique will end up falling. Metopia coming back on that Wrecking Ball, working out, and Spectacles showing some Lucio play off here as well. This should be enough to turn this around for the defense.
Yes, he does. Every single time that the Sad Kids Club look like they're out, somehow they pull it back again and again, and they're surprising in their clutch factor. They're going back at every single fight that looks like it's lost, but they pull it together. Such amazing discipline, such amazing resolve from that team to come back from these situations. Now Meyer onto the Tracer with a Pulse Bomb. That can be deadly in a last fight situation.
So Meyer looking for that opportunity. It is pretty much a last fight, too. If you lose if you're Sad Kids Club, it's over. You're going to a map 3. That's what has to happen here. So hitting this would be big. Not going to get it, though. But he still has a target, and he gets him eliminated. Did get a little bit of help. Akash able to get 1-2 on this D.Va. Switching over to that. Have the ult from the barrage behind. Not going to work. The golden box of victory so close for Spicybois. Trying to force that third game. Have to be careful of the self-destruct that comes out. It's not going to be enough. And Spicybois force a map 3.
Yes, Technique comes out with another one of his signature tank mode plays. Comes out, gets 3 kills again after popping off with the tank mode from before. And there it is. Look at that HUD. Yes, it's Archimedes, and yes, it's Technique on the play of the game.
Going to be from when he was just sitting up there spamming.
Archimedes is from Team Fortress 2, the
Yes.
other bird.
Very true. Very true. You can just sit up there, just kind of
He's just chilling.
Yeah, he didn't even have to move with his tank mode too. Is the nice thing. So I mean, when you can do that blitz, it's absolutely perfect.
Yeah, and I gotta say, it is a treat to watch all of these like off-meta mains coming together on a team and making it work against some really high-tier competition. Now we're in the semifinals. All of the teams that are around here, you know, we're talking about like definitely everybody's GM easily,
right.
Everybody's Grandmaster, and some people are even more. Some people have like some really good team experience, like high-tier ladder experience.
Yeah.
And these people, Technique on the Bastion, Salt Shaker on the Orisa, they're doing it. They're making it work.
You're going to see that on the other side. You're going to see a lot of people who are, you talk about very high level. The other side of the bracket has a bunch of those too. So not just this side, both sides are that way. We have even some tier 2 players here.
Yeah, we got some academy, we got some contenders.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. You know, it's the Chicago for you, and the Chicagoland area too. Not just all, you know, some people came from a little bit, you know, further out.
Salt Shaker, namely, flew in from Florida yesterday.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Technique, I saw a tweet from his Twitter. He came on the train. I don't know from where, but man, like, people are making the trip to come here, and like it's so nice to see all this talent converging into one place. And you know, these are all the people that are they play at such a high level.
Yeah,
aren't quite, you know, semi-pro, so that you see them onto those online big tournaments. Some of them you do.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, some of them you do. But it's so nice to see, like, you know, rarely would you get to see such high-tier Bastion and Orisa play in a tournament.
You get to showcase some local talent. You get to showcase some talent that people don't normally get to see in this sort of setting. That's the beauty here of this Lakeside Showdown and just of the Chicago Overwatch scene in and of itself. There's a lot of people really dedicated to it to even make this happen. These teams not to be discluded from that. They're both fighting here. We're going to our final map. It's currently tied 1-1. The winner of this goes on to the championship round, so they have to make sure that they can win on this map of Ilios, and of course, the first place we go as well.
And there it is, the triple support with the fire. They're probably onto Technique's game by this point. They know that's what they're doing. They're trying to set him up, and what better than a fire to come back from the sides or from the back and rain down that huge damage with Seasalt damage boosting Crimson onto the Pharah. Crimson usually playing Zarya in this 3-3 composition definitely has been showing a really strong Pharah.
A little bit of crossfire is going to happen here. You're going to have the Pharah from the sky and some of the players down below. Salt Shaker, though, gets Meeptopia out at the beginning. They do get the mech of Akash, though, who's been playing that Diva, who we've seen as a main tank, now playing an off tank, and it's working pretty well, especially with Technique, who's just showing off on this Bastion, just looking for opportunities. And there you go. First take goes over to those Spicybois. They're keeping their momentum from the last map.
Yeah, and something that was nice to see is, you know, Tech Kids Club, they have 3 support players in Tengu, Seasalt, and Spectacles. And all of them in the last composition they were playing, they were on their main picks. And they were just, that was just a stylistic fight. Usually you would see the 3-3s everywhere, but none of those teams is opting to go for that. Everybody's playing to their own strength, and that's nice to see.
Gives us some interesting Overwatch to watch if you're a fan of maybe some of the Contenders regions. Contenders China comes to mind where you can see some crazy compositions. Well, Chicago gets some of that as well, although we're technically like 15 minutes north of Chicago right now. We're in Skokie, Illinois, but you know what? It's a Chicagoland area, so it counts.
We're also like 20 hours from China as well, but we're still...
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, we're still definitely showing some flashes of that Meeptopia with the kill onto Meyer and charges in.
Looking for his opportunity now, swinging that hammer, looking to cleave the heads of some players on the other team. Not getting his opportunity there, but he's making opportunities for Tengu and the rest of the Sad Kids Club, forcing out the Transcendence here too. Have to fight through the Superchargers, the only thing. Quickly taken down. Salt Shaker now stuck between a rock and a hard place, or a Diva and a Reinhardt, whatever you want to call that. EMP coming out here late. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though. They lost so much damage. They're going to be forced back regardless. They did get Tengu, but there's so many players left alive for Sad Kids Club. They get to build up. 63% though for Spicybois.
And you hate to see it. Meyer hits a 5-man EMP, but it is too little too late as we're already out of the fight. Technique, holding on to the Bastion. He's got the tank mode. He can go in and do another one of his plays. Might be a solo play, might be supported by his team. You never know what to expect. They're coming off from up high to just post up and try and draw out resources before going for the engage.
Trying to do some post-up moves, maybe like if you're a basketball fan, maybe some Anthony Davis or something. Doesn't matter though right now. Finally going to start posting up. Get that Diva out of mech at the start. Self-destruct will be forced out because of that. Sad Kids Club, though, with the Earth Shatter coming through, have to get that Immortality Field. They finally do, and now they'll clean this up again for Sad Kids Club. They could have cleaned it up a little faster if they got that Immortality Field sooner.
Yeah, for sure. I was expecting this fight to go out the way of the Spicybois, actually, because, you know, that field was up, and it just stayed up, and there was so much damage coming out from Technique. Eventually, doesn't go that way. Seasalt with the kill on Akash is going to be staggering that even longer, and you got to stop. Spicybois, just take a breather. Come back at 6. You still got fights. It's not over at all. Look at the ultimate banks on both of these teams. The Spicybois now Meyer on the Brigida. They're looking to get a little bit more of that frontline pressure.
Yeah, they're going to try that post up again over on that high ground. Kind of need to do it a little better than last time. Maybe try and get some Dream Shake in there, you know, some Hakeem Olajuwon if you can. Not working out too well for the side of Sad Kids Club, though they've already lost Spectacles. So getting up on that high ground was paying off. They come down low, self-destruct into the air. Not going to find anything. Does force some players to look behind, though. Technique looking for something with tank mode. Hasn't been able to get anything. Just shooting at that rallying Brigitte, who's just sort of stalling things out. Tango gets that supercharger down too, so Sad Kids Club still building up, almost to 99%. Sea Salt still alive in that back line. Self-destruct thrown in, won't get anything. Overtime meter has started. Have to get to the point though. You do have Salt Shaker. There's the one good thing. So they will clean up for Spicybois, but you're in a position to win this in the next fight if you're Sad Kids Club.
Yeah, and Spicybois, they got some good news and some bad news. I'll give you the good ones first. This is the hard part. Getting onto the point with the Bastion and Arisa comp is hard, but now they've done it. The bad news is Crimson coming up to the Graviton Surge and 2 more ultimates from Sad Kids Club that can really put an end to this kind of hunkered down strategy. It's all up to Cyrus, I would say, to place that Immortality Field in a good position so that they can survive the kind of burst that they are to be expecting now.
We've seen Meeptopia make this Earth Shatter a game-changing one. Needs another one here. Has to push through that amplification. Matrix does so. Earth Shatter's in. Oh, the Orisa does get one pull, but that's not going to be enough. The Earth Shatter's better. Charging into the Diva, trying to get him out of the fight. Self-destruct high into the air. Nobody's able to get it. Akash, the only one left on this point to keep it alive for the side of Spicybois, and Sad Kids Club going to flip this over, no problem. Going to start moving forward. Throw the grab out. Overtime meter starts to tick away, and there it goes. 1-0 lead for Sad Kids Club, but that took a while on Ilios.
It sure has. Now, Sad Kids Club taking the lead from such a small inch there. They managed to take it 100 to 99. Now, the Spicybois, they have to think, because that's one of the points where Arisa's the most favored. They did not quite get the value that they wanted from it, but guess what? Spicybois is not lacking a bunch of really good Widow players, and Meyer and Cyrus, and it's looking like, yeah, the Widow is coming out, and if Meyer can land those shots, this is a map that he can make a massive impact on.
Ilios Ruins is Widowmaker's playground. There's no doubt about that one, Blitz. So we do get to see ourselves some Widowmaker on one side. We're seeing a very traditional Goats comp on the other side. That's triple tank, triple support with the Zenyatta is what we get. So Spicybois, well, you're going to have Meyer kind of wait here. See what's coming out from the other side. Seeing that it's tank heavy might make that switch over. We'll see where Meyer decides to go. Once they see what comp is coming out from the other end, kind of just waiting to find that out. Meyer now will come up onto the high ground, so he's going to stay on it. Actually, is going to be the decision. Just looking for those sight lines. Does get the Baby Diva first out of the sky. Is Meyer, and now the headshot on the Spectacles. Meyer making this Widowmaker work really well. Finds himself as Zenyatta, who's kind of gotten lost and lost his way. Oh, it doesn't even matter where the shot was. It was a ridiculous shot from Meyer, who's going to die anyways. That was the Zen, but still.
And that is amazing. Meyer decided to stick to his guns. Seeing the enemy pulling out a 3-3 composition, he's like, I'm going to make the Widow work. And boy, does he make the Widow work. Gets 3 picks in that fight alone. And now he's got even more coming out for us.
Almost has an ultimate as well. Kosh has been able to build up to the Earth Shatter. So very fast Earth Shatter on one side. Sad Kids Club is ready for it. Tango up on the high ground, trying to come around, look for Meyer. Oh, the nice right click to get him with those destruction orbs, holding that volley up. Out comes the Earth Shatter, not going to be enough. Meeptopia ready for it. Graviton Surge thrown in here as well. Don't quite have the ultimate yet as the Zen. Oh, but the boot right to the face of Cyrus helps get the elimination from Tango, and they're able to take this back. Only 39% for Spicybois, and you've talked already how hard it is for the Orisa to take this back.
Yeah, absolutely it is. Saltcheck is going to be having a hard time. He does have the supercharger, but man, like, we just saw Tango with a Jonik impersonation. Just goes on the flank, takes down Meyer to open up the fight, and then continues to just place so many well-placed orb onto the enemy's head. He just cannot react to a Zenyatta that's outputting so much damage.
So Sad Kids Club will have to fight through this supercharger that's coming out from Spicybois. The Spicybois tries to advance forward towards that point. 32% percentages about even for these teams. Sound barrier used here so that way they can push themselves in. Oh, but they layer the support ults for Spicybois. This could be disastrous.
after they finish is the only thing. Earthshatter came out from Meeptopia, doesn't hit any pay dirt is the only problem. So now the chance for Spicybois, even though they layer those support ults, they have a chance. But now the grab comes out and they can't do anything about the damage that's going to come through from Meep and Biggs and Krizen, who's going to go down. But that's okay because your Reinhardt still made up for the damage you lost from the Zarya. They win the fight, but they do have to retreat back.
Yeah, they definitely do. Crimson now has to walk all the way back from spawn, which means that Sad Kids Club are going to be on the back pedal, and Technique definitely taking good advantage of that. He is looking for that Graviton Surge. Tosses it across the map, gets nothing.
Oh, he
two.
Not at first. Grabs 4 at the end, but Transcendence was available, so not a lot of damage comes through. Self-destruct coming out is going to give Technique a lot of charge, but 78% for Sad Kids Club, and they're winning another fight. Akash trying to charge in desperation will take the D.Va off the edge with them, but that's okay because your team has already won the fight. For Sad Kids Club, they can wait for their D.Va to come back. They're pushing forward 90%. Somebody's going to have to get back for Spicybois.
Yeah, and Tengu has been doing it. He's just shooting so well. Now, somebody has been contesting the point for the Spicybois. They've got somebody on the backline. We can't really see them now.
I think it's Lucio. I think it's Cyrus. It is. So it's Cyrus. Oh, Technique able to get Meeptopia thanks to Akash using the Shatter. Actually, it was Meeptopia's Shatter, so now Technique turning it back around for the side of Spicybois. Over time, they get it flipped over, and now they'll be able to clean this fight up. Their hopes are still alive.
Yeah, it ain't over till it's over, baby. It's Overwatch. Salt Shaker with the final kill onto Tengu. Technique now has the Graviton Surge. That is what he is looking for to continue this kind of pressure that they are applying onto the Sad Kids Club. They cannot falter. They cannot make a single mistake or it'll be over for the tournament dreams.
Going to use the Halt at first, allows for the Graviton Surge to come out. Now they're throwing as much damage in as possible, and they can see Salt at the beginning. Sleep coming out onto the Reinhardt too that they can try and push onto. Transcendence a little bit late. 6v5 for Sad Kids Club. They've got to try and win this fight or try and retreat. Looks like retreat is what they're starting to do.
Yeah, if they can get staggers here, they're going to be so big, making it a harder fight. Eventually, Sad Kids Club manages to get out. Now, Sea Salt, Spectacles coming onto, they have their ultimate, and Crimson with that Graviton Surge. So hard to not get hit by it. Huge anti-nade.
They're going to be able to get some of that off, though, thanks to the bubbles that they had available. Tied 1-1 here in this, or 1-1, sorry, for the maps. 1-0 in favor of Sad Kids Club. Winning this for Spicybois forces this to go as many points as possible for this one, and Spicybois is winning the match. Akash, Salt Shaker, and Technique, they're going to get everybody out except for the self-destruct coming through. It's going to get 3! There's an opportunity! There's 2 players on for either side. The D.Va mech is still on. So all they have to do is take care of the Zarya and Technique, but Myers coming back. Biggs is going to get thrown out. Have to stay on the point. If you're both teams, can't let this one go up if you're the side of Sad Kids Club. Otherwise, we're going to our third and final map. Meyer looking for his opportunities. Going to throw out the rally here. Spectacles able to get Technique out of the fight. They lose their Zarya. Overtime meter has started. Salt Shaker, the only one left alive inside. Loft using that Moira healing to just keep him alive. Respawners starting to come back here for both sides. More players on for Sad Kids Club. Spicybois trying to keep themselves in this, though. Trying to keep their tournament hopes alive. Meeptopia, though, getting that all-important pick. It's up to 99%. The flip will come through, though. It has to do that first. Only left players are 3 for the side of Spicybois. Have to back away at least for a second. They can give this up and try and regroup. That's exactly what they're going to do. So now they'll push back on. Have to be careful, though. Myers starting to retreat. Can't lose his life. Rally coming out for Sea Salt here. Biggs is able to get Salt Shaker, though. Spicybois have to keep themselves in this one. Not going to be able to do it, it looks like, though. They're trying to push their way back on, and they're losing their numbers. Akash with the rocket punch. See if it's going to be enough, though. He has to get more than just that. Comes back in. Loses his life, though. Sad Kids Club trying to clutch this out. 2 more players left alive. They finally clear everybody off. The overtime meter's going to go away so incredibly fast. Nothing that Salt Shaker can do, and Sad Kids Club win this one and will go to the championship game.
What did we just witness? Big somebody arrest this man. Comes out with murder. 3 people with a self-destruct, and then clutches it out a little more, and there it is. Biggs, again, take a selfie with that picture and take the selfie all the way on to the final match. You're in grand finals, Biggs, and there it is. Triple kill to take down 2 of the supports and Risa, and then takes down Akash as well. Everything looked lost. Biggs just pulls it out somehow.
That self-destruct play of the game, rightfully so. You know, sometimes they get it right when they do that. That was definitely one of those times because, like you said, that self-destruct doesn't happen. We're going to a third map here, and anything can happen when you think about the last map that we would have had to have gone to in Lighthouse.
We are not going to a third
Oh,
map.
no, we're not going to one. I'm saying we would have gone to a third map of Ilios.
Okay, yeah,
but
we would have.
Right, we would have, but we're not. I don't think your heart can handle it anymore.
I mean, I'm... Man, I'm heated.
Little heated, a little sweaty of a game, that's for sure.
Yeah, that was so close. We saw so many plays going back and forth, going from Rialto, where the second club just couldn't even move the cart.
Yeah, and they end up winning it all.
Yeah.
At least in this one, so they get to go on to the finals. It's amazing. I mean, player of the game is really tough here. Who do you give it to?
Man, like, you know, everybody, there's so many good plays from everybody. Technique, you know, coming off the Bastion onto the Zarya and doing great work with that. But God, like, it's got to be Biggs. It's got to be Biggs alone. He clutches out, gets 4 kills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the key.
That was a 2v6.
Exactly. That gets them back into the fight. Ridiculous that's how it ends up going down. For Spicybois, you've got to feel for them, though, because they were so close to forcing us to go to that next map. So it was like, my goodness, you know, you got to feel for Technique, Akash, Meyer, Cyrus.
Some great players.
Salt Shaker, Loth, they all played their hearts out.
Yeah.
Sad Kids Club, though, I mean, got to let the heart rate kind of cool down. And they get to wait a little bit because we have the other semifinal match, and then we have the third place match before the finals happen. So they get a little bit of time to kind of cool off. We don't get too much time to cool off.
No, we don't.
But that's okay. But
if this is not cooling off, I never want to cool off.
Right, exactly. That's the Overwatch you come to watch here for Chicago Overwatch in this Lakeside Showdown. That's for sure. We're going to have an interview for you in a little bit. We're not quite to that yet. We'll let you know when we get that. It will be happening in a second, but let's talk about Sad Kids Club here, the team that ends up winning and going to this finals. Because, I mean, you look at the players on this team, Tengu, Sea Salt, everybody. We're actually going to take a timeout, though, and then we'll get that interview.
Yes, we are. So we're going to be looking to get into the interview booths very shortly. And, you know, so many people onto this team, the Sad Kids Club, that deserve some kind of spotlight.
Meeptopia is one that comes to mind on some of the earlier maps. Some of those shatters were ridiculous.
But look at him. He's about to step in the interview booth. You guys can't see it, but this man is a unit.
Who you're going to see in the finals now, so we should give them a little bit more of a spotlight while we wait for the interview to happen. I mean, Tengu, we talked about the pick that he ended up on the Widowmaker that ends up making the Widowmaker get switched off. That was an important part on Ruins in particular.
Tengu going off with the Zenyatta, like, Zenyatta, you know, it's a support, and everybody likes to talk about, oh look, it's a murder Zenyatta, it's a Zenyatta DPS, whatever you want to call it, but man, like, Zenyatta really can, in the right hands, do so much damage, and even have the burst potential with the right click, as we saw. And Tengu, you know, he's a smart player. He's a really smart and solid player in everything regarding Zenyatta. He comes around and just, you know, looks for the flank, look for when he's actually safe to do so. He doesn't just mindlessly throw out those orbs, throw out anything like that. He goes for the flank, looks for the pick, finds Meyer.
It was awesome. It was perfect. He knew exactly where he was. That's good communication, that means, too, coming out from Sad Kids Club to allow him to do that. And then he knows that he's going to be able to rejoin his team after he does so, too.
Yes.
So really good communication from Sad Kids Club. You know, I think the Zarya doesn't get enough credit sometimes. Crimson, the one who some really good grabs came out from Crimson.
Absolutely.
You can't forget, too, Spectacles as well.
No, Spectacles, again. Spectacles, pretty well-known Lucio in the NA ladder scene, and he's been popping off. Even if it wasn't with the environmental kills, which he showed a little bit of.
Which he did, yes.
When we were earlier into the Sanctum part of Ilios. But still, like, he is so good. He's so slippery. When you see that man play, he's just so fast and so hard to hit. He's going to be giving up all the utility that Lucio can give, and that man seems to never die.
Without a doubt. And, of course, you know, we got one more player, too, Biggs.
We do. Well, Biggs, you know, in fact, Biggs is going to be in the interview booth together with Tengu, and we're about to see two of the better players on this team.
And to do that interview, we have our very own Randy Valor. So we'll go ahead and throw it over to Randy and let him take this one away.
Thanks, guys. All right, I'm standing here with Tengu and Biggs. Congratulations.
What's up? What's up?
What a match that you had. Walk us through that. Lots of storylines, obviously. Former teammates.
Yeah.
Very, very tough match for you. Walk us through Ilios.
So it's funny because we know that Salt Shaker is a really, really good arista. Like, he's incredible. He's so good. His pulls are so on point. But because we knew that, we wanted to make sure that we took advantage of like our mobility. And so you saw us, like, we tried, okay, like maybe we'll try this rotation, we'll try that rotation, maybe we'll try a comp that pincers them or something like that. But I think bottom line is what we ended up doing is we said, hey, let's just run goats. Goats low. Just go goats. Basically what we wanted to do is try to rotate as much as possible to try to catch anyone out. Yeah, that was basically what we planned to do in Ilios.
And, we'll get to your play, obviously, in a second here. But first and foremost, how difficult was it to kind of play against that very unorthodox style and team composition that they were running on the side of the Spicybois?
So I think Rialto is like the map that can just explain it, right? I think one of the things we wanted to do when we map banned is we wanted to force Koth maps because we know that, okay, we can get a better angle on these fights, right? Instead of just trying to have to choose from one of these really awkward angles. There's a lot more like mechanics involved in Koth maps than, just like straight up payload maps or something like that. And we wanted to make sure that we take those fights because we knew that they might be at a comp disadvantage as opposed to a mechanical disadvantage. So yeah, I think it was just trying to like make sure that we stay aware of like what they're capable of doing and then what we're capable of doing and trying to play for our strengths and try to exploit their weaknesses.
And you said it best. Rialto was so weird to watch your attack.
Yeah.
You were practically taking a tour of the map before you finally moved the card an inch.
Well, we saw Meyer out of position, so we just tried to get him, but they just had such a stronghold with the Bastion on that point that we couldn't really do anything about it. So.
Yeah.
Spectacle's a very, very strong player on that Bastion.
Yeah. It was really tricky because we were like, oh no, we need to rotate and like take the fight, and then it was just like we're like, okay, we're here now, what? Like, and then it was just kind of it was messy. Yeah.
All right, so now Biggs, we got to talk about the play of the match, probably the play of the tournament so far. One of the best plays I've ever seen, the most clutch plays I've ever seen. Talk through some of the emotions that was going on through that incredibly extended overtime, and then what happened right when you got that bomb off and got that sweet 3K.
Honestly, I think it was more lucky, if anything. I mean, I saw that he put down his shield, and I was trying to aim over the shield a little bit, and it just worked out because of the Reinhardt was just on the side there, so he couldn't really block for his teammates and do a lot of things like that.
I'll say something about that. But when
yeah. So I mean, I just threw it honestly, like just living on a prayer there, and it worked, and then it just turned into a scrappy fight, and then it just super extended, and yeah, we just came out, and yeah.
It was good. One of the funny things about that play was we all thought we had lost that point, right? But I saw Biggs launch the bomb, and I was like, F it. It's going to be huge. And I yelled, it's going to be huge, and it was huge.
And it was the hugest of plays. Congratulations, you're moving on to the grand finals. We will see you in the grand final match.
So
thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time. Go celebrate with your team.
yeah, thank you very much.
Take it away, guys.
Wow, that's quite the story that we got to hear there, quite the interview that we get to come through. Thanks, Randy Valor, for that one. We're going to have more interviews for you the rest of the way as well after our next semifinal match, which we're going to have happen here in a little bit. But let's wrap this one up with a nice little bow. I mean, Sad Kids Club, Spicybois. Spicybois, tough way to lose, but Sad Kids Club, talk about a way to win it.
Absolutely. Again, Biggs with that clutch. I'm going to be dreaming about that, man. I'm going to be dreaming about that 3K and the kill on top of it, coming back from a 2 versus 6. Like, how amazing is that?
Without a doubt. It's incredible. And we have more Overwatch for you, though, is the best part. We're not done. That's just a semifinals match. We've got another one that's coming up for you. 3rd place match after that. Then we'll have our finals. But before we get to any of that, we take a quick break, and then we'll come back with our 2nd semifinals. Semifinal match number 2 coming your way. It's Supp versus Brig Brains. Labasco here alongside of my partner again and Blitzbolt. So we're getting ready for what could be a really exciting one. We're going to take a quick look, though, at the bracket before we get to this next one. We can see here that one ticket has been punched to the championship game. It is Sad Kids Club. They won in a thriller against Spicybois, and we expect similar fireworks to come from this next one, Blitz.
Yeah, Supp and Brig Brains. both of these teams have some amazing talent on them. You know, Supp, we've already talked about it. They've been on stream. You know, we have Bird, Atlantic Academy. We have Juby on Wave Check. So all these like big names and other like, you know, still Bullywug has played in Tier 3.
Both sides have a lot of Tier 3.
Yeah, exactly. But on the side of Brig Brains, first time we see them today onto the stream, you know, all these players have Tier 3 experience, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, pretty much everybody does. I've called a lot of open division in my time. I've seen K2, I've seen Gao, I've seen Sir Dirk, I've seen Specs, I've seen Tyler, I've seen all these guys, and I've definitely seen Big Al, who's on Square One.
Yeah.
One of the players that I definitely think is somebody to watch out for, just along with the rest of his team. Bird, of course, like you said, Atlanta. There's some really good players on both of these teams.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, both of these teams, again, big skill on both of them. I think that at this point, it's about who comes up with like the better teamwork, the better synergy between their players. And again, Brig Brains, they have some of that. Big All and Bird playing on the same team for a little bit in Square One, Path to Poverty at the time.
Right.
And Brig Brains, on the other hand, it's just a Tier 3 mix. But man, what a Tier 3 mix.
It's a really good Tier 3 mix. And, you know, we see what they're doing attack-wise, but we're going to wait till the doors actually open.
Oh, yeah.
Because they could just be throwing the Great Debate at us.
Yeah, but, you know, quad against, like, goats is a legitimate threat.
It is. So, and that is what we have on the other side. Triple tank, triple support. Bird is going to be playing the Zen. Organic on the Zarya. You're going to have Big Al playing the Brig, which we've seen a lot of. And now here you go. Brig Banes, the doors open for our second semifinals, trying to punch that ticket for our other final spot. As they do end up going over to Goat. See, they got us again.
I'll believe every single time.
You got it.
Yeah.
You have to hope.
One time I'll be right.
One time.
One time.
One
Maybe.
time. One time it'll eventually happen. Gao just making sure that he stays up. They're all going to go over to the high ground right now. Make sure that they stay there themselves up. Tyler over there as well, looking for some opportunities. End up getting booped off, though, so very nice boop. Pushes them in right to where Bullywug is. Bullywug throwing out a little bit of damage there, but not too much. Just making sure that he maintains control. Doesn't use too much of his shield. Gao's shield getting weak as well. Paying attention to these bubbles as they both come out. Tyler already used his personal. He's getting pushed inside, and there it is for Supp. They open up their advantage thanks to a great boop to push Tyler in. Once they saw that bubble go down, you saw them pounce.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Brig Brains was really looking to get that value out of their Zarya bubbles, which are so important, especially in the Goat's Mirror. So Tyler waiting around looking for the perfect bubble. Eventually, however, they take a little too long. Supp goes for the engage onto them, and they find the value that Brig Brains was really looking for, but Tyler is already contesting the point now.
So now they're going to use their rally first, force Supp. They push their way forward with it. Have Joby trying to use his boot to try and throw players back in. Earth Shatter into a self-destruct, though, to keep players away while that Shatter came through. The counter Shatter for Bullywug is going to be better with their trans, too. Midori getting Gao down at the beginning of the fight, and that spells disaster for Brig Brains.
It really does. Brig Brains now forced onto the back pedal after what looked like an advantageous engagement. You know, they get a Transcendence, no bomb coming out from Midori as of yet when the grab landed from Organic, so that meant that they could not get that instant burst that can just decimate a Goat's composition. However, it doesn't work out that well. At the end, Bullywug responds with his own Earth Shatter, and it's just bigger and better, and they engage with the Transcendence from Bird, and that's all they need.
And also some just good play from the Lucio and Juby, who's been able to kind of just work his way in when he sees an opportunity. Sees the personal bubble is down here, so having to back up a little bit is Tyler, looking for his chance to aggress back in, uses his projected as well, but the grab is what's going to help them get Bullywug down. Self-destruct gets a triple kill for Brig Brains. They will open up the point finally.
And eventually they do K2 with the triple kill onto the Diva Bomb. Once their Reinhardt is down, which it was, Juby can't quite save him fast enough with the sound barrier. Eventually, the rest of the team is just going to engage, and the Diva Bomb, there's nothing to stop it. You actually saw the Supp players just standing dead in their tracks onto the point. They understood, yes, it's over. Yes, it happens. We're going to be back with a vengeance, and here they are, Big Ol activating the rally.
Make sure that they come together, and they also don't give any ult charge because it's all going onto the self-destruct. So very big brain play coming out from Supp as they push over to the spawn doors. Bullywug leading the way, charging into Marble, who can't get back in.
Marble doesn't manage to get back into the spawner. He was so close to Sweet Freedom. Doesn't manage eventually to make a great escape. It's going to be now the Brig Brains looking for a more advantageous engage. you know, Goat's very weak inside of those choke points, so they want to go from up top, look to get the engage from behind maybe, or even from the front, but just they don't want to be contested inside of a choke. It's so hard to get out. However, it's looking like they will K2 with it. Organic Graviton.
Going to have the self-destruct thrown out up high here. Will be able to get Sir Jerk, so he's down at the beginning. So that could spell the opening for the side of Supp is the good thing. Brig Brain still with an opportunity, though. This is still an even fight. They throw out their Graviton Surge as well. K2 is able to get Organic, so all that damage is gone for Supp. They're going to just stall out for as long as possible here, but this is a winning fight for the attacking team in Brig Brains just because of where the spawn is. So once they get their players back, they should be able to take Bird out, and they'll finally get through this choke. Just have to deal with Juby.
Yeah, Bird and Juby, the support line, just not giving them a single inch. They said, if you're taking this card, you're taking us with it. And eventually they fall down, but they do manage to stall the card for so long. Now we see what Goats is really good at. It takes the ground, and now they can hold it with such effectiveness, leaving only one on card while getting a better positioning, farther away from the card, looking for trades, looking for more all charge, looking for a better engage, and to set the tempo of the next engagement.
Build up a little bit of alt charge, make sure you don't get stuck in that choke, and now we'll have them meet at this corner here up the streets phase of Kings Row. Pushing his way in is Supp, has the Earth Shatter, maybe looking for an opportunity. Self-destruct coming out, has to be careful of that though, is able to avoid K2 self-destruct, throws out his Earth Shatter instead, does manage to get one of the supports down, but there was too much in the way of mitigation to try and get anything. Sound Barrier used as well, and now the Earth Shatter to counter from Brig Brains, not going to get anything. They throw out their grab here. Now Organic's grab gets eaten is the bad thing. So this is going better for the side of Brig Brains. They're going to be able to push here as soon as they deal with this Diva on the cart.
And man, amazing play from K2. He is just feasting on Organic's Graviton Surges. 2 in a row he's eaten so far. Organic is just not finding the right opportunities to throw them out. Eventually, that Matrix is just going to swallow them whole. And now Midori, with the bomb, can't quite capitalize on something like a Graviton Surge. He's going to have to throw it out. And you know, the bomb alone, really good engagement tool, but it might, you know, it's obviously better with a Graviton. Let's see if Midori can beat the changer.
Well, the good thing is, the good thing for Supp, excuse me, they do have the self-destruct thrown in, and a boop kill comes through onto Marble. Gao is going to fall as well, so this is exactly what Supp needed to get this cart back, and there's only 50 seconds left, so Brig Brains, they have to regroup here. They don't really have anything up just yet. They're going to get self-destruct, but Rally and Earth Shatter are up for Supp.
Yeah, and the support line on Supp, again, that's Bird, that's Juby, those two big names that are on this team. They're definitely showing why they can make those plays happen. Juby goes in aggressive, always manages to create some havoc, gets those boosts, gets his displacement, and even a frag in the last fight. Big Al looking to come from the back with his rally.
So Big Al looking for that opportunity, starting to come in here, stuns out the Reinhardt, and their Shatter does come out, but it was still blocked by the bubbles. Self-destruct thrown in, forces players away for Supp, so Brig Brains can start to move forward. They choose to try to go on to Tyler, and he goes down, so Bullywug with that charge is able to do that. So keeping themselves in this one is Supp, but you have to get somebody there for your Brig Brains onto the cart. 1 second left. Can anybody get there? They do just get there in time. It's going to be the Lucio, but he quickly falls. Gal coming back in. His team too far behind to save him from the grab. Sound Barrier to ensure that Supp will stop this in the streets phase. Overtime meter slowly ticks away. Supp looking like a pretty darn good team here. They had their struggles, but they worked through it. Brig Brain's going to need a good defensive hold.
Yeah, Surgic was actually looking for the back cap towards the end of that. He was going for the big play. Yeah, no, I respect it. Eventually, it doesn't work out. And now, this, you know, it's not the worst result, but it's not a good one either. You know, Brig Brains definitely has to show up with a strong defense onto the first point especially, because, you know, it's so easy to snowball the rest of the street phase from a nice cap, or maybe a fast cap with a little bit of ultimate charge coming out from it as well when you're on the attack. So if you're Brig Brains, you're looking to just post up a really, really strong defense onto the first point, and that's where you have to put all of your focus right now.
For Brig Brains, too, they had a little bit of struggle on their initial attack. They eventually broke it, got through the streets. Now, this is one of the hardest points, though, to crack, is that second point on Kings Row. If you get the cart stopped there towards the end, it's really hard if you're the attacking team. So it's not necessarily the worst place to get stopped, but it's not the best place.
No, it is not the best place at all, but you know, now, Brig Brains, I'm seeing them. They're going to go for the Goat's composition on defense.
Not too much of a surprise, huh?
Not at all, is it? But, you know, this really all depends on whether Supp wants to stick to their guns and take the Ghost v Ghost matchup, which they've been performing really well in, or if they want to come out with a DPS composition. If you've been watching Overwatch League, actually on this first points of Kingsrow, it's been very favored to go with the triple DPS composition, and we might just be about to look at them.
Well,
I'm not a believer anymore, though.
Yeah, I'm not a believer either, but we do see for sure that the defense is going to be triple tank, triple support. We're seeing Big Al come out on the Ferris, so they are going to show us the quad DPS look. Bird is on the Ash. They're kind of going to scout it out, though. They might make a change here. Bird is kind of waiting and seeing, and it looks like they're going to come forward with this. This is really good on this first point, especially Bullywug is going to force players to have to come over to the point as well. Big Al still throwing damage around where that hotel is. Has the damage boost, just trying to get, oh, that rocket would have killed. Oh, but Organic helping out, gets Marble with those storm arrows coming around. Has the Brig low as well. Going to use the Ash Dynamite to get that, and they're cleaning up, so they're going to get a real fast take here is Supp on this first point.
Yeah, and with the rest of the team in Break Brains just funnels themselves into a choke point, that's exactly where Supp wanted them to be. They can just put down all of this damage into a tight funnel, and then all they need is to just keep them in, and damned if you do, damned if you don't. If they come out, they're just going to get damaged even more and eventually cleaned up. If they don't come out, they're going to lose the point. So what can you do at that point? They play the quad DPS composition so well. Now Break Brains, however, looking for an engage from the high ground to take them by surprise.
Players up on the high ground, like you said, looking for their opportunity to come back defensively. They want to try and get this stop before it gets to the choke. You want to keep them in this choke as long as possible. Dragon Strike is going to split this team up, and Gao is going to be just obliterated with that barrage. So now you're down your main tank. You're going to be scrambling if you're Break Brains.
Yeah, Bird with the kill. Surgic, however, trying to definitely take it back a little bit, and the rest of his team is going to be following his lead. The Dynamite and the Bob are going to come out, and now will Buff do something becomes the question. Very nice speech from Surger.
Well, Sound Barrier is going to make sure that Bob doesn't do a whole heck of a lot. Bob will get a little bit of help from Big Al to get that Diva mech gone, so Big Al at least doing enough. It's probably not what Ash was really looking for, but you know, you take what you get when you have him. Bullywug coming back in, trying to displace with that Wrecking Ball. K2 does get Midori down and out of the fight, who's on that Sombra, so they will use their rally. They will have some armor put on. Sir Jerk forcing players away. Kind of a little bit of a regroup coming here for Supp, but they have a lot of time.
Yeah, they do. And again, they're still holding on to this quad DPS competition. In comes the Wrecking Ball with the mines, and now the team is so split. It is so hard for them to try and get back together. Specs looking to get back. Juby actually going to be taking down K2 with that Mercy gun. And eventually, the fight is just looking in their direction. Big Ol is going to finish it up with the Rocket Barrage.
Okay with losing his life because he got the elimination. That should help get this cart rolling. And now you have the res come back through, and then Juby going to throw out just the back end of that Caduceus staff to finish off the player, and Supp keeps rolling.
Yeah, they are sticking to their guns for sure. Keeping the quad DPS composition, and finally, Break Brains is, they just switched to the Winston after seeing the quad DPS, but it's looking like now they've got what they need to stop this composition. They've got the Graviton Surge, and they've got the Diva Bomb. It might be what they're looking for. Midori doesn't quite have the EMP, but that's fast too.
Well, Self-Destruct going to come out first. Bob does something, takes Tyler out, so the Zarya is gone. So much damage out of the way. Card's still rolling, getting extremely close, and still 3 minutes left for Supp to try and win this map. Have to deal with this Diva, though, who's on the Ash, and Bird not going to work, and it looks like Brig Brains, even though they didn't start off well in that fight, K2 is finishing it and finally stabilizing the defense, and this is the spot where you don't want to get caught if you're attacking team.
Yeah, and K2 living on a prayer. He was getting dangerously low, but he keeps pushing that advantage. He is confident in his healer's abilities to keep him up, and keep him up they do. He finishes up Bird and gets a little bit more damage as well. Supp now forced onto the Ghost composition, and again, that's a favorable matchup when they're going into Brig Brains Winston Ghost.
Exactly. So you have that Reinhardt Goats. Bullywug is going to be on the Rhine. They don't really have any ultimates yet because they just switched to it. Midori is going to lose mech at the beginning. This is going to be a losing fight for Supp, but they don't necessarily have to win this fight is the one thing to point out. Of course, though, they can still afford to lose some fights with there being 2:20 left on the clock.
Yeah, they can. And again, switching to Goats after being down in ultimates makes it a little hard, but it looks like they're still confident in their abilities. They are going in for the engages and hoping to win with those. Now, Gao caught in the backline. He's going to fall.
So Organic going to get that Winston out. Oh, and Gao is at 60%, still a bit away from the all. Rally is going to be used. Transcendence onto the side for Brig Brains. They know they can't lose this fight. Big Al on his way, stunning Tyler, gets into the Earth Shatter, and he's down. And this is a fight won for Supp, and this looks like a map that's going to be won for them as well. They clear off those last few players, just have to deal with that player behind, and Marble, will anybody be able to get back is the question. Doesn't look like it, just maybe the Reinhardt, but they're going to block him as much as possible, take him out, and Supp will mend King's Row and go up 1-0.
Yes, Supp takes the map after switching onto the GOATS composition. You know, they use the quad DPS composition to the best of their ability. They managed to counter GOATS, which is kind of the point of the quad DPS. So eventually, Brig Brains adapts, Gao goes on to the Winston. However, eventually, again, Supp switches back to Reinhardt, and there's, you know, having that awareness of knowing which comp is going to work best in which situation. They make the right choices, they play the right way, and eventually they win out in the end.
You get the play of the game, but you unfortunately don't win the map is the unfortunate part for the side of Brig Brains. 1-0 now in favor of Supp, but we still have another map that we're going to decide to go to. It's either going to be Eichenwald or Oasis.
Yeah.
We'll see where Brig Brains decides to go. If you're them, where are you thinking of going with Supp? Because we've seen how dominant, how good they can be. Even when they have disadvantages, they know how to turn it into an advantage eventually.
I mean, at this point, you're going to be playing both of these maps if you want to win, if you're Brig Brains. So you're looking for a map that you can win in dominant fashion and then try to carry a little bit of that momentum into the next one. The map is going to be Oasis. It's been picked now by the Brig Brains. They're probably looking to just shock them, maybe with a little bit of DPS.
Yeah, we saw DPS. We could see DPS from both sides. Supp showed on that first point of King's Road. They're not afraid to do it. I'd be okay with that. It's going to be a nightmare to try and keep track of where everybody is the unfortunate part. But that's something that can come out from both of these sides. And we see here the first place that we're going to go to as well is City Center 2. Farah's definitely something that can happen here.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You know, a lot of teams have been favoring a little bit of the Winston GOATS variants, the floats as they call it. So that could be a possibility coming out from either of these teams. But again, if you've got strong DPS players, you want to play them on the DPS heroes on the maps that you can't do that on. In City Center, on Oasis, that's one of them.
Right.
Teams of all levels, even OWL and even contenders, have used DPS heroes. And again, if we are to trust what we're seeing right now, Supp looking to go into the Winston GOATS. You know, it gives you access to those high grounds, lets you cover different comps, as we've talked about it before, where you can cover the DPS comps as well as the rank GOATs without taking a terrible matchup in that. A little unfavored, but not terrible at all. Brig Brains, however, Specs already looking on the Pharah, and yes, it looks like they're going to go with that kind of die. Tracer, Sombra, and Pharah's Rain Death from above. Surger is going to be getting off the Lucio and back onto the Mercy. Triple DPS to counter this GOATS composition. 3-3. It's going to be a good one.
So they're going with that 3-3. You're seeing on the other side, you're seeing triple tank, triple support. It's GOATS, but instead of a Reinhardt, you have the Winston. Bullywug on it, of course. We highlighted earlier on in the day how much stronger Winston has become. So we'll get to see Bullywug's Winston here, looking for his opportunity to dive in. Has to be careful, though. A lot of damage coming out on. Jumps onto that place in the middle, looking for his opportunity to throw out some more damage. Bullywug losing his armor, though, is the only problem, because you have these players pushing forward. And Bird! 3 in a row for Bird to get this for Supp. What a play from the Zenyatta!
It's just ding, 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 ding. Just one orb after the other onto the heads of his enemies. And you know what beats DPS comps? Just good dueling, good mechanics. You want to be able to take those. Now, Brig Brains actually switching onto the quad DPS. You know, if Triple doesn't do it. Oh no, that was just a switch. Tyler onto the Batiste instead.
So Batiste is the choice instead, throwing something different at that. Maybe Supp hasn't seen it as much. When you know you're playing against a good team, that's one of the things you can do, especially a team that's as practiced as the side is of Supp. But Tyler loses his life so early on in the fight. And Bird, what is this? He just keeps hitting headshot after headshot. The Zenyatta going off for Supp.
Yeah, Bullywug gets taken down by Specs Rocket Barrage, but with all these stagger kills, that's going to amount to nothing eventually. That's not even a stagger, because he's gonna make it back. Bullywug is just gonna take a little stroll back to spawn, you know, take the scenic route maybe even. Look at the cars moving, look at all the things in the sky of Oasis, and then come right back. And the spot DPS composition definitely struggling a little bit against the Winston GOATS.
Without a doubt, and they're struggling against that Zenyatta, too, that Bird is bringing out. I mean, I think Atlanta Kennedys may be happy with their Dogman replacement. Regardless, though, Gao coming back in, has the EMP available, going to have to recall out, though. Self-destruct going to get thrown in here, over and around, will force players to move. Supp will now try and push onto those players who had to move because of the self-destruct, putting them in an area that's more advantageous for them. Tyler coming back into this fight, though, looking to get out that mech of Midori. Juby, though, able to get Specs out of the side. EMP finally coming through, finds 4 players on the side of Supp, and they're not falling, though. That's the problem. Big Al and Bird combining for 2. Now another one from Big Al, and Organic getting in on this as well. 93% already for Supp.
Yeah, Gao doesn't quite manage to get that EMP that he's been holding on to the entire game. Tracer from Specs looking to contest the point.
Oh,
not
no.
gonna happen.
Can't get there, up 1-0 on this map of Oasis. Goes Supp. They've already got a 1-0 lead here on the map totals we have as well for the match. So if they're able to win 1 more point, that's match point. That's it. Supp will move on to our championship game.
Yeah, and Supp is looking really dominant, man. I was expecting them, you know, Supp and BrigBrains. Supp definitely favored, but BrigBrains have some amazing players on him, and Supp just pulling off some just great plays again and again. Now, Midori onto the Mei. They're looking to use, you know, they call it the Snoats. I know you snow, goes, just everybody. If it ends with oats, it's probably, you can make it work.
You know, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
They're using Mei.
There's so many names.
Right.
Too many.
They're using the Mei instead of the Diva. That's the most important part about it. Triple tank, triple support on the other side for BrigBrains. They're going to throw that wall off, block off 2 players. They quickly break through. Good communication to do that, but Tyler still falls regardless. So have to back up if you're BrigBrains. There's nothing you can do. You've lost all your damage. They did get Bullywug down out of this fight, so you can maybe try aggressing back in, but you have to be careful because Midori has himself a wall that he can put in and displace you.
Yeah, you know, Bullywug being taken down, you'd expect the rest of the team to try and pull and go in the moment that they can. Eventually they do, they get walled off. Cow, just too much damage to sustain, and the rest of the fight is just Organic and the rest of the team just putting the BrigBrains onto the back pedal. They are cleaning up, and they are cleaning up good.
Oh, finish it off with a headshot for Midori. Easy to do when you freeze the player too, but of course still looks good when you do it anyways, and they're about to have that. Blizzard already have the rally into this fight. Rallies on both sides actually. BrigBrains though, again, the tournament is on the line for them here.
Yeah, this is such an important time for them, and it looks like they're pulling out something different. You know, Specs onto the fire. We're going back to basics. You know, what counters May? Maybe the fire. Actually, no. Specs is going back to the Brig, and he lost his rally doing so.
A very questionable decision coming through. Midori, with the help of his team, able to get the boop off. It's Juby who does it, of course, with that Lucio. So now you already have the main tank down. You've got to regroup again. If you're BrigBrains and you're putting yourself further behind, you'll get the wall to block off the Zen. And now they're going to be at 50% for Supp.
Bird looking to save the rest of his team with that Transcendence. BrigBrains, however, they're about to give it their all. You know, the Diva could really contest one of the DPSs, but a Mei cannot do that. So BrigBrains are looking for the final 40% of this game to just pull out everything they've got up their sleeve. The quad DPS comes out again.
All the stops have to come out for BrigBrains. Already up to 65% for Supp, trying to earn themselves a championship berth. Big Al starting it off perfectly too for Supp with that flail kill onto K2. There's nothing that player can do now on that Wrecking Ball. Tyler trying to come in from behind with a little bit of help of Marble. Gets Bullywug down, so now you have the main tank out. You can start to push on to some of these squishier targets. A little bit easier if you're this quad DPS team. But Big Al still making the Brigitte work. Specs able to get Midori out of the fight. Only problem is his player's still alive for Supp, and they're winning the fight on the ground. Doesn't matter that you have Specs in the sky. 95% BrigBrains. What are you going to do?
There's nothing they can do now. Surgic is going to fall down as well, and the overtime is clicking, and it's ticking like the clock of doom. There's nothing they can do. Supp, actually, a little bit of a final stall. K2 manages to just swing in like a Wrecking Ball, but that's it. It is so hard now for the rest of BrigBrains to make anything happen. Midori comes back with a Torb gun. So unexpected, adds another line of sight And Juby's having a giggle there, man.
A little bit of a giggle. Overtime meter is still going down. They're just desperately doing whatever they can. Midori making sure that this is going to be a fun and just trying to stall out for as long as possible as Break Brains. They want to see how long we can go for. We can go until Supp wins, and that's exactly what Supp does. They earn themselves that championship berth. They will see our team that has already punched their ticket in Sad Kids Club. It's going to be an awesome championship game.
Yeah. Now we're going to see Supp versus the Sad Kids Club in the grand finals. You know, that's kind of the old guard and the new guard of players. Very young talents on Supp, kind of the opposite on the Sad Kids Club. You know, we got actual family men with children there.
Yes.
And yeah, these two very, very different teams, and one made mostly of Chicago talent in Sad Kids Club, and the other one, it's the Invaders, it's the Young Guns, it's Supp.
Yeah, some of them came from pretty far away on Supp to come and play in this and play in a tournament together. So you have to love the fact that the Young Guns, as you are calling them, are able to do that. They have to be happy, of course, that they've gotten here. Brig Brains isn't done, though. They still have the third place game that we'll have coming up here in just a little bit. And, of course, we have the championship game as well that has been set up for Supp. And, you know, Supp has to be the favorite in this one. The Young Guns are, you know, sometimes the old guard is going to have to teach the young kids something. I don't know if they're going to be able to teach these kids. They're really, really good. But Sad Kids Club, we know, are going to give them everything that they can possibly handle.
Absolutely. Now, the Sad Kids Club, they've got to pull out their A game to beat this kind of, these kind of other teams. So they're titans in this kind of scene, you know? They're not professionals, but they're up there.
Yeah. We're going to talk about, well, we're going to have an interview in just a little bit.
Absolutely.
Before we get to that, though, we're going to take a quick timeout, get the interview set up here for you. And when we do, we'll talk to the victors on Supp, and of course, we'll get everything set up for the third place match and of course the championship match as well. Back here with my partner again, Blitzbolt, but we're going to only stay here for a second because we're going to go over to the other side. We've got Randy Valor. He's with one of the players from the victory team in Supp. He has Bird, so we're going to go ahead, throw it to Randy Valor. Go ahead, take it away.
All right, thanks, guys. I'm standing here with Bird, the captain of Team Supp. Bird, congrats on making it to the grand finals. You guys have had quite the smooth ride so far, at least from what we've seen on stream. Tell us a little bit about your team, and you know, also we'll touch a little bit on a little bit later about the ATL Academy. But tell me about Team Supp.
Well, so the team is it's made up of like a bunch of my friends, and so we'll start with Juby. And Juby, well, he's just my friend. He's playing an open division with the team called Wave Check right now. Right now they're 5-0. And moving on to Midori, he's also an open team called if they go Goats, I'm going Hammonds, and they're also 5-0. And he's a good friend of mine as well. Then we'll go to Big Al. Big Al is he's on this contenders team Square One, who have taken down XL2 and NRG. So they beat two academy teams and looking strong going into this contenders season. Another player we have is Organic. He's a sub for Boundless, who's another strong open division team. Then we have Bullywug. He's a good main tank. I'm actually not really sure what team he's on, but he's really good, and I think that he deserves a good team. Then I am on Atlanta Academy.
Awesome, awesome. And you know, I was over there, I noticed your team. I think the average age of your team is like, what, 16, 15 years old? So you guys are all child prodigies, lots of talent on that team. And I know, congratulations to you as well. I know you recently just got signed to the ATL Academy. Tell us how that's going. How's the transition going for you?
Oh yeah, so far it's going really good. It's been a smooth ride. I'm really happy with how it's going. Basically, just they talked to me and they want to try me out, and it went well. So yeah, that's all I really can say. But it's going good.
That's awesome. And has there been anything that has surprised you guys in this tournament so far?
Oh well, a couple of the DPS comps the teams have came out with that surprised me, but not really. Standard Goats comps and a couple of DPS, but not really.
All right. Well, hopefully no surprises in the grand finals.
Yeah.
We'll see you there. It's going to be coming up very shortly here on stream. Thank you very much, Bird, and best luck to you and your team in the grand finals.
Thank you.
All right, man. Cool. Good stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you for that. As we are back here, and really good interview there with Birdie. I like that he was really all about his team. Everything that he said was, hey, let's talk about this player, let's talk about that player. what they're doing, what team they're on. He talked about Juvie. He talked about Big Al, who's on Square One. He talked about the great open teams that Midoriya and Organic are on. Just everybody. Bullywug, he said he wasn't sure what team he's on. He's like, hey, we need to get this guy on a team. And you can see why Bullywug has been playing really well as another player on this roster that they put together for this specific tournament. Obviously, they're all on different teams. And, of course, Bird himself, who, ends up kind of – I think if you were to give a player the game, you can easily give it to multiple players on here, but Bird is definitely deserving.
He was fragging out.
He was really fragging out in that sense. You can see why Atlanta Academy replaced him with Dogman.
The opposite.
Sorry, Dogman went up, and then he replaced where Dogman
they had
was.
Saucy, who rose up to support for a little bit.
That's
but
right,
then
they did.
Now they picked up a proper support player.
Yes.
Saucy maybe will be back on DPS. But
More
again,
than likely.
This team, this Supp team,
it's gonna
definitely
be fun.
playing off. And again, we're talking about Bollywood. Like, that's a reference and a half. You got Bird talking good about you, and Bollywood pulling off some really, really nice plays and some really solid fundamental main tank play as well. Hopefully, playing at LAN gives him a little bit more exposure to potential teams.
That's the hope. That's part of what we do this tournament for. It's not just, of course, to put something together that's going to be fun, but something that players can kind of show off their skills. We have a lot of high-level teams here. Now we're going to get to see Spicybois versus the Brig Brains, too, as our third-place game. That's what's next before we get to our grand finals game. And then, of course, we'll have the ultimate game, Supp versus the Sad Boys. Sad Kids. Sad Kids.
Sad Kids.
We got to make sure we say kids, not boys.
There was a lot of boys. There was a lot of boys.
There was a lot of
three
boys.
teams with boys in the name. Now we got the Sad Kids.
Kids. So kids are slightly older than, I guess, the boys, right?
Yeah, obviously.
And because there's multiple. There's not just boys on the team too, so that's why it's kids.
Yep.
So that's the important things to know for those games. It's going to be really good games that we have going on for both of them. But we're going to take a timeout. When we come back, third place is what's up next, and then of course the championship game.
All right, welcome back to the Chicago Overwatch Lakeside Showdown. We are in progress here in our third place match. Unfortunately, some technical difficulties, but we are looking at our third place match again between Spicybois and Brig Brains ahead of our grand final match, which you'll see later in the evening. Just a brief recap of what we had go on. Brig Brains are on the attack here. They have just capped the first point. With a decent chunk of time left, Spicybois looking to regroup here on the second point, looking for a hold at this first choke.
I see some definite some shenanigans here with the composition where we have like Junkrat, I saw Junkrat and Wrecking Ball just to start off, and a Tracer. So it looks like we're going to see some unique compositions as opposed to the 2-2 or 3-3 meta we've seen so far.
Yeah, interesting composition from the Brig Brains. Of course, Salt Shaker on the signature Orisa pick at this point that we've seen so many times in this tournament. And, again, Meyer and Technique on this Tracer and this Junkrat pushing out some damage. A little bit of an unorthodox composition, especially with this Wrecking Ball. Just causing havoc, however. Seems to be working very well again with Salt Shaker. I still can't seem to understand, what his strategy and what his thinking is, but honestly, it just works every single time.
Yeah, well, the payload is moving, so we can't argue against whatever they were trying to do here. We saw a fight here with a couple ultimates released from Wrecking Ball and from the Orisa as well. So we're going to see probably another fight coming up in a couple minutes here. Brig Brains does have their ultimate economy up.
Yeah, absolutely stacked with ultimates here as Brig Brains. K2 picking up Salt Shaker, K2 picking up a second and a Kosh on that Wrecking Ball, and Brig Brains
the Primal Race gets popped right here, so
taking the space, pushing them back. Spicybois gonna have to regroup Gal with that Primal Rage, finishing up, cleaning up Loft. They're looking to stagger this Ana here. She's gonna try to get away, and she does, goes out on her own terms. Brig Brains still with a significant set of ults, Spicybois with a significant set of ults of their own.
Absolutely. So we're looking at Spicybois here to probably set up the next fight here. It looks like they have both support online, but the Gravitas Surge just comes right out, and the Diva Bot comes right behind it.
Behind the shield. Ooh, doesn't pick anyone up.
That was a great idea, though. It was a great thought. And it looks like also Tracer like suicided herself. Oh, because he wanted to switch characters as well. So he probably did an ultimate and then switched over to the McCree. But it was a great idea, whatever it was, and it kind of faltered in place.
So the interesting thing here is Spicybois definitely has the advantage in terms of damage, so you have to think to yourself, the longer a fight goes on, the more in favor it is for the Spicybois. But that was a pretty long fight in of itself. Lots of ultimates, lots of support ultimates being used as well. However, again, I do believe Spicybois should have the damage advantage here against the Brig Brains. But again, that triple, 3 support, 3 tank composition, very strong. However, Tyler goes down to Meyer. All that damage again, so much. If you're out of position, you're gonna get punished really hard for it.
Absolutely. So we got about 30 seconds left of the clock here. And Mira nowhere close to the point A here with the payload escort. So we're going to see what's going to happen. But McCree's putting in work here. Meyer on that McCree and just goes down. So
Marble sniping him out. He's got his Transcendence online. 15 seconds on the clock. Spicybois are going to need to push this cart just a little farther for the second point. As we see Sir Jerk going down. Big pick. Akash taking out Tyler. And we have ourselves an uneven matchup. Akash takes up a couple more. And Loth, of course, always ready to click some heads. Here comes Gao in the back line. Probably looking to, I think Brig Brains are going to look to stall here last second.
Absolutely. I mean, like, they didn't waste any ultimates, like eliminating most of the Brig Brains here. They will
Gao's
probably
looking for
get
his jump. Here comes the Junkrat Tire. Oh, this is a sick combo. If they can pull it off, Gown, Specs take down Loth and the Junkrat Tire. It's going to be a big advantage. Technique, however, that bomb's so strong. Picks out 2. Meyer with another pick as well. K2, last-ditch effort with the Diva Bomb. However, the damage is just too strong. It looks like Spicybois definitely in the driver's seat here as they clean up this point and move on to the third point.
All right. So that was a bit of a scramble right there. But now, even though they're in an overtime situation, they only have 1 minute and 30 left in the clock to get to the next point, and you be for darn sure that Brig Brains are going to try to stop them here. It's going to be a little while before they get into the section here, and it goes around this first choke. This is usually where battles are fought.
You know, we see a bit of a switch here. K2 going on the Reinhardt. They're going to be running a double main tank composition to hopefully shield a little bit of all this damage that's coming out from the Spicybois, but they are rolling. The momentum is strictly on their side. Junkrat Tire online again for Technique. Let's see if he uses it here. Here it comes. 50 seconds on the clock. Patience with this Junkrat Tire.
I got sniped out of here.
Finds a little bit of a target, doesn't kill anything, puts out some damage. Meyer with the high noon looking for a target. Doesn't find any because Marble with the thick headshots there, and Transcendence does come out on the side of the Spicybois. Going to have to make a push here. They are committing to this fight, popping every single one of their ultimates. Marble with Transcendence to save the day. And here comes the Brig Brains pushing into the Spicybois, pushing past that Arista shield, taking out the Spicybois. 15 seconds left on the clock. Brig Brains firmly in the driver's seat, looking like they're going to be holding the point here on Eichenwald.
Yeah, I don't think any of the players from Spicybois are going to be able to get back to this cart in time. There's 6 seconds left on the clock, and it looks like
they scouted out Cyrus on that Tracer in the back line. Oh, she manages to touch the cart. Overtime will go. Akash gets stopped in his track. However, lots of health for that Wrecking Ball. He's going to be able to stall for a decent amount. Cyrus does have Pulse Bomb. No one else with any ultimates in sight, however, looking for his target to go down on the side of Spicybois. However, Salt Shaker picks up their main tag.
Got to get back to the cart, though.
Oh, ginormous tire from Technique, and Spicybois are right back in it. Here we go.
It clears out the cart, and they're going to push it, but now they got to stay on the cart, though. We are in an overtime situation here. He's got to keep going.
Tyler, last one there. This cart is moving, and Spicybois are coming back in full force. It's going to be a full 6-on-6 fight here as we go down to the last fight as in overtime.
And there's also a switch over to Soldier from McCree. And like I said, we got one more fight here from Brig Brains.
So you notice Tyler does have the Diva Bomb online. Spicybois have no main tank, no shield. If they can place this correctly, it should be a full team wipe. Picks up Techniques. The Spicybois down 4-6 here. Things are looking dire. 3-6. Transcendence does come out for the Brig Brains to secure the last couple of kills. It's desperation time here, and overtime does run out, and that is it. So close.
Yet so far. Oh man, that was a huge scramble towards the end here. So they didn't get it all the way, which means that Brig Brains can come back here on the attack and finish this map win if they make it to the same point or further than Spicybois did on attack as well. So we're setting up for attack here. I wonder if they're going to go back to the composition they had before with the triple support for their attack side.
Yeah,
Try and mirror what Spicybois did to get into the game.
I know we didn't get to see the first point on the stream here, but the cool thing about Eichenwald is a lot of different terrain options depending on which point you are on. This first point does cater to a lot more close quarters battles. That second point does favor some more long-range heroes, of those especially long sight lines across the entirety of the second point. Here, as we venture into the attacker spawns, we do see these Spicybois coming out hot with that Bastion, Pharah, Mercy, Orisa, of course, on the defense, and then Brig Brains here on attack, running a interesting composition. Still looking like they're picking up.
It looks like they're just doing 2-2 with the Sombra. They got Sombra and Brigitte. And their two supports going to be Ana and, oh wait, the Ana's going to switch to Pharah. So we're not going to go Mercy though. And then he's like killing himself? What? Okay.
Just playing a little bit of mind games here.
Yeah, I don't think this is legit, but we'll see. We'll see if it ends up being Pharah or not, but regardless, we have 5 seconds left on the clock to get this started on an attack for Brig Brains.
Spicybois here with this Bastion composition, going to bunker down onto this point. Going to be very tough for the Brig Brains to enter as Gao reconsiders his options here, goes with the Reinhardt.
And then I was going to go with Winston. Like, make a decision here.
But the Sombra, of course, is going to be the big character to look out for here, as she can obviously get that EMP onto the Spicybois bunker composition. However, they do have the Pharah as well for some mobility, and also kind of allow them to attack a lot of these different angles and start dealing some damage here.
Well, looks like Brig Brains is about to make their attack here. They did put out the Ana to probably counter Pharah in the air, but Winston already is going down, and we have Bastion just sitting here trolling on the high ground. So,
yeah, the Spicybois managed to pick up a few. Cyrus boops K2 off the map. I don't even know where that would have been, but so far, Spicybois, easy peasy on this first point defense. You see Tyler tossing his translocator to safety, looking for a big hack here as his team starts to engage once again.
So we haven't seen any members of Brig Brains touch the point just as of yet. They got to deal with this high ground Bastion and Orisa combo upstairs. There's kind of a half bunker strat. Meanwhile, we have both Mercy and Pharah. So like a little bit of a Pharah Mercy combo. Yeah, they have that in the air here. So it looks like Brig Brains is having a little bit of trouble trying to at least get a foothold onto this.
Yeah, I think Brig Brains are really just looking for dry pushes here. They realize they only need to win one fight, and that Sombra's going to be absolutely crucial here. It's up to the Spicybois to stay patient with their ultimates and cycle them so they're ready for this EMP. Meyer does go down here. Gao nano boosted Cyrus picking up 2, however, making it even up again with Tyler and K2 also taking out Loth and Cyrus. Things are looking very hectic here for the Spicybois as they are all over the place. The Bastion does go down. That is their main source of damage. It looks like the Brig Brains will manage to win this point again with the help of the Sombra. I think Cyrus will be going for a counter pick. He'll probably be swapping off here.
Absolutely. So now Brig Brains captures the point here. And now the game is on. So now they need to get to the same point that Spicy hit to win this map and go up 1-0 in the series here.
Yeah, I really like this composition that Brig Brains is now switching to. They had the Pharah, now they have a Tracer instead of the Pharah here. Primal Rage does come out for Gao. He's trying to boot these guys off the high ground. Having a lot of trouble. There's just so much damage. Bastion ult is coming out.
Oh, they're just throwing all these ultimates and everything over to this Bastion Orisa combo here, trying to get him up, and nice finding off the high ground. So I'm not sure if they can capitalize on this, but there's a good kill onto Zarya here for Brig Brains.
Yeah, very good awareness there by K2. She really just zoned out the Bastion ultimate with that Diva Bomb. Didn't really give him anywhere to go, didn't get a lot of value out of that ultimate. And Spicybois starting to realize that Bastion is probably not the answer here with this second point. Lots of alternate routes you can take. Very, very open map, not so much conducive to that Bastion composition.
Just a random grab, like no follow-up, no combos or anything, but let's try
there's
to
the follow-up.
That's what they were looking for, it looks like.
Yeah, Spicybois changing up their composition, dropping the Bastion, but definitely still not short on damage. His technique goes over to the Roadhog. And again, Spicybois, it's good to see some DPS tonight.
Absolutely, absolutely. Brig Brains looks like they just were trying to reset here so they can get one more push. They do have 2.5 minutes on the clock here, so they have plenty of time to get to that first point. But they only have 2 ultimates on the other side. Well, actually 3 now with the EMP. So this could be very interesting.
Yeah, Specs is looking for a play here with this pulse bomb. I would bet if I were him, I'm trying to stick this far with this Mercy, but he gets hooked by Technique. Hey, how you doing? Technique walking right up this big Roadhog, looking for another pick. Oh, finds the Sombra, finds Tyler, and here we go. The team is totally split. They're all over the place. It seems like they've swapped positions here as the attackers are on the defender side. Gao with the Primal Rage, chasing down this Pharah in the air, doing his best.
Almost there.
Oh, we've seen that before, haven't we?
Yeah, he got shot in the face by the ults, and then like got him out of the air, got Pharah out of the air at least. So good, I guess. Good ult stuffing, I guess. So we're looking at Sombra here as well, trying to get the attack onto Roadhog.
EMP's on for Tyler. Hacks the Roadhog, cancels that the healing that the Roadhog has. He also notices that he has the ult. EMP comes out, gets 3 with the EMP, and Brig Brains are moving here, cleaning up the rest of this fight. Cart is, however, I don't know if it's close enough in the recontest, but yeah, it's definitely not close enough.
It looks like they're going to fall back and let this point happen. And they're going to do a last minute and just set up for the final push.
Yeah, Brig Brain's going to have 2.5 minutes here to push this, almost all the way to the third point. Pretty much, they still have the most difficult parts of this third point to deal with, this first little bend around the corner. And of course, that cart needs to get to pretty much right outside the spawn doorstep. So not easy for the Brig Brains. They got to work.
This is a very tough point to get for most teams, especially finishing off King's Row. I'm sorry, not King's Row, for Eichenwald. This is very tough to finish at this
with another Primal Rage going right in that backline, disrupting everything the Spicybois are doing. Loft does come out with the Transcendence, however, too little too late. Salt Shaker and Akash will go down. Gao is now trapped, however, not a big deal. Tyler with the EMP, and it looks like Cyrus is just shocked and awed, accepting his fate here on Eichenwald, and it looks like Brig Brains will be taking it on this first map. This will be a best-of-3 set here for the third place match.
For third place consolation matches, where in this particular case, Spicybois will get to pick map 2. So since they lost, so we'll see what they come up with. I'm not sure what was left in the map pool after they did bans, but
Technique with an excellent tire here.
That's the one thing they did save their score. The Spicybois, when they pulled that out, they like saved their second point skill. So, anyway, so now that we're back, now that we're after that whole technical difficulty, welcome back to Lakeside. I'm sorry, I am losing.
It's been a long day.
It's been a long day.
A lot of Overwatch. Things start to blend together.
Yeah, and we just saw the really exciting semifinals a couple minutes ago, and then we have the Sad Boys and now, see, this is what
we got the Sad Kids Club and Supp in our grand final coming up next.
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely looking forward to that matchup. But we're still in map 2 of our fourth place match here. Whoever wins is going to be third place. Whoever loses is going to be in fourth place. Yeah. It's just kind of like a consolation prize for making it all the way to the semifinals and then having to go out in spectacular fashion. So
third place does however get a little bit of a cash prize. So you won't be going home empty-handed. A little bit of a obviously everyone wants to be in that first. Everyone wants to be first place, but just a little bit of a consolation, something for these teams to play for here and kind of allow us to see a little bit more of them here. Obviously resources are limited. We didn't get to stream every single matchup, especially in the group stage. However, here we will be traveling to Numbani.
All right. So now we have a hybrid map here. So we're going to capture first point and then escort a payload all the way to the end.
Say hello to Effie. I believe she is the scientist that created Orisa, right? Yep.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think so.
The child prodigy, a lot of child prodigies here as well at the Lakeside Showdown. Lots of talented players.
For sure.
We'll be keeping an eye on. in the future, you know, a lot of names that we want to remember because we'll probably be seeing them in you know, contenders, possibly Overwatch League.
Possibly. I mean,
in
like,
the near future.
Dreams can't come true here. So, for a hybrid map, what are we looking for here? Are we thinking that we're going to still stick with the Ghost comp? Well, we've seen some interesting compositions in the last set here. It looks like Spicybois on defense are going to be setting up just a unique comp with McCree.
So for the Brig Brains, they do have this bunker composition with the Bastion. They're also adding on the Torbjorn. This is one of the few maps where Torbjorn, few points where Torbjorn is very, very strong on. Lots of open sight lines for that turret. They're going to be pushing out a ton of damage with this Bastion, Orisa, and Torbjorn, and of course this Zenyatta as well. Spicybois is going to have to find an opening. They scout out their composition, maybe trying to plan out their next move. Probably want to be looking to get a foothold into that back blue area, that hallway, to kind of get behind the Brig Brains. But so far, getting picked off. Salt Shaker does res, I believe it was Cyrus.
Yeah, so actually Brig Brains on defense, my apologies guys, but like we are seeing this bunker composition here, and it is doing a lot of damage, but you know, it tends to fall apart. Like if you get rid of the Bastion or the Orisa, it just kind of falls apart and you get that first point, and so we'll see what they come up with.
Ooh, the Specs does get booped down here. They're going to have to reposition. It doesn't quite seem like Brig Brains is getting very, too comfortable in one spot. Spicybois are doing a good job of pushing them around and saying, we're not going to make it easy on you. You can't just sit there and fire away. Specs is going to be taking a ton of damage here. However, gets away just in time. However, the point is being capped. They're going to have to make a move here. Not a great spot for that Bastion is, Spicybois has a lot of mobility, especially vertical mobility with this Pharah, getting in behind, throwing in some damage. Cyrus unable to find anything with that high noon. Transcendence coming out on the side of the Brig Brains, moving back onto the point. Just going to start contesting here. Spicybois on their last legs, looking like they're going to have to regroup and try again. However, they do pick up 2 ticks on this point, so a very successful push in my books.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, worst comes to shove, they just have a little bit of juice left on point A. They do have a couple ultimates up, and I just noticed they also have Genji as well. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
play.
They have 2 DPS ultimates up. Both ultimates can absolutely destroy the Brig Brains composition. They don't have any support ults online so far. However, Bastion does have his ultimate.
So
can absolutely delete anyone. So we'll see who can execute better here on this first point, as Technique looking to find an opening, biding his time, waiting for his moment to pop his blade.
And then Diva just goes down. Okay, see you later. So
you see Meyer also in that back hallway with Technique. They're looking for an opening. Their team's going to have to make some space for them and distract them so Meyer and Technique can get on this Bastion.
Absolutely. I'm looking for that blade activation here. It's probably just what's going to be. Oh, and then Pharah dies, so I don't know if they're going to wait to reset this thing, but they have another support ultimate up for Zenyatta. And we also have Widowmaker as well.
So there's the pulse bomb, does pick up the Torbjorn.
Oh, goodness.
Not an issue, though. Sir Jerk does res Tyler. Diva Bomb coming out on the side of the Brig Brains, right down main.
There's the blade.
Here comes the blade, but Marvel is ready for it with the Transcendence. Technique picking up nothing. Here comes Barrage out of Akash. However, Brig Brains picking up one after another. Spicybois looking like they're not going to be successful on this push. They did expend a lot of their resources, a lot of their ultimates, and here come the switches for the Spicybois. Cyrus moving to that Widowmaker and Akash moving to that Sombra. And they're going to look to make some magic happen here with 30 seconds left.
Well, I don't know how much magic you can make with 80 ults coming, but at the same time, they understand that Brig expended all their ultimates just to defend the point as well. So if they don't pull something out of their butts real quick, in 15 seconds, we're going to have a full hold. No, just about a full hold.
This is the Brig Brains point to lose, and you see K2 making that first mistake here, getting D-Mech. Specs does pick up Meyer, however. Not a lot of space. They're going to have to coordinate a push onto this Bastion and Sarissa. They're going to get in there and kill him before he gets.
What were they doing? What were they doing?
They were too focused on what their next move was that they forgot to touch the point.
Oh goodness! So
it's that intimidation factor of a Bastion sometimes,
I don't think that's really the case here, but anywho, I don't know who was not watching here, but now we have a situation here. We have match point here coming up for Brig Brains. All they have to do is get 2 ticks off of this point plus a little bit of percentage here, and they will win this consolation match for 3rd place.
You know, the 3rd place match, obviously you're not fighting for 1st or 2nd place. You're kind of, I would say, a little more relaxed, but sometimes also maybe a little kind of on autopilot sometimes. You might not be as focused as you would be.
Or experimental, as it were. You know,
experimental,
like,
absolutely.
You know, don't show the full strats, but, you know, hey, you're playing for pride here, playing for one. Say, hey, at least I tried, right? At least I tried. So let's see what happens. Oh, and I was going to say, don't troll me with the Doofus, man. But Baptiste looks like it's coming out for Big Brains as well, along with Roadhog. So again, another unique composition, but still be well. I don't consider. Do you consider Baptiste the tank in this meta, or just more of a flex DPS?
Baptiste, he's kind of a little bit of a hybrid support. You know, he does have a lot of utility. It's a very unique set of abilities. Especially, you know, obviously the immortality field. His healing output is actually pretty good. You know, I wouldn't necessarily place him strictly in the off support. He's kind of right in between
somebody who's
active and main support. It's very situational, and you kind of have to work your strategy around it. However, we do see Baptiste on both sides here.
Okay, so.
And of course, he does have a pretty good amount of damage if you can hit those shots on that burst rifle.
So it looks like Brig Brains is going to go up the left-hand side here.
Spicybois with the bunker comp of their own here. They say
along with the Widowmaker. And here we go. They just pop right up. And look at that. Bash and go.
See, that's the strength of the immortality field, just absolutely keeping them up for now. However, Tyler's saying, I see your Bastion, I'll raise you one. Takes down Technique. And Spicybois firmly on the back foot here. First tick down for the Brig Brains. Someone's going to have to go contest this point.
And at least this time the Spicybois are paying attention, but it looks like they're like while they're battling.
I don't know if they're paying attention. This point is getting capped and they're not going to touch it.
Okay.
And just like that, Brig Brains will win the 3rd place match. Looks like it's been a long day for everyone. Sometimes, you know, maybe it's just time to go home.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is, especially for me, because I'm starting to drop stuff left and right here. So, well, just as fast as it came by, just as fast as we interrupted this whole match, and now it's over. So, Brig Brains, congratulations for taking 3rd place at the Lakeside Showdown 2019. It's been a long day and some awesome matches and stuff, but like, you know, somebody has to go home in 3rd.
We do have one more match, however. The grand final match will be coming up here, where Supp will be taking on the Sad Kids Club, and we will find out who will be the grand champion of Lakeside Showdown shortly here.
So this is going to be my last casting match for today. It's been an awesome pleasure. I'm really thankful to the community for welcoming me and let me try out my skills here and doing some casting matches, however horribly. I really appreciate it. Shout outs to Randy for bringing me on this project and the other casters as well. And I will see you guys online. I'll definitely be playing more often as well. And I'm hoping we have another one, man. Like, I would love to come out and help you guys out again for another.
We will be sending out some information on our next event. I think in the coming week we'll be kind of jumping right into it here, taking a short week break. But we want to provide a lot of events kind of in rapid order here, keep the community engaged while we're still kind of have that adrenaline rush of LAN. So far, great success today. You know, thank you to everyone who came out, and thank you to you, Will, for helping us out. This broadcast would not be possible without you. So all your efforts are certainly appreciated by us here at Chicago Overwatch. And you know.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm a huge fan, huge fanboy and stuff like that. So this was like kind of like a pet project to get involved in. So now I got to do it. So like I appreciate that. Thank you for letting me, you know, kind of nerd out and all this other stuff here. Like, so everything you see here, yes, the majority of the broadcast equipment, headsets, everything. This is all me, and I just set this all up yesterday. And I was really happy. Like, when I got the call, I was really happy to do so. So like I said, I really appreciate it. You guys didn't have to welcome me in, but I appreciate being welcomed in, and you know, looking forward to doing more with you guys.
You're part of the Chicago Overwatch family now, Will.
Thank you so much. Anyway, I didn't want it to be all about me, but thanks you guys so much. We will see you in grand finals. But anyway, my name is Will. This is Randy. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in grand finals.
It's been an awesome day of Overwatch, but we still have one more game left for you, and it is our finals of Supp versus Sad Kids Club. It is Labasco, and of course, I have next to me my partner in Blitzbolt. We've got one more game to go, but it's the championship. It's our finals. It looks to be a good one between these two teams. You have the young upstarts and Supp, a lot of players on either Tier 2 or Tier 3 teams, and you have, as you've been calling them, the old guard in Sad Kids Club, led by Sea Salt and Tengu. Sea Salt, who's somebody you were talking about. She's been around for a while that you know, and this is going to be a great matchup that we have for our finals.
Yeah, it's going to be an amazing match. Everything up to this point has led up to this. All of the group stages, all of these matches that we've shown before, here we are. This is the grand finals. Supp facing on against Sad Kids Club.
Having the blue, Supp, red for Sad Kids Club. And we see a map that we've seen a little bit earlier in the day. We're going over to Ilios, but we're going to one we hadn't seen yet. We're going to Lighthouse here first.
Yeah, we haven't seen this map yet, so we're going to see like what Sad Kids Club are going to bring out against Supp. Supp has been really faithful to the meta compositions that you see in high-level play, you know? These are the high-tier players in this tournament, and they're staying faithful to that. I'm not surprised, and good on them for making it work. Sad Kids Club, it's looking like they'll do the same. They're looking to go onto a Winston Goats composition. This, I remind you, is our Grand Final. This is a best-of-5 series, as opposed to the best-of-3s we've casted so far.
Yes, that was something that I was just about to mention. I'm glad. That's why I have such an awesome partner like Blitz. That's what he's here for, to make things sound good, make me sound good. He's got the big brain.
Good.
I just say dumb things and shout and do all that. And like you said, our compositions, it's going to be Winston Goats versus Winston Goats. Triple tank, triple support on either side.
And that is it. As the two teams are looking for their first engagement now inside of the cage, Meeptopia taking up aggressive space and posturing really forward. Organic is already in trouble.
Chasing down that Zarya, like you said, Inorganic is going to get healed up, though, so Meeptopia has to be a little bit careful here now is the only thing. So both of these teams just dealing out the damage. Nobody's really getting too close yet. Spectacles getting a little bit closer. Midori, just whoever's going to get on the point first, Supp is going to be the one, but this is still a battle that they can lose. Have the rally already coming out from the side of Supp. Sea Salt, the one who is going to get that a little bit late and lose their life as a result. This is going to be a cleanup for Supp, but it was not easy for them. They had to wait till they got an ultimate to finally get a win.
Yeah, not easy at all for Supp. They are the ones to take the point, however. And, you know, once that happens, we've talked about it before, and this is, you know, it's common knowledge by now. We've seen Goats be Goats for a few months now. And in chokes...
More than a few months.
Yeah, more than a few months.
They're being generous.
A little bit too long. But in chokes, Goats compositions are not as good, and you want to be taking the aggressive posturing and then let the other team go through chokes and then go ahead and just, you know, make him fight for it. Make him fight for every inch of space that you're not going to give up, and that's what they did. And that's what they're doing right now, funneling the rest of the Sad Kids Club into a choke.
They've switched over to the Reinhardt version of that triple tanks, triple support, that self-destruct. Not placed very well. Transcendence was used too, keeps everybody alive for Sad Kids Club, so there's an opportunity here with their rally up. They have to find a target, though, and focus on them. Sound Barrier is going to come here through. Sound Barrier coming late for Sad Kids Club, though, so this is their opportunity. Supp still with some ults in the bank, though, is the only problem. Meeptopia has to be careful. Brig's going in, Big's going in as well, starting to get loaded. Big Al will open things up. The self-destruct was there for Biggs, but decided to hold on to it. They're going to have to hold on for one more fight, but they only have one more fight left as it's to 75% for Supp.
And very good choice, I got to say, from Biggs. You know, every time that you get out of Mecha's Diva and you've got the little light at the bottom of your screen, you know, that Q key is itching, and you always want to tap it. You always want to try and get back to it, try to do some like extra damage with the bomb. He doesn't. And now they have that combo, the Graviton Surge and the Self-Destruct to try and win out this fight.
Grav Primal Rage for Supp on the other side. Meeptopia is going to get up that Earth Shatter as well for Sad Kids Club. So this is their opportunity. Have to try and get Crimson with some charge. Those the only thing. Gets stunned out. Has to be a little bit careful. His team gets caught into the grab, though, and they lose all their players. Overtime meter starts to go here. Only a few left for Sad Kids Club to try and hold on Lighthouse. Not going to be the case. It's going to be 1-0 in favor of Supp. Even Juby is going to go and celebrate a little bit too much there, go off the edge of the map, but it's okay. His team won that one. Now have that 1-0 lead here on our control point.
Yeah, and Crimson going on a little bit of an adventure by himself there, you know. He was looking for somebody and then got lost. just chasing that kill, and he couldn't land the grab onto the enemy team. And by the time that Biggs was throwing out his bomb, there was no grab to follow up on at all. And eventually, the other team, Supp, just goes out and uses their coordination, and they just slowly but surely, they just use fundamentals of GOATs, you know? You stay together, you use your ultimates together, and it works out in the end. Midori flashing the Torb that we saw before in University, but we're not going to be getting any of that back on his Diva. And again, Midori is actually a DPS player, and he's been showing off like a pretty solid Diva.
Yeah, very good Divas, working well for the side of Supp. Sad Kids Club, though, did not make it easy on them. Even though they ended up losing that 100-0, they still, that first fight was pretty much a stalemate for the early part. We're seeing a different approach from both of these teams. Triple Trank, triple support, yes, but one's going with the Winston, the other one is going with the Reinhardt. Not as much high ground to play with here for the Winston is the one thing to point out, but Bullywug doesn't care. Meeptopia is gone and out of the fight, and when you lose your Reinhardt, you generally lose the fight, and that's the case here for Sad Kids Club. Decimated again.
Yeah, it happens again. Supp takes the first advantage, and they're so good at opening up with those engagements. They manage to find, you know, just if you're taking a little bit too much space, if you're Meeptopia, Supp is going to see it. And they're going to punish you, and they're going to punish you hard. They manage to take him down, and just like you said, take down the Reinhardt, no shield to hide behind, nowhere to hide, nowhere to run. You're going to be taken down. Sad Kids Club going to lose their first fight, but now they're looking to come back.
Going up to the high ground, though. Smart thing from them to do. Make sure that they don't give the high ground up to that Winston. Will kind of boop him away. He jumps right back in, gets himself a bubble, and with Bird, he's able to combine to get Meeptopia down again. And this getting up to 35% here in just a second. It will. A little bit early on that, but Supp building up, not worrying about anything. They're cycling their ults perfectly.
Yeah, they keep doing it. Supp, again, they're coming up on the grab bomb, and it looks like it just looked like they used most of their abilities, but they did not. They're cycling them so well. They got the grab bomb, and against Ryan Zarya comp, that is so powerful. You know, without the Winston, you can't charge out the Ryan, so proper use of bubbles could save Sad Kids Club, and they've got their own things to come back with.
Organic was just waiting for them to come to the corner, throws that grab in already with one. Self-destruct gets a second, and Sad Kids Club again will have to back away. They at least force out a couple of ultimates. They're starting to get an advantage, but the problem is they don't have any sort of advantage on the percentage mark.
Yeah, you gotta end it. You gotta end it fast. This dagger is going to hurt. Biggs going to be taken down. He might choose to jump off the map. Actually, he does not. He's choosing to go and get his mech back, and that's already high enough. He's going to have it, and now that grab bomb is going to be the one lifesaver that the Sad Kids Club can try and hang on to if they want to win out this map. And first, not even think about winning, they have to take the point first.
And Bullywug coming back in on that Winston, has self-primal rage. Doesn't have to use it just yet. Crimson is able to get up to a high charge, catches in. That Winston goes down instantly. Graviton Surge, all they need to use, I don't think they even need to use the self-destruct. They did use it anyway. They couldn't get to the point. They couldn't get there in time. They were a step away. Looked like they were going to get it. And Supp wins this map and goes up 1-0.
Oh, you hate to see it, and you hate to see it so much. They had it. They managed to pull off the grab bomb. They looked like that might have been the beginning of, if not a comeback, at least the beginning of it, you know? It doesn't work out that way. They just forget that there's a thing in Overwatch. It's called a point. You need to get on it.
Overtime meter doesn't even get a chance to go up because of that, too. So we look at how that first map went. It's pretty convincing from the side of Supp, but there is a little bit of glimmer, a little bit of hope, perhaps, for Sad Kids Club, because you saw that the first match, the first time that these two teams met each other, it didn't go perfectly for Supp. They had to really work, had to wait for ultimates to even win the fight. It was kind of back and forth. So Sad Kids Club, it seems like the biggest thing for them is just maybe a little bit more of focus fire onto one target.
Yeah, a little bit of a lack of aggression coming off from the Sad Kids Club as well. You know, you see that if the fights are long, then eventually, you know, you're gonna slip up. To err is human, you know?
Right.
But what is not human is the inhuman ability from Supp to punish every single mistake that they're making. So
Right.
if you want to beat this team, you need to be aggressive. You need to not make mistakes and just end the fights early. As the team has selected King's Row as their next map.
So we're going to King's Row. Well, let's talk about compositions here, because I think this is one of the things that maybe Sad Kids Club can do to maybe throw off Supp. We've seen them just play a lot of triple tank, triple support for Supp. for Sad Kids Club. What can they pull out of their sleeve here to maybe give Supp some trouble? Do they have something like that? Should they try to do something like that, or should they stay with the triple tank, triple support?
Do they have something like that? They do. You know, they flashed their Lucio Zen and Mercy composition. And, I'm all for innovation, and that looked like something that might, if not, be a good composition, at least definitely throw off a Ghost comp. With the damage from the Pharah and being able to keep everybody else up at the same time, it might be what they're looking for. Now, doesn't look like they're going for it, but again, they're on attack. They might change their mind at the last second, and I like seeing those compositions. You have everybody on their comfort heroes. You have a good idea as to how to play it, and if you can, just contain Midori on the Diva, the Pharah gets free reign on the rest of the Goats comp, and if she can land the shots, that's all you need, really. And maybe, I like to see them go with that, but it looks like they're actually going to stick to their guns. They're going to go for the... Hold on, is that happening? No, it's not. Meeptopia flashing the wrecking ball. I was like, oh, man.
Well, Biggs is going to look for that early pick, maybe. It's just going to go switching right back to it, it seems like, instead. But that's okay, because you know what? You can still come out here and do that anyway. So they'll start to work their way forward. Will Sad Kids Club, they want to try and take this point. Already the shield is gone for Meeptopia, though. Has to wait, let that thing get back up. Only 600 health left alive on his team. Already there, but the fire strike coming through. Spectacles is lost, though, too. So you have both teams sort of even, but then Meeptopia falls. Bullywug was able to hide until he got a little bit more health, and Bird just doing so much damage on this Zenyatta. Doesn't matter that he doesn't hit a headshot every time. He hits it enough to make his team get that bit of extra damage, and they hold strong for Supp.
And we've been hearing that bang sound a whole lot. Look at the ultimates right now. Just, don't look at the rest of the screen. Just look at the top bar. Bird on the Transcendence already. He is so fast building those up. Nobody else is even close to an ultimate, and he's got the Transcendence. He's outputting so much damage for this composition. It's a big difference as he transcends, and here it goes.
So you have those players starting to push in. Organic is going to get the first elimination, and Sad Kids Club pushed back into their spawn once more. They've got to figure out how to crack this triple tank, triple support from Supp.
Yeah, they're just playing it so well, and that comes with experience, People by now have refined the triple rank, triple support so well that if you're a good player, you're going to know how to play with it, around it, and know the ins and outs of its weaknesses and of its strengths. And this coordination that they have is exactly what they need. Here comes the Graviton, here comes the bomb.
So now the self-destruct coming through, not going to find anything. Graviton Surge counter coming from Sad Kids Club. Kristen's able to get Juby, but Biggs did lose Mech is the only problem. Sound Barrier committed in here. They're going to push onto Bullywog, who found himself in the back all by himself. They'll be able to push onto the point now, but there was a bit of time it took to get there, so they should be able to regroup and come back in for Supp after 2 ticks.
Yes, they can, and Sad Kids, again, doing what I'm really not a fan of, and it's their lack of aggression. They could be doing so much more with what they have, but they just tend to, chill on their point, chill on their side of the map, and not push the advantages that they have. They're playing really, really careful, a little too careful for my likings. Organic already with the first kill, and it looks like, just look at their health bars, they're just going down and down again. That's going to be stopping at 69.7%, so holding again.
So 69.7, that's good though for them, because that means that they get that to go to 66%, and they don't have to get that anymore. Only need 33% more to open up the point is a good thing for Sad Kids Club. But for Supp, this is something that's okay. You had to do that in order to keep your defensive hold here. Minute 20 left to go. Organic hiding up top here, looking for the opportunity, and they don't even see him. Organic with the perfect throw in here, and that's going to be another cleanup for Supp. Hiding up top like that, Organic doing that. Just such a good team wipe, such good synergy too.
Yeah, Organic, as he does it again. If you look at him play, he just comes out of nowhere, uses a Graviton Surge, and then he just sits there, microwaving the rest of the team, does so much damage, just doesn't miss because he's not even moving, so you just gotta hold M1, does so much damage, and eventually that's it. Bullywug with his impression.
No. They got caught behind again, this time from the main tank in Bullywug. They didn't look around that corner before coming. I'll tell you what, they're going to do it next time. They do have ultimates to work with here, at least for Sad Kids.
Who else can come from the flank? Can Midori come from the flank and throw out that bomb maybe? No, they're all grouping together. We haven't seen this in 2 fights, so again, both teams sitting on some really nice ultimates. Let's see how this is going to work out. 30 seconds, not even on the clock. The bomb to engage.
Self-destruct thrown in the air, won't find anything. Sound barrier keeps everybody alive for Sad Kids Club. 18 seconds left. They've got to win this fight and win it decisively. Biggs threw out the self-destruct. Didn't get anything is the problem, though. Earth Shatter coming from Bullywug, and onto the other side, though, from Meeptopia is actually the one that came through. Bullywug getting close to his. They're able to finally push onto the point for Sad Kids Club. So they'll have that overtime meter come at the very least. Seasalt with 2, though. She's able to get those 2 wins at the beginning, trying to force her team onto this point and win it. Finds herself a 3rd Spectacles in there as well. They're going to be able to win this point.
Yes, they are. Bird with the Swan Song kill onto Tango, still reminding him, I'm a pretty good Zen out here, I'm still going for those shots, and he does. But Sad Kids Club is going to be taking the point. Took a little bit, but 2 minutes is enough, more than enough even, to take the rest of this point. And again, they're deciding to fall back a little bit and not go for the aggression again. That right they're alone. Why are you not going up? Sad Kids Club could be getting a lot more than they are, and I'm just afraid that this lack of confidence and aggression might end up biting them in the back eventually.
And we already saw Supp on this map of Kings Row in the semifinals that happened just a little while ago. So for Supp, they were able to stop this short before that first point ended up being taken. See if they can do it here again on this Streets phase. And it's starting off the way it did the last time they played this map. They're forcing the team back into spawn, camping those spawn doors. That Sad Kids Club is going to have to regroup. Seasalt losing her life there at the end.
Yeah, and here we see Organic, he's probably telling the rest of his team, just leave me here. I've got it again. I'm going to do it again. He's hiding already in Hotel. He's going to be looking for another one of those grabs.
See if Organic gets caught this time. They're looking. Oh, they don't see him again. He's able to get it out, but it was also really good timing from him before they could even have the opportunity. And the self-destruct from Midori is able to get 2, so they will push everyone back in for Sad Kids Club. They worked through these ultimates, and now they have an alt lead for Sad Kids Club is the important thing.
Yeah, you almost call him Midori, and he's definitely murdering the competition now with that bomb. Going with another one of those ultimates now. Sad Kids Club. Same situation as before. When they were on the ropes, they had those ultimates and they used them well to close out a fight. They are now taking the high ground, looking for the better engagements, not through choke points. Good choice by them.
Under a minute left for them is the only thing for Sad Kids Club. They start to drop down. Had their Zarya drop on the other side. Gets the grab off. Self-destruct thrown in here too. Players get booped away and Bullywug will lose his life. Goodbye to the Mech 2 of the Diva. This is a winning fight opportunity if they can keep everybody alive. They do lose Beatopia is the only problem. It's all about the Zaryas now. Which Zarya is going to get the next elimination for their team, or is it going to be Bird on that Zen? It's going to be Bird getting Sea Salt down, so now the advantage starting to come for the defense. Again, Organic on that point, helping to finish off as well. And this is going to be 10 seconds left. Earth Shatter coming out in desperation. Out comes the Graviton Surge. 6 seconds left. Can anybody get back?
No, they cannot. Sea Salt with the last-ditch effort onto the Moira. Supp holding the Sad Kids Club even before the archway. That is such a convincing hold from them.
They did give up that first point, but like you said, such a convincing hold. Don't even give up that point. So Sad Kids Club here have to have an amazing first point hold if they want to have a chance to not let this go up 2-0 to Supp.
Yes, they do. This is going to be a tough hold for the Sad Kids Club. And at this point, I think it is about the time that you look back and you say, okay, there's something that's just not working here. And, you can't just become top tier over the course of one game in the Ghost v Goats matchup. They've been outclassed pretty consistently. If I'm Sad Kids Club, I'm thinking something's got to change. We got to pull out something different to throw off Supp, And maybe, it's not going to win you the entire series, but, it may win you this map. And then you can start building that momentum, change something else maybe, and keep throwing different things at Supp. Supp's really good at what's standard. So I think that it's a risk to try and beat them at what's standard.
Sad Kids Club showing us something a little bit different. Sea Salt is going to go over to the Baptiste here, it looks like. And Sea Salt is coming out with this, so they've made a little bit of a change. We'll see if she can make a difference now with the Baptiste. You said they had to do something different. This is out of the norm because of how new Baptiste is. We've seen Sea Salt has carried some fights with the Brigitte. There's a little bit more carry potential with the Baptiste because of the more damage that you can output compared to the Brig.
Absolutely, and Sea Salt has actually been practicing Baptiste since he was out on PTR. So, she's got some experience on the hero already. Experience that probably no other player, even on Supp, does have, They've been busy practicing with what is topical, what is meta. Sea Salt might be the key to trying and throwing them off and outskilling them with the Batiste pick.
So going into the lab here, seeing if that work in the lab for Sea Salt does pay off. Supp coming out with that DPS comp that we saw last time. Quad DPS with Big Al in the sky. So have to be careful here if you're Sad Kids Club. And Tengu getting lost at the beginning might be the one that spells the end. Trying to get onto Big Al is Biggs, who's good and close to losing. Mech is the only problem. Big Al close to losing his life, but already has himself Barrage. And they're going to win this fight. They probably don't even need the ultimates. Organic doing work on the Hanzo as well. Big Al and Organic, the two just putting out all that damage.
Yeah, and now, again, they got them in the funnel, in the choke, and eventually there's too much damage. Organic from one side, Big Al from above, Midori from the other side, and then Bird is just hacking people left and right, doing that small sustained damage that eventually it'll whittle you down, especially if you're running a 3-3 composition. Now, you're looking to go into the Moira for Tengu instead of the Zenyatta. Way easier matchup into Bird's Sombra. But Bird is coming onto the EMP, and there's so many ultimates on the side of Supp. So much damage about to come out.
Have to still deal with Big Al, who's up in the air. You either got to take everybody else out on the ground first or deal with Big Al first. And they're going to use the EMP and Barrage and Dragon Strike. That'll make sure that they get this cart that last little bit of distance that they have to do. And Supp will go up 2-0 here and get to championship point.
Yes, this next map, if they take it, it's going to be the choice of Sad Kids Club again. But if Supp takes it, they're going to be your Lakeside Showdown 2019 champions. So now a lot is riding onto this next game. Sad Kids Club is definitely at the ropes.
You have to give a lot of credit to Supp, though, because they are playing perfect.
Yes.
Every composition we see, they are playing the way that you expect Tier 2, Tier 3, higher Tier 3. Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So they're playing the way you expect players that come from Tier 2 and Tier 3 to play, right? Sad Kids Club, if you want to play Cinderella in this one, you've got to make it happen here. The clock's about to strike midnight on this championship game for them. Unfortunately, we'll see where they decide to go for the map is the only thing, though. I mean, I think it's more about comps, though. It seems like it's more about comps.
I think it is. Again, like I was saying, you've got all these Tier 2 and Tier 3 players.
Right.
They've been playing GOATs at a high level
for a long time.
So long. They know how their comp works. And, there's a very big difference between ladder players, even high-tier ladder players like Sad Kids Club are.
Right. I think 4,300 around is what their
4,300
is.
They're amazingly skilled players.
Yes.
I'm not going to deny that. But in a team environment, it's different. And, they've been playing GOATs for so long, and Sad Kids Club has been getting outclassed in that kind of mirror. So, again, I'm just hoping Sad Kids Club just gives it their all. This is the last chance they've got. It hasn't worked for 2 maps. Maybe this Lijiang Tower game now will be what they need to change up something, pull out some DPSs, pull out something. I don't know. They're playing not me, but at the same time.
There's no denying the fact that Supp is also a mechanically extremely gifted team, too.
Fantastic.
That's why they are Tier 2 and Tier 3 Overwatch players at some of the highest level when you talk about Contenders North America and, of course, just Open Division teams that are going to be in the playoffs for Open Division trying to get into Contenders Trials. So when you look at Supp, that's what you have to go for. But Sad Kids Club, like you said, their mechanics, they're no slouches. We've seen that they have some pretty good mechanics. We've seen Tengu actually beat a guy in Bird who is somebody who is on an academy team. So why not just go ahead, throw out something crazy, throw out the DPS, try and just out-mechanic them.
Yeah, but then again, the big difference maker is not mechanics at this point. At these levels, the difference between a 4,300 ladder player and a Tier 2 player is just amazing in-game IQ, and that's what they've got. Throwing out the quad DPS again, floats, good choice into it. Let's see if it works out.
Going around towards the side where they can get booped off, have that come out, and Bullywug is able to get Sea Salt, and Big Al throws Tengu away as well, and Biggs, they're just going to reset here. Very smart from Sad Kids Club.
Yeah, he did the Reddit on him. He just came through from the other side of the map and just so fast. And that's the risk that you take when you go point side, when you realize that they're not playing GOATs. You can get booped off, and they do. Finally, it's happening. Quad DPS coming out from Sad Kids Club. Let's see if they can take those duels. Like, in this kind of matchup, it's all about the duels. You want to just take those 1v1s, 2v1s if you can. Big's already going for one against Bird.
Already lost that health pack, though, is the only thing. Having some players come and help him out now. Biggs has to be careful. Gets healed up by the Moira. Looking for that shadow hold, but Organic with that arrow to get the headshot on the Spectacles doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, And again, he was almost hitting Crimson on the far as well. This triple DPS is going to be hard to force into this. Big's head just gets taken off by that arrow as he unfortunately blinks right into it.
Organic going on this flank as well, looking for more players to try and deal with. Bird just waving hi to the camera as, you know, this has turned into DPS versus DPS, which, you know what? You lose this way, you have to feel okay if you're Sad Kids Club. At least you're throwing everything out there.
Absolutely. No regrets coming out from them after this. They're giving the last-ditch effort. Here it is, Meeptopia coming in. EMP, however, is just stronger. The Barrage going to be finding spectacles on the Hanzo, actually. You know, player known for his Lucio, showing off a little bit of DPS as well, you know, supports his mechanics too.
Yeah, so, well, now you forced out a couple of ultimates, so maybe this is the chance for Sad Kids Club. They have a couple of ults to work with the Coalescence, and of course the healing that'll come out from Sea Salt onto multiple players. So, but Big Al and Organic combining, and then did they poop? They did poop far enough away to not let the res happen. So now you don't get a res for Sea Salt.
He does spectacles here. He gets the kill onto Organic, but Juby, that Battle Mercy, is coming in and just shoots him down, and then gets his friend back. Utopia with the kill again, but the rest of the team is just falling, and now there's 10% left on the clock. Biggs with the kill on Midori. Could it be what they need?
7% left. Biggs is going to try and backcap here. See if anyone spots him out. 43%.
He's real low.
Oh, no!
Yeah.
Didn't get healed in time. The Mercy had to come over to try and get the healing. Meeptopia a little bit late to help in as well. Overtime meter has started on Night Market for Supp as they look to try and win this map outright 100-0, but the flip does come through for Sad Kids Club. They've been able to turn this around, actually.
What in the world? Spectacles comes in on the Doomfist, and, you know, as
Made
I
a
say,
difference.
it falls down. But he definitely made a difference in that fight with a hero that, you know, you don't see a lot. You definitely don't see support players playing him, but he's been showing off a little bit. So, you know, especially against, you know, look at the comp this Supp is running. There's 4 squishies there, 5 squishies. The Mercy is just harder to hit. But if you can get a combo, you can just take down Midori with just 1 rocket punch.
Big Al is going to get Sea Salt, so it's even here, 5v5 after the 2 players fall out. Biggs, who we're watching right now, putting some damage onto that Wrecking Ball. Crimson in the sky, looking for the ball, looking for the Mercy. Castic just laying 1 more rocket. Can't quite get it, though. Has the Barrage, can decide to use that, but Bullywug will be able to take him out of the sky instead. Ultimate's working for the side of Supp. They're going to be able to switch this back over, and it's going to be overtime meter, 45% for Sad Kids Club, but they got to get back on the point.
Yeah, Crimson going to regret it if he doesn't come back. Nice hack, but Big Al is just going to take Sea Salt out with the rockets. You know, don't need a hack. Let me just double rocket her.
Sea Salt was going off the map, too, and it was like, you know what, I'm going to hit you with a rocket to
yeah, you know,
finish you off.
at that point, it's just, you just disrespect him, man. He's just going in.
But this could be it. This could be championship points. We have it. Control Center is going to be potentially our final map here unless Sad Kids Club can pull this one out and force a third one. It's 2-0 right now, 1-0 on the map, though. Have to win it here if you're Sad Kids.
Yeah, and look at that. Both of the teams are coming out with the Mei looking to split off the tank lines of each other's team. Sea Salt with the Batiste. And that invulnerability field and immortality field might be what they need to save a person that might be split off from the rest of the team with their wall.
Definitely could be one of the difference makers. Sad Kids Club, again, this is the championship on the line for them. They have to try and force this to go on. Have to get around the wall that came up. Now they throw their Mei wall down, but it doesn't catch anybody is the only problem. Immortality field goes, quickly taken out by Organic. Pushing their way onto the point is Supp. Sad Kids Club have to try and answer. Wall comes up, blocks off Supp players actually instead. And there's the first elimination from Bullywug with the Fire Strike and the help of Juby, who's able to get damage out on that Lucio. They have their first fight win, their first fight towards trying to win this championship.
And they definitely do. Bird with the final headshot to finish off this first fight. Midori just looking around with the third person to look for the perfect moment to throw out that wall, and he's just going to be sitting there. If Sad Kids Club want to go through it, they're going to be risking just by walking through that door.
See if that's what they decide to do. They try to bait the wall out. Doesn't work, though. Reinhardt still gets caught. Meeptopia is still alive, though. He's still able to be kept alive. Meep's still there thanks to the immortality field. They're going to throw down now their Baptiste ult. That's going to force players away. They can now progress forward, push that wall, get it down quickly thanks to the Baptiste ult. But Bullywug is able to charge into Meeptopia, and he's down. And now they force their way through the choke. Is Supp. They're up to 35%.
And you know, Bois just absolutely, you know, pardon the term, but he's chatting it up. He's just getting forward, he's just going up, using those earth shatters almost on cooldown. He's just absolutely asserting his dominance as a tank onto Meeptopia, and he's playing really, really well in a team of absolute talent as well.
Players looking to go to the right side this time. They want to avoid that Mei wall. The Mei wall's a little bit more difficult if you come through this way. Have to try and fake them out, though, and that's what they're going to do. But ready for it was Bullywog. They get back instantly. Mei is in position. Wall gets baited out, so that's the first step that you had to have happen for Sad Kids Club. But now you have to win this fight. That's what they need to have happen. Meeptopia still getting low, though, and Biggs was too far forward. Lost his life. You lose your Zarya already. The wall coming out doesn't even matter. You've lost the most important part to this comp. Meeptopia will use the Earth Shatter. That'll just force out the trans. It's all it's going to do. Wall will block players from getting back in, and Meep fell off the map!
And this is just a complete dominance. The rest of Supp pushing the Sad Kids Club. We're onto their last ropes tournament life here in the last 10%. And the Mei is there, and the grab is there, and the Blizzard is there. Sad Kids Club, last chance that they've got. The Graviton comes out.
Oh, everybody, it looks like gets caught into it as well. Have the Blizzard coming out, 98, 99%. No one can get there. Supp is your champion of the Lakeside Showdown. Congrats to them as they win this one. Didn't drop a map here in the championship bout.
And they have done it, Supp, with an incredibly dominant performance throughout this entire tournament. Again, like you said, didn't drop a single map. The young talents definitely, at the end of the day, are going to be triumphing over the old guard. And look at Big All as he stuns and as he hits all those shifts. He goes and, you know, together with everybody else, fantastic performance, not just throughout this map, but throughout the entire tournament.
They're the champions here, deservedly so. Of course, you give congrats to the Sad Kids Club for getting to this point, putting up a fight in that final game as well. Unfortunately, was a really dominant performance from Supp. But, I mean, for Sad Kids Club, for a team that, you know, it's such a different thing when you're playing Overwatch every single day like these players are on the side of Supp. So the fact that they got to this point and beat some really good teams to get here too, I think they can hold their heads high up for that.
No, they absolutely can. You know, Sad Kids Club coming in, all of these people, they are, you know, they're not Academy tier talent, they're not contenders tier talent, but still they put up heck of a fight against other teams. They've triumphed against the Spicybois in the semifinals.
They did.
Matchup where they were definitely not the favorite team to win out against like some of the talent that we saw, Salt Shaker, Technique, and all of those boys. But, you know, at the end of the day, they triumphed. They move on to the grand finals, and, you know, they definitely tried their best. They put up some good performance considering the level of talent they were up against.
It was a juggernaut that was waiting for them in the finals.
No,
I mean, it's the fact that they even put up any sort of a challenge to them made them play on comp sometimes too. And now that could be respect too from Supp, which is something that you have to give them credit for as well for Supp. And again, you can't say enough about this team in Supp. There's so many good players on this team that you better be watching these players as they progress through their careers, through the Tier 3 and Tier 2 scene. Some of these players are definitely going to make it in Tier 2 who aren't there already, and the ones that are in Tier 2, well, you might see them on the big stage in LA. Well, when they make it, it'll probably be in different cities. You know, maybe you'll see them in New York, maybe you'll see them in Florida, maybe you'll even see, maybe we'll get a Chicago team. You never know. It's a possibility.
Blizzard, I know you're watching.
Yes.
Give us team.
Give us one, please.
We've got a community here, man.
Look at this community that we had come out today, right? It's been incredible, the amount of support that this tournament has gotten throughout, the players that we had watching, the players that we had playing, everything from beginning to end, the way that it's been run. You couldn't ask for a better community tournament and a better show out.
No, you're definitely right there, Lobosco. We have had a day, a celebration of Overwatch and a celebration of competition as well. We saw teams from all walks of life, really, of all skill levels, coming together. We finally got one tournament where we managed to find out who is the best team in the Chicago area. Turns out it's not a Chicago area team. It's a bunch of just young talents coming together to own the Chicago area.
Hey, some of them are from the Chicago area, though.
You're right.
So you know, not everybody on Supp is you know, from other areas. Supp has some local talent as well. Big Al's from St. Louis, so you know that's not too far away.
No, but they're making the trip, which is very respectable.
Awesome.
You know,
Really
definitely,
cool.
especially considering their age.
Yes.
Like knowing that might be something you need to progress your career, to progress your even just like your experience as a player. You know, land is land. We were talking about it before. That's very different from just being in the comfort of your home. And to see that they're making this effort to come out to, you know, for some people an unknown place, come out and play some good Overwatch on LAN. It's just really respectable, and the fruits of their efforts are definitely showing off, and not just here.
Well, something to consider too, when you talk about LAN experience, you don't get many opportunities, to play at LANs. The other thing that you don't get to do is play with your friends, and that's one of the things for Supp too.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of guys who are friends. Sure, they're not all on the same teams, but this was their opportunity to play together, and they showed out while they did it as well. So you have to give them a ton of credit for being able to do that as well. But again, Big Al, square one. This is a team that's going to be in contenders playoffs when that time comes. They could go really far. They have the potential to do that. Atlanta
Absolutely.
Academy, too, for Bird. There's so many teams for, Midori, Organic, Juby. These are, tier 3 guys, all of them.
They all came together to just put up a really, really nice super team from, the Chicago area and a little more, Juby flew in, I believe. From St. Louis, I don't know how Big Al made, if he made the drive, took a train
It's
or
a
whatever.
3-hour drive, I think.
3-hour drive.
So I think he
Still,
drove.
It's very nice to see all of this talent coming together to participate in our tournaments.
Yes, and we're happy that they decided to come out. We're happy that we got to see them. For me personally, I've casted a lot of some Contenders Trials, some North American Open Division, so I've gotten to see Bird and Big Al and some of these other guys prior to this now, and kind of getting to meet them and talk with them, for me, has been an absolute pleasure, just because, with the way it works online, obviously, you can talk to these guys a little bit here and there, but you don't get that interpersonal interaction that you get when you have a LAN, and that's, I think, one of the special things about the fact that we've done this with the Lakeside Showdown.
Yeah, lots of great competition and lots of fun for everybody involved at the end of the day. We managed to put up, I would say, a great show, and and the teams definitely did as well. Now, finally, we've got it.
Yeah.
This is the interview everybody's been waiting for. The entirety of Supp is up on deck in the interview booth with Randy Valor.
Go ahead, take it away.
All right, I'm here with our grand final winners, our champions of the Lakeside Showdown, Team Supp. Guys, congratulations, well fought. I won't say it's been a rocky ride, but you guys have had quite the dominant run here in the tournament. Again, congratulations, you are our winners here today. Just want to ask you guys, I know a lot of you have played on teams in the past together, but for this tournament in particular, what was the preparation like coming in?
Absolutely nothing. Well, we did scrim once. It was like kind of a scout scrim.
Yeah, did you just kind of have a composition that you guys wanted to run? Obviously, a lot of triple, a lot of goats.
Goats and DPS.
Yeah, stuff you've probably run a lot for in the past.
A lot of Pharah.
Yeah. So take us through a little bit through your strategies through a lot of these games. Did you have to adapt at all? Were there any major challenges that you kind of had to work around? I saw you guys did pull out a little bit of the quad DPS, triple DPS, a lot of goats.
In all honesty, we didn't really have a challenging bracket like the whole.
I mean,
pretty
I
easy.
think like.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of adapting, we didn't really have to adapt to anything. We just kind of played our own game, and we just kept the tempo up.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Cool. Lots of aggression from you guys. I think you guys did a very good job of taking up a lot of space. Take me through maybe any memorable comms that you guys may have had within your team. Maybe any memorable moments.
I was.
Obviously, keep it. We are on stream, so.
So I was gonna play Widow on King's Row, and so Bird says, "You sure you want to play Widow? You got a lot of people watching. You want to embarrass yourself?" So for a different reason, I decided Ash was the best pick. I read the situation. Seemed like Ash was probably the pick there, and didn't really have anything to do with what he said. So
You did really well on the Ash. We were watching you for a little bit there. That quad DPS that you guys were running, very, very effective. Any last words from you guys? Any memorable things you want to say to the stream before we call it a night here for you guys?
I felt like we were smurfing.
You guys were very dominant. But hey, you guys have a lot. You're all very, very talented. Yep.
Thank
you guys
It
for
was a good
coming. You
time.
guys have a very, very bright future ahead of you guys. All very, very young, as I'm sure you all can probably tell. You guys have so much talent and potential. I'm excited to see where you guys go in the future. So thanks again, and everyone. This is your Lakeside Showdown champions, Team Supp.
Saying that they're
He
smurfing.
said that. He said he really did.
He dropped the gauntlet at the end at Big Al. Wow. But you know what? They played well. they get to do that.
Yeah.
They do. They do. But you know what? I feel like this was more about just playing together for these guys. That's what it felt like to me. They probably don't get many opportunities to do this at this sort of an environment, which, by the way, we have to say thank you very much to Ignite Gaming Lounge for letting us be here, for letting us have this opportunity to show what the Overwatch community is all about in Chicago.
Yeah, absolutely. We've definitely got a lot of people together. We put on a heck of a show. Everybody, all the teams coming together from 16 to your final champions in Supp. So definitely a great day. Thank you, Ignite. Thank you to all the players and all the staff working this behind the scenes. You know, it's not just the people you've seen on camera. There's a lot more working on it. And what an event, man.
Yeah, there's so many people to thank. The staff of Ignite, and, you know, just our staff in and of itself, we have to thank as well. Obviously, got to say thanks to my partners. Thanks to Randy Valor, who's sort of the one who made this whole thing happen.
The head honcho, Randy Valor, definitely. You've seen him in the caster booth. You've seen him in the interview booth. He's definitely been, you know, bending over backwards to make this happen. And I'm just glad to see that we've made it happen at the end of the day.
Yeah, we have more thank yous, though, to do as well. Don't want to forget anybody. Tengu is somebody who's actually helped as well, who we saw actually end up playing there in the championship game. The Red Gear made all the awesome graphics.
Fantastic graphics.
Amazing graphics. You know, we have to thank Will, who is made this whole thing possible as well. So basically everything that's happening wouldn't be happening if it weren't for Will.
He's our production guy, and he's been doing an amazing job as well. Just
thank you guys, I appreciate that.
And that's Will.
That's Will for you, man. Glad to have him here. We also have to thank Frozen Goggles, who's been one of the people who's been running the table, making sure everybody got checked in. The Ignite staff helped out with that as well. There's more, though, than just that. There's so many people involved.
So many people to thank, so many people involved to put on an event like this. And this is for sure, this is not the last event you'll see from us. So if you're in the Chicago area, you know, you can join our Discord. You can look us up on ChicagoOverwatch.com. You can look at our social media, Chicago Overwatch on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, anywhere. You know, you might want to come over. You know, we're gonna have new events coming up. Join us. More. It's a lot of fun at the end of the day.
There's going to be a lot more. Chicago OW. So you spell out full Chicago and then an O and a W. Want to point that out because, you know, maybe people won't put two O's. You need two O's if you're trying to get to the Twitter handle. Make sure you do that. Follow the Twitter so that way you can see events that are coming up. You'll have the link to the Discord there as well. So be sure to do all that. But again, thank you so much for joining us throughout all of this. It's been an incredible event for the Lakeside Showdown. That's going to do it here from us in Chicago. We'll see you next time.